Hello and welcome back to a brand new episode of the Pick a Side podcast. My name is Ja Morant and I'm here with River Brown, Andrew Velez, and John Carlos. And this is now episode 123. In this episode, we are going to talk about the Lakers' struggles, the Knicks and Hawks, if the Heat can beat the Bucks in the playoffs, the Warriors, Lamelo versus Ja, Lonzo's triple-double, and the NBA's top 75 players list. And a quick Patreon shout out to Johannes, Ruben, Brian, Ricky, E, Enzo, Matthew, Sean Solis, Sean, Rice Family, John, Sean Triplet, Burner Hoops, Kurt, Court Cousins, Ben Mac, P. Dot, George, Hikari, Mateen, and Jay Aqua.
Good old Jay Aqua.
Cat Stevens wants me to call him Court Cousins now.
Okay, interesting. Why? Did he give you an explanation?
No, he just said when Cousins. You shout me out, call me Court Cousins.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay.
That's it. We got these cool pins from All Geeks.
Yep.
They made this for us. It's a pick a side pin. I don't know if Andrew, if you could show it to the camera a little bit closer.
Here we go.
It's a pick a side pin. When we start to sell our merch, we're gonna send you guys this pin with it as a gift of gratitude.
Yeah, absolutely.
For supporting the podcast. And man, I'm happy to do this show. I'm unhappy because we're leaving out a lot of topics. We're not going to talk about Davion Mitchell this topic, and his defense has been amazing. We know Scotty Barnes dropped 25 and 13. Raptors fans wanted to talk about that. We're going to talk about Scotty later on, maybe next week. But this episode, we're going to talk about some of the biggest storylines. The Lakers right now, they're struggling. They're 0-2. They lost to the Warriors by 7 points. They lost to the Suns by 10, but it was really a blowout for the majority of the game. They didn't look in tune at all. I mean, what do you make of the Lakers' struggles so far? Is it on Russell Westbrook? Is it mainly him? Is it this team construction? How do you feel? And can LeBron fix it and save this team?
Well, I think the track record has shown us that, LeBron will probably end up fixing it. He's very aggravating in the sense where he's going to figure it out, and then they're going to end up going deep. But I will say, I think a lot of it is Frank Vogel. I think a lot of the lineups that he throws out there is really bad. Playing Rondo and Westbrook at the same time.
And Ken Bazemore.
It's really, Ken Bazemore can shoot from the corner. So it's like, but putting 2 point guards that play similar, that both have no ability to shoot the three-ball, is terrible. Playing two bigs. They're trying to bring that 2019 vibe back, would be more physical, be strong with everybody, be aggressive. But it's just, I feel like they don't have the personnel for that. I think, honestly, Westbrook, he has to figure it out. He's been missing point-blank layups. His jump shot, we knew he had to become a shooter, at least a mid-range shooter. He had to be effective. He hasn't been. LeBron and AD have looked fine to me. They looked fine. AD, last game, he didn't look all too great, but they were getting blown out. But for the majority part, AD looks healthy. LeBron looks healthy. They both look fine. They look like they still have their connection going. It's everybody else. Melo's going to get – Melo – when Portland lost Melo, I didn't think it was going to be a big loss because he didn't play defense. And Portland's going to be able to score regardless of who you have there because Dame and CJ are still there. Losing Melo didn't really hurt them because he doesn't play D, and that's what he comes here. He doesn't play defense. If he's not scoring, he doesn't provide anything else on that court. And the problem with this team is they don't have enough guys that offer multiple things on the court. People were saying on Twitter, oh, LeBron's off the court. This team looks bad. Well, yeah, a lot of LeBron's constructed teams are built to just spot up shooters, and he has the ball for the majority of the game. And now with this team, it's a bunch of guys who show the ability on paper that they can shoot, and you have two ball handlers. I would rather see, Westbrook play with the second unit a lot, so where he can, be Westbrook, of old, and kind of get in rhythm because it looks like he's not in rhythm with LeBron and AD yet. But they'll probably figure it out eventually. But, a loss to the Warriors and then a loss to Phoenix, those are two teams in the West they're going to be competing with. So these aren't two slouch L's. This isn't the Raptors or the Kings. These are two teams. They were both playoff games. They were both playoff games with playoff atmospheres, and this was two intense games. So L.A. got to figure it out.
This is what Mike D'Antoni did when talking about staggering their minutes. He did that with Harden and Westbrook, and that's how they got going. That's how Westbrook got going.
Mm-hmm. So I have a few takeaways from what I've seen early on from my Lake show. So first off, the glaring thing to me is the lack of jump shooting. That's the biggest need. I said it going into the season. My concern for the Lakers was going to be their jump shooting. Up until this point, Russell's jump shot, his free throw shooting has looked terrible. LeBron's has been easily the best on the team thus far. He looked amazing these first two nights shooting the basketball. Anthony Davis, I think he's accounted for the only 3 from Russell and him combined. I think they're 1 for 13 from 3 these past 2 games. But other than that, Melo looks pretty all right with shooting the basketball. And other than Melo, we really don't have many other jump shooters. And that was the obvious issue going into the season. Another takeaway from these first 2 games is a lack of chemistry we have right now. I'm looking at these switches that they're making on the pick and roll, lack of communication, too much overcommitting on trying to make the big play to start the fast break. I think that'll come with some time. Obviously, this is basically a whole new team. It's going to take a few games. I would have loved to win one of these games. Obviously, I thought the Warriors game was more than winnable. This Suns game got out of hand really fast, but it's because AD really wasn't having the best of game. I think he ended up having 20 points, but it was he got there, but it was an ugly 20 points. I think his field goal percentage was under like 40. But regardless of that, I think that it'll come with some time. Russell struggled for sure. Game 1, he did not look himself at all. Game 2, I liked what I saw. It was definitely an improvement because he was being aggressive. He was taking the ball to the rack, at least trying to get to the free throw line. Last game was a little aggravating because it was a lot worse than it looked, in my opinion, because of the lack of calls that we were getting. But it seemed as if whatever the Suns wanted, they were getting. The blocking fouls that should have been charges that were going the Suns' way. Russ going to take the ball to the rack, fouls that just weren't called. LeBron, AD, just stuff like that. But obviously, you take your L. At least we showed some fight towards the end of it. Got it to within 9. Ultimately, ended up losing the game ended up losing the game by 10. I think that we're gonna be okay, but from what we've seen, it's just chemistry issues right now and lack of shooting. It'll get better for sure, but I think we need to see Russell Westbrook just have confidence. If he's missing, I'm okay with it as long as he continues to keep it going. If he quits, that's where I start to have my concerns. But ultimately, I'm cool with him struggling right now as long as he continues to hustle and still play hard.
I agree with both of you guys. I mean, I think it's entirely really too early to assess this Lakers team. I mean, the first 2 games have been pretty bad, but you know, as a viewer, one thing that I am kind of weirded out by is why is DeAndre Jordan even like playing? Like, why is he starting? He doesn't offer anything. I mean, the first 2 games, I mean, that he's posted 2 points, 1 rebound each game. Doesn't get after it on the glass. Terrible defender. He's just a shell of himself. He hasn't been good since the Clippers did. But you know, as far as like Westbrook, I think Westbrook has to get used to obviously being a third option, and he's never been that in his career. He's never been the third option. So, as far as Frank Vogel's lineups, I don't really like them either because you have like 3 below average jump shooters as like, you know, as your main crop of your lineup. You have 3 below average jump shooters surrounded by DeAndre Jordan, who doesn't offer anything on offense, and then Kent Bazemore, who like he's not really a consistent enough shooter.
You're saying LeBron's below average shooter?
I mean, not a. 30. His career is 35. That's about average, a little below average, give or take.
Free throw shooting,
give or take.
But the way that he shot the basketball,
no, he's shooting good. He's shooting good so far. It's 2 games though, but he's
I mean, if
he's a
LeBron's
solid
your best
shooter.
3-point shooter, it's not really
that's my problem. But you know, other than that, I mean, I think these are problems that they can clean up. I mean, I'm sure Anthony Davis struggled last night, but I don't think that's going to happen. Obviously, continue. But LeBron and Anthony Davis, that duo has to be the one that dominates the offense. Russell Westbrook has to find out how to be a third option. If that's coming off the bench and not coming off the bench, but if that's playing with the bench unit, if that's playing with the bench unit or, you know, getting more time with the secondary players, that's fine. But other than that, I mean, I don't take too much of it. I mean, it's early. I mean, you're adding a big ego in Russell Westbrook to LeBron James and Anthony Davis. We all knew that this was going to be a problem early on. I mean, we all called it. This team wasn't going to go. I mean, they weren't going to win 65 games like you said, like get off and running like that. But
I'm still ready for it.
Other than that, I mean, I think Frank Vogel has
now.
It's okay.
Frank Vogel has a little bit of blame to get off topic, but I kind of liked how Austin Reeves came in the game. You know, he provided some defense.
On topic, it's not off topic.
Yeah.
And he provided some shooting. He's pretty good on defense from what I've seen. So I think he has to be in a lineup more to space the floor because
for sure.
This starting 5 jump shooting wise is probably the worst starting 5 when it comes to the floor space in the NBA. So I don't really like the lineups, but I think they can fix it. It's LeBron.
I haven't watched Russell Westbrook's new documentary that came out. I want to watch it, though.
He has a documentary?
Yeah, it's on Showtime. I want to watch it.
Yeah, you do that.
Yeah, I want to watch it. Right now, the Lakers dealing with a lot of injuries. Kendrick Nunn is out. Yeah. Taylor Horton-Tucker is out. Trevor Ariza, who's projected starter, is out, and he's a floor spacer.
Yeah.
no 0-2 team has ever won a championship.
Knew this was coming.
You looked that up? Like, that's a fact?
That is a fact.
Wow,
You
really?
know what's funny? I tried to look it up. I couldn't find it anywhere.
Well, maybe you're just not good at it. Like
You have to you have
Typed
to
it in
watch
word for word what he said.
Oh, okay.
you have to watch sports shows on TV.
Okay.
Like ESPN, when
They
after
brought
they
it up?
recap a game, they have all the stats on
Oh,
deck.
wow.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
So you can, if you stumble upon those shows, you can pick up these good.
That's just
stats
one of those.
and the
I
nuggets.
typed into Google 0-2 teams that have made the playoffs. It said come back from 0-2 in the playoffs. All that. I was just like, all right, I'm done looking.
But no team that has started off 0-2 has ever won a championship. And I didn't think the Lakers were going to win before the season started. I mean, we were here previewing all these teams, and we said, look, Golden State can beat them in a series, especially with how Bielitsa looks.
This side has Golden State coming out the
I
West.
have Golden State coming out the West, but I think Utah can beat the Lakers in a series. Just because Russ is such a liability, and Rudy Gobert can stay in the paint and can help on other drivers. I think Phoenix, if they play again, I think Phoenix can beat the Lakers. I'm not high on the Lakers, and yeah, they have injuries right now, but they're aging. Like Russell Westbrook, there are moments and flashes where you see the 2016 Westbrook, but we're 5 years removed from that. Russ is not that anymore. I know he averaged a triple-double last year. That's because of his insanely high usage with Washington. He is not effective right now or being as effective because he's a guy who relies on having the ball at all times. And even if you cut that in half, his effectiveness drops off drastically. That's why over the past couple of weeks and even months, I've grown to appreciate Steph Curry a lot because Steph Curry is someone who is a player A type of superstar. I mean, he's an alpha superstar, and he took a backseat to KD and had no ego. Superstars don't do that. And the ability for Steph to do that while also making an impact even when he doesn't have the ball is drastic. But talking about Westbrook, I don't think all the problems on the Lakers fall on him.
I agree.
He's a big part of it because in the playoffs, he's going to get the blame. When they lose, he's going to get the blame. There's no doubt about it. AD, to me at least, doesn't look motivated. He doesn't look like he wants to be an MVP of this league. Or to me, so far, he doesn't look that way.
Game 130, last game
He
he
looked
struggled.
very
That's
motivated
it.
game one. Like, he looked like he was here.
Game one, he looked fantastic.
I don't think he does. To me, just in my eyes, from what I've seen, I think
Break that down for me.
Kent Bazemore is. I mean, it's nothing to break down. I just don't see it. Like, it's nothing to break down. It's nothing to break down.
Don't like that then.
Kent Bazemore, I think, is a solid defender, but he's not a floor spacer. DeAndre Jordan, you're right. He doesn't belong in the lineup. But you even look at this roster construction, it's a bunch of guys who are inconsistent. Malik Monk is not a proven player. He had a good season last year, but he's inconsistent. He's not proven. Avery Bradley has gotten cut each place he's went the past couple of years, and he's playing 21 minutes. He had 0 all across the board.
Tony Snell game.
Yeah, 11th player ever.
And Rajon Rondo, we saw in Atlanta last season.
Boys poop.
He's not good anymore. All these players are aging. They have a bunch of aging stars. Dwight Howard is washed. Rondo is washed. Westbrook is on the border of being washed. He's gonna have a great season. He's gonna have a great season. He's gonna have a great season probably because during like December to March he's gonna kick up. But we know in the playoffs he's not gonna provide
I'm interested
much.
to see how that goes.
Anthony Davis is great, but LeBron, he's not washed. I would never say that, but he's definitely not what he was 2 years ago, even 2 seasons ago. LeBron is aging as well, and that's okay. He's 39 years old.
Oh, he's 36.
Oh, he's 36.
He's going to turn 37 in December.
So he's in 19th season.
Had 30
Whoa,
game
he said
1,
39.
two.
Because he was thinking of his season. He's his 19th season. He's 36.
But he's 36. It's his 19th year.
He's getting there, man.
Go James.
DeAndre Jordan, he's
DeAndre
washed.
Jordan shouldn't be in the league.
I just don't think the Lakers are going to make any noise. I think because LeBron has shown us in the past that he can do it, we're all expecting him to do it, and we still have hope. But just like the Phoenix series when AD went out, a lot of people said, "Oh, now LeBron's going to kick up. Now he's going to really be playoff LeBron." I even thought that, but didn't happen that way.
You had a bummed ankle though.
You're right, but reality struck.
Yeah.
And the reality is that the Lakers are an old team, and LeBron can't carry a team like he once could in the past. And they're not going to go anywhere this season. They're not going to win the championship. They won't make the finals. And Man, the Lakers are in trouble. And Washington, Kuzma, he just had 20 the other night. They're 2-0.
Yeah, 23 and 11.
Yeah, he started.
Yo, Harrell is getting more minutes than Gafford, too. And Harrell's going
and they
crazy.
Just paid Gafford, too.
Yeah, Montrez, Harrell, KCP, Kuzma, they're winning.
And you know what's
They got
funny?
a good team.
They're winning.
Their injuries aren't going to fix their problems. Because Kendrick Nunn isn't a shooter. We wouldn't call him a
But you're
shooter.
No,
down
he's
on-
a shooter.
But you're
He's a-
down
he's
on
a good
THT.
shooter.
And
With THT, even if I wasn't down on him, he's in a shooter.
but I understand
And
he's
he's in a
still,
floor
He's still
spacer.
he's a good ball player.
Whether we can disagree
He can
on
shoot the
that, but we can
basketball.
agree on this.
Where's Wayne
He's a
Ellington?
shooter.
Wayne Ellington, another one. Trevor Ariza, another
Wayne
one.
Ellington-
Trevor Ariza
important.
is
Wayne
going to be
Yeah,
key for you guys,
and
but
Wayne
he's
Ellington also.
cooked on defense.
He's
He's cooked
old.
on
He's
defense.
old. He's old.
So, and that's going to be your primary guy to
So
guard
question,
other
They
Do you
players.
got to give
think-
Austin Reeves minutes.
Do you think
I'm
the
dead
Lakers
serious.
should have traded for Buddy Hield instead?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm not ready to say that yet. I need to see more than 2 games. Can you?
You
give me a
can't
chance
say
here?
yes.
Why?
Because during the previews, we were talking about the Warriors. You said no. It's going to
Wait,
be the
wait,
Lakers.
wait.
No. Listen. You said
Time out.
no. They have the big
Time
three.
out, time
You
out,
said
time out, time out.
Ride.
You said
Nah,
right.
it's not
Don't
even-
you
time
can't
out,
switch
pause.
now.
It's not even that. It's not even that. He just asked if they should have got Buddy Hield. I was on board for that trade because it was
But
gonna
you
be a
also
floor
said
spacer.
during the previews, you was like, they have the big three. They'll be fine. They have the big three.
Oh yeah,
That's
they
what you
will.
kept
It's
saying.
2 games.
All right, so then
All right,
it's 2
why you
But
down?
I can't say that I.
But I
wanted
understand what he's
them
saying
to get
because
Buddy
we had,
Hield too.
we had a need.
That
Our
means
need
Westbrook
was
wouldn't
shooting.
go.
All right.
But that being said,
Buddy
it's 2
Hield's good.
games.
Well, what's a
I'm
better
not-
team? Schroeder, Hield, LeBron, AD,
Ew.
or
Who'd
Westbrook?
you say at the one?
Schroeder.
Ew,
I mean, that's
no.
who they're going to pay.
Ew,
That's who
ew.
to bring back.
No.
Thank God he declined. Thank God.
He just had like 4 points the other day.
Yeah, he's poop. Boys poop.
He blew the layup against the Knicks in OT.
I mean, Westbrook. I told you guys this. He has to become a reliable shooter.
Do you think the Lakers going to figure it out, though, or no?
figure it out enough to make the playoffs? Yeah, figuring out enough to get to the second round. Yeah.
Is there any way the Lakers don't make the playoffs?
No, there's no possible
no
way.
way.
I don't know, Joel. You said
Well,
that
unless
If LeBron
Anthony
gets
Davis
hurt,
gets hurt,
it's over.
and then LeBron does what he does before. He says, "I'm unleashing 0 dark 30," and then they go on that losing streak and start losing the teams.
If
Such a
LeBron,
hater,
if
bro.
It was a fact. It's a fact.
You're
it's
a
a fact.
hater.
Yo,
Did it. It happened.
if LeBron gets hurt, there's no way this team's making the playoffs.
This
If
team
AD
sucks.
gets-
It's a lot.
if AD
It's a
gets
top,
hurt,
it's
there's
a
no way you
lottery
guys
team.
gonna-
I mean, I think
WCF.
LeBron and Westbrook are good enough to get you to the playoffs.
I'm saying if AD gets hurt, you can kiss the finals. Western
Oh, the
Conference
championship,
Finals,
all
goodbye.
that. Yeah, you can
That's
kiss
a
all that
fact.
You
goodbye.
can kiss
That's
it
been a
goodbye. It's
fact.
over.
And he's very injury prone.
Who?
AD.
Oh, well, that's another fact.
I mean, if Westbrook gets hurt, I think that'd be the best thing that happens to you guys.
Wow.
No,
I
honest to God.
disagree.
Nah, I don't
Disagree.
think so.
I think so because I think you can just plug LeBron back at the one. You put 3 shooters in,
Listen,
and then
We have to
boom.
we have to
I mean,
revisit
that's
this
what they're-
topic
I mean,
in like January, bro.
Russ
It's
isn't
too premature.
even having the ball like that. I think they have to use Russ
Because
differently.
when he has the ball, it's either a turnover, a missed layup, or a missed jump shot. That's literally the 3 things.
He had 9 assists last game. Like, easy.
It's weird, but they need to play Russ like a center.
Ew.
I don't
They need to
agree.
have
Like
him
in
run.
Houston?
They need him having running. They need to have him
They
running
need a bench
baseline.
They need
you know how
DeAndre,
they-
and they need
you
to
know
put
they-
AD at the 5.
They need to have him running like.
How many times have I
They
said
need to
this?
put AD at the
Do you
5.
guys see how Bridges cuts and hits backdoor screens? That's how Westbrook needs to play.
Yeah.
Just like that. Backdoor cuts, screens, set the pick, cut off and run a pick and roll like what Bledsoe does. That's what he needs to do. He needs to stay closer to the paint. Him on the perimeter just doesn't make sense.
But you have to put yourself in Westbrook's shoes. It is a big adjustment, though. You know,
You want to win.
Yeah, you want to win, but it's a huge adjustment. Like, you go from being the man in OKC when Kevin Durant went.
That was years ago.
Yeah, but I'm saying, though, but that's what I'm saying. This all leads up to, like, out of nowhere, you're in a team with LeBron and AD, and now you got to take
Well,
a back
it
seat.
comes with accountability.
And he doesn't have the requisite off-ball skills to really be that effective. So they have to figure.
No,
ways
but I
out.
think he has the off-ball skills.
cutting wise,
so,
yeah,
too.
but as a floor spacer and everything else,
Well, yeah. I mean, him at the 5,
the
they
thing
could
is,
play him like Bruce
he's not-
Brown.
I don't
He's
know
not-
why people are expecting Westbrook to be this elite shooter either. Like, there's people saying he's gonna get better at shooting. No, he hasn't shown that in his career.
I just thought that he would at least make a single 3-point shot. The fact he's hit
Yeah,
0
like,
threes
you gotta
is
hit
beyond
one.
me.
One got to
And
go
then that
in.
Westbrook and Rondo lineup, oh my god,
Rondo
that
hasn't
drives
looked
me
terrible, though.
crazy.
Because
Rondo's
the fast,
cooked.
yeah, I mean, obviously he's
Rondo
up
is
there in
cooked.
age, but at the same time, he really hasn't been horrible.
Rondo's cooked.
Nah, the
He
most
looked
cooked
trash
player on
last
that
night.
roster is DeAndre Jordan.
That's
by
without
far.
a doubt.
Y'all put him in religiously.
No,
Let's
he played
move
10
on.
minutes. He
Let's
played
move
10
on
minutes.
to something that's not depressing.
Thank you. I
Lakers
appreciate
talk
that.
is
I
depressing.
appreciate
It's not-
10 too many.
I agree, but at the same
Too
time,
many.
like AD, I'm sorry. Last thing I'll say, AD needs to play the 5.
He doesn't want to.
I'm
And if LeBron ain't making him, he's
and that's
not
the
doing
issue.
it.
And that's the issue.
Then he doesn't want to win.
That's the issue. Look, I
Well,
just
he
got
got one.
goosebumps. I'm so sad. We'll be all right, but it's upsetting that AD doesn't have the mentality of I am bigger, I am stronger, I am more versatile than the rest of these bigs. They can't guard me. If he had that mentality, it'd be a dub.
You just explained my reasoning for not thinking he wants it as bad.
You just explained why Giannis.
But that was
better
last game.
Giannis is way better.
Game 1, he was aggressive. I don't know why from game 2 we saw such a difference. He was just cold. He wasn't making his shots, but I need to see him bang down low.
Before we move on to this next topic, it's going to be a Hawks and Knicks topic.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
I love how Evan Mobley has looked.
Dark horse rookie of the year pick right here.
I feel like people expected him to have this big learning curve.
He's good.
But no, he's NBA ready right now. I just want to get
really
it out.
good.
And as we're getting onto this
He needs
topic,
to- he needs
Cam
some
Reddish
size.
has 8 points, 3 for 6.
Okay, I love Cam Reddish, man.
Oh my!
Oh my god.
I'm dead.
I just like to see the
Yo,
consistency.
Mobley's lanky though.
He's good. Yeah,
No, he's good. I'm just saying, like size wise,
he's long.
He's
I
got
love
it all
him for my fantasy.
He's got it all.
I love him for my.
I'm
fantasy.
dogging you in fantasy right now, though.
You want to
I'm winning
explain
in
to the
almost
list?
every
No.
matchup.
Hold
No,
on.
you're not.
Yes, I am.
Real quick before we go on to
That's
the
because half my players didn't play yesterday.
before we go on real quick.
I got a lot of players playing today.
That's what I'm saying. Half my players didn't play yesterday. I was killing you the last 2 days before
you
that.
wasn't.
It's like it was. I was killing you.
Riv also has to be grateful that I am the commissioner of this league, and I explained to him why his trade was so invalid.
I asked you to veto it.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Because I didn't see the other 2 guys. That's why I just.
Bro, Shaq did a fool. Jimmy Butler, Sabonis, D'Lo. Help me out. Who's the last
Gordon
guy?
Hayward.
Gordon Hayward.
Brandon Clark.
No. 4. Brandon Clark, Doug McDermott.
Make sure you say that guy.
And Steph
though.
Curry, of
All
course.
right.
But come on, bro. Come on.
Crazy. You came up
Man's
with
got the ill
Nah,
crush
vetoed
on
it,
Steph.
Vetoed
Yeah,
it. Because he had the 45. I was like, nah, I need to get him. I gotta get him. I was like, I gotta get him. He just went crazy.
Butler's good for fantasy, right?
Yeah, but D'Lo, it's a chance D'Lo gets hurt. So it's like,
There's no.
and Gordon
just don't
Hayward gets
explain
hurt.
it. Don't
You
explain
know
it.
what I'm
man.
saying?
Just don't explain it. Don't explain it.
I mean, I vetoed it.
Thank
That's what I-
God.
That guy was tight. He was like, bro, it's a fair trade. What are you talking about?
He was tight.
Bro,
Yeah.
he took half of Riv's team. Like the first 4
It's a
picks
fair
of Riv's
trade,
team.
man. He's
He
tight.
was like, yo, why'd you veto?
Now he got Doug McDermott
He probably
back.
came out of like doing something, looked at his phone like, yo, what the hell?
Yeah.
You accepted, bro.
I told Riv straight up, I'm like, I am not taking the rap for this one. This is all on you, bro.
I tried to have Steph and PG and then just lead the charge.
Knicks and Hawks. Very next topic, second topic of the show. Knicks are 2-0. They beat the Celtics in double overtime on opening night, second opening night of the NBA season. And
Best game of the week.
yes,
It was.
easily because the Knicks played. We all know that. And the Hawks are 1-0. They beat the Dallas Mavericks. They blew them out. And today, right now, the Hawks are actually playing against
They're up
who?
3. Cleveland.
Against Cleveland. Okay. Now, which opening night win for both teams was more a statement win and more impressive? And bonus question, what team do you think is going to have a better seeding in the East this season?
I think for me it would be the Knicks because I feel like Boston is better than Dallas. And I think that was a very big playoff game. You know, you felt the atmosphere in that game. You felt the intensity of that game.
You saw the video after.
Yeah, you
they
saw
recorded.
Boston, healthy, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Julius Randle. It was a big game. So I think I'm going to say the Knicks definitely had a statement win, especially in overtime, even though you guys
Double
almost
overtime.
Yeah, you almost blew the game, but we're going to let
No,
that
it's
slide.
almost inexcusable.
Yeah, we're going to let that
Almost.
slide.
That was a Chris Paul versus OKC when he was with the Clippers type of game.
Oh, like it was one of those, but I'm definitely gonna give you guys the nod because I feel like Atlanta's better than Dallas, and I feel like I thought they were gonna win that game.
Yeah, me too.
Regardless,
Dallas looks rough. It's just one game, but they
Jason
look
Kidd
rough.
effect, man.
They look rough. We did a preview on Dallas and we said it. They might not be that good this year. Everybody
and
hated
Dallas
on that
fans
video.
was violent. But and what was the second question? The bonus question?
Who's gonna finish higher? In
Oh
the
my
seeding?
God, Atlanta. It's gonna be Atlanta. Listen, and don't get me wrong. I think the Knicks are gonna be a very high seed, but Atlanta, they're just so. Nate McMillan has a full year now. And with Nate McMillan having a full year now, you see the development in the young players. This team has played with each other for a little bit. They know each other. They know their strength. They know their weaknesses. This is the team that has not too many weaknesses. With the Knicks, in that Boston game, you still saw some flair. You guys go on stretches sometimes where you can't score. You rely a little bit too much on Julius Randle. Can you rely on Evan Fournier to be that hot for the whole season? I don't know.
He averaged 19 in Orlando.
Yeah, Orlando. That's
They made
good.
the playoffs.
Yeah.
They did make the playoffs
The
twice.
next year they didn't make the playoffs.
They made the playoffs 2
They were
years
the
in a
eighth
row.
seed.
The next year he got traded.
But they made the playoffs.
They
2
didn't.
years
They wasn't
in a
going to
row.
make the playoffs that year.
But Fournier
No, but they
was a
wasn't
big
gonna make the
part.
playoffs that
No,
year. I know,
they
I
made the
know.
playoffs 2 years in a row. Fournier was a big part of that.
Like I was saying,
He was.
Atlanta.
Fournier.
You got Trae Young. You got Deion. If Atlanta is healthy, if they're healthy, I fully think they'll have a higher seed than the Knicks. Even last year they didn't have a higher seed, but they were unhealthy. Bogue missed some time. D'Angelo missed some time. Hunter missed
a lot of time.
damn near
He
the
missed
whole
a lot
season.
of time.
Clint missed some time. So this team was ravaged by injuries last year and still ended up a 5th seed. The Knicks were particularly
Mitch was hurt.
healthy. Yeah, Mitch was out, but
That's
for
huge.
the most part, they
Alec
were
Burks
healthy.
was hurt too.
Like, okay.
What do you mean? He's a huge bench piece.
No,
Do you not see what he's doing?
Alec Burke, DeAndre Hunter, Bogey, Danilo. Come on, bro. Stop.
Danilo has as much of an impact as Alec Burks.
You're a Knicks
No,
fan.
for their
So,
teams,
you're a Knicks
they
fan.
really
You're a Knicks
do.
fan, so I'm gonna let you
They
slide
really
on
do.
that. But no, they don't.
They really do.
No,
Yeah, they
don't.
do.
No,
What was
they
his
don't.
statement?
He said Alec Burke has as much of an impact as Danilo Gallinari.
On the Knicks, yeah, he does. Have you seen his role?
I understand what he's.
I get what you're
I
saying.
get what you're
Danilo
saying.
hasn't really been all that, bro.
Bro, Danilo's so huge for them, bro.
Last season, he had a big.
Oh, he's
start.
also- oh,
Yeah.
no.
Bro,
Oh,
Alec
yeah,
For
no,
Atlanta, I'm talking about for
Alec
Atlanta.
Burks
Oh, yeah.
hit clutch shot for its all
That's
season.
a fact. No, he's right.
He's a
though.
really good
Alec Burks playing
playmaker,
really good
too.
in the playoffs
He's,
too.
he's all, no,
Yeah.
he's all right, but I think Danilo's more impactful
Didn't he
than
lead your team?
Alec Burke.
Didn't he lead your team in scoring the game? The only game you guys beat the Hawks.
I think
Alec
probably.
Burks. He was
Yeah,
going
he was
crazy.
going crazy.
Him and D Rose.
Alec Burks is underrated, bro. Don't sleep on him.
He talking about some under
Nah, you got it. You stop. You sleeping on him.
You forgot
not
Reddish, bro. You speak on Reddish.
consistency.
That's your man.
He's got to wait. You know,
You
what?
gotta
and I
wait.
respect that.
You gotta wait. You gotta
Staying
be
modest.
consistent. Yeah,
I
I
respect
gotta stay
that.
humble. Gotta
Yeah,
stay humble.
okay.
He's got to be consistent, you know. But I like Atlanta's team way better than the Knicks. I just
Look
think
at them
they're.
Gallo stats
I think
on
they're
him.
more. They're a better team, and they're more. Their chemistry is just better than the Knicks. The Knicks are still a new team with a couple new
Knicks are
pieces,
nice.
and they're gonna figure it out. Though I still like the Knicks. Though I think they'll be a high seed.
More impressive
Top five.
win is
I think they could.
an interesting question. They
I had their ceiling is like third. I
who
think
Knicks?
the Knicks. In
Yeah,
the preview, I think I had their ceiling as
Drew,
third.
do you mind if I go first here?
Absolutely not. Go
'Cause
ahead. Yeah, dude.
I want to talk about the Knicks right now.
Yeah.
Of course you
And
do.
For one, I just checked Alec Burks' stats and Danilo's. They're eerily similar.
But that's what I'm fine. But that's what I was fine with. If you say they're basically around the same impact, I was
didn't-
fine with.
But you see, just because the guys have this similar stats,
you didn't
about
watch
me-
Knicks like that
yeah, you're a
last year.
box score guy.
No, I'm not. I
You
watched
are.
the Knicks.
Easy.
I
watched
watched
the Knicks.
Atlanta. So what you saying here? So
I
what we
watched
saying?
Atlanta
What we saying?
too.
No, you
Nah,
don't. No,
stop.
you don't.
Bro,
No, you don't.
Danilo,
No, you don't.
I love
No, you don't.
Danilo, but let's not act like
You
he
did not
had.
watch Atlanta.
I watched Atlanta.
You
I
watched
didn't
the-
watch it as much as you.
You watched all 5 games of those playoffs, though.
I definitely
Oh,
did.
okay. So let's.
Danilo
yeah.
was ass in those playoffs.
But bro, you're
He's
talking.
ass on the
But you're
offense.
talking
He's
like
ass
Alec,
all the time he gets into the playoffs.
You're talking like
Look
Alec
at
Danilo's
Danilo's
Burks.
stats.
offense. He was a good. He was a solid defender for Atlanta throughout
He
the
was-
whole.
yeah, he
Oh,
was-
yeah.
he was solid.
It's more than just
But
scoring.
who's-
It's more than
wait,
just
hold on,
scoring.
hold on.
Because
Right,
Alec
right.
Burks scored on the points you
Right,
lost.
right, right.
Honest to God, though, who meant more to their team in that playoff series? Alec Burks to the Knicks or Danilo
Well, one
Gallinari
team
to the
lost
That's
Hawks?
not even the
Five.
point, Drew. I want to ask
Yeah,
Rip this
word.
question, and JC, you're a witness to this.
Okay. What's
Who's the
question?
person that told you Danilo was actually a good defender? He wasn't trash on
No, you
defense.
1,000%
It was me,
did.
right?
1,000%
Okay,
did.
yeah, I know what
Wait.
Danilo is, bro.
Wait. What
Let's
that
stop
mean,
capping.
though?
You called him a box score guy. I can understand.
I was the
Because
one
he
that told
just-
you
he
Danilo
thinks-
was good on defense.
And then I watched Atlanta. I was like, yeah, no, you're right.
Yeah, but you ain't know that before though. I
didn't know that.
The only,
film,
the only
bro.
reason you said that is because the Clippers owner
Because-
said that he was a good defender, right?
But the stats back
Jerry
it up.
West, right?
The stats back it up, yeah. And Jerry West was like, he's a very underrated defender. I did the digging for myself, and I said, yo,
Oh, so
he
you?
is.
Oh, so wait. So
Jerry
let me get
West
this
said
straight.
it.
You heard Jerry West say it, then you did the
my-
digging.
Yeah, but he did his
He
research
still
though.
hard.
Yeah,
So
but
that's
you
the
didn't
same
know.
thing. That's the same-
I told you something you didn't know, and you were pushing back.
But Jerry
on it when
West
I
told you something you didn't know. You did the research, and then you.
Well,
you
yeah,
did what I
Jerry
did.
West. Jerry
So how
West
you
can
gonna
tell.
knock me for
Jerry
doing
West.
what you
Jerry
did?
West can tell me a lot of things I don't know. He's one of the greatest. He's a logo of the NBA.
Listen,
I'm fine.
Riv, you started this. You called him a box score guy.
Because all he did
That
was they had the
strong.
similar stats.
No.
You
They
can't
do.
that.
Okay.
They do have similar.
Let's
impact.
talk about the
Yes,
Knicks right now. I want to
yes.
talk about the Knicks opening
Yeah,
night.
talk
Knicks
about the Knicks.
basketball.
Double overtime. What I loved about this win so much is that the Knicks shattered so much narratives in this win. Randall is gonna drop off. He drops 30. When your boy,
Five.
when your
Whoa,
boy,
whoa, whoa, whoa,
when
whoa,
your
whoa.
boy Jalen Brown was
Hit
guarding,
46. You can't say nothing
Nah,
to
you
him, bro.
can't. You
he was
can't.
great.
All right.
Defensively, when he was guarding Julius
foul
Randle,
trouble.
Randle was cooking him.
He's six-
you was like,
It's
oh,
mismatch.
Brown. You were disrespect. You
Wait,
said
wait,
you
wait,
said
wait.
Pat Williams could guard Randle. At that,
Wait.
you're
don't even
disrespectful.
remember that.
Hold on, I said
You're
that, but here's the
disrespectful.
difference. Here's the
You're
difference.
disrespectful.
Before I let you,
You're
let me say this real quick.
You're
just real quick.
disrespectful.
Here's the difference. Here's the
You're disrespectful.
Here's the difference.
That's
Real quick.
it.
Jalen Brown has to do a lot on the scoring end, so his defense is going to take.
I
some
agree
time.
with
Pat
that.
Will doesn't have to do much on the score, so he can just zone in on defense. That's why I was
He
saying
still
that.
couldn't guard Randle.
Okay,
he's
well,
an All NBA player. Respect that.
No, listen, bro. Randall did his thing,
I know he's going to
He did
continue
his
doing
thing.
his
He
thing.
did his
He did his
thing.
thing last year too.
but don't knock it like Brown didn't have 46 points.
Did I knock it? I'm
All
talking
right,
about his
just-
defense.
Well,
on
he had
Randle.
to put 46
No,
on the board.
I'm just
He had
saying that
7 turnovers.
you
too.
was telling
Who
me.
was 7 turnovers?
Randall.
Oh,
I'm just saying that all offseason long, you told me how all these players could lock him up.
well,
now
all the players.
you told me Jalen Brown could lock Randall
I said
up,
he can
bro.
guard him.
You said if we're in a playoff series and if Brown is on Randall, he
I
will
still
lock
believe
him.
that. I still
no,
believe
he
that.
will not not
I'll be
locked.
honest, I do believe that.
I still believe that.
That's bad. I really feel bad for you.
Listen, this overtime game is different from playoff atmosphere. I still believe that.
Okay, on to my other narrative. Evan Fournier
That's
was overpaid. He's not an upgrade over Reggie Bullock. That's what you said. Evan Fournier ties his career high in points with 32 points first game. He hits a bunch of clutch shots. I told you Evan Fournier was nice.
Bro stood there, hit some shots.
I told you how good he was in Orlando. You were like, oh, what he's going to do? In Boston, he averaged 13 points. He ain't bringing nothing to the Knicks. Bro, he's literally, we play a two-man game with Fournier and Randall right now. And it's so goddamn effective.
Imagine that's the duo.
That's what I'm saying. Go ahead. Let him finish.
I get it. You're laughing at the duo, but they're effective. But you said he's not an upgrade over Bullock, and everybody's like the Knicks are falling off. We're 2-0 right now. You look at our next 10 games. We have an easy schedule.
Say it. Say the next two.
Let's hear it. Don't be scared, bro. Say it.
I'm not fully confident in that take yet.
Okay.
I still think the Knicks will be the third seed in the Eastern Conference.
So none of that.
100%. That's their floor.
Oh my God.
That's their floor. That's their floor. The third seed is their floor. That's how good the Knicks are. But I'll say this.
Okay.
I'm going to be wrong about something this year, about the Knicks.
Okay. A lot.
RJ Barrett's not going to have a breakout season. The reason for that is because the way I'm watching the Knicks play right now, it's going through Kemba, Fournier, Randall, and that's because they're better in the pick and roll than RJ. RJ Barrett is going to average 15 to 18 points per game, but what he's going to do is he's going to be an all-NBA defender this year. I don't know if he's going to get on the team, but in terms of watching him, like Lou Dort, Dylan Brooks, they're not on the all-NBA defensive list, but we know they're all-NBA defenders.
That's a fact.
We're going to watch RJ.
Him being
That's a good question.
I mean,
that's an argument on Knicks Twitter right now. I'm fine with it. You want to know why? Because Jaylen Brown, after the Celtics went to the Eastern Conference Finals and Hayward and Kyrie came back, Jaylen Brown took a gigantic back seat.
He averaged 13 that year.
But for the betterment of the team. RJ's doing this for the betterment of the team. Thibodeau speaks about sacrifice. This is about him sacrificing. I think this year he's not going to get that opportunity, but it's going to prepare him for years to come, and we're eventually going to see that breakout year. I just don't think it's going to be this season, but I love what the Knicks have been doing. Mitchell Robinson, 17 boards, and we have been shooting a lot of threes. Like, for example, look at this stat right here. The Knicks have made 41 three-pointers this season. No other team in the NBA has made more than 32. From 2019 to 2020, that season, 31.8% of our shots were three-point shots, 29th in the NBA. Last season, 35% of our shots were three-point shots, 26th in the NBA. So far in these two games, 51% of our shots are three-point shots. That's first in the NBA. I think Thibodeau is adjusting to this modern NBA. I think we have the personnel to adjust. Obi looks like a completely different player. The Knicks are going to surprise a lot of people. We have the depth. We have the players. Don't sleep. But also to shout at Atlanta, Cam Reddish looks very confident this year, and I love that he's finally blossoming. I think he's going to blossom this year. DeAndre Hunter is an elite defender. That team, their depth.
You're more prepared for round two now.
That team is really great. I'm not going to knock Atlanta. They'll still lose in the first round if they see the Knicks, but I like Atlanta.
At least it'll be a better series now than it was last year, you know?
Yeah.
Last year was
for the Knicks, we're going to win.
Yeah, no, I mean, you just put up a good 2 strong games and 4 more. You're going to lose in 6.
And Kemba hasn't gotten it going yet. When he gets it going, cardiac time.
You need to
Walker.
You need to just
You're confident in Kemba.
You need to set yourself up for the fact that he's not going to get it
That's
going.
what I'm saying.
He's going to get it going.
No, you need to just be ready for D-Rose coming in the OTs.
That's fine.
Just be ready for
Quickly
that.
looks solid. Obviously, it's against Orlando. Quickly put some good minutes
Quickly
up.
last year was a rookie made over team.
Yeah, no, for
Quickly he gets inconsistent minutes.
but he also has inconsistent spurts.
His shot selection.
But you know what the
blows
Knicks are doing this year? We're playing small. Obi at the 4, Randall at the 5.
That's
that
been
lineup
one
has been deadly.
That's
for us.
been one of the biggest surprises for me too. Obi's production, what he's been able to do
looks
these
great.
first
Well,
two games.
his comp was what? Stoudemire?
Yeah.
Oh my God! If he could be Stoudemire, you take that, you close
Obi
your
looks
eyes.
great.
Yeah, he
His
does.
comp
Obi-Wan Kenobi. Obi.
He did the dance too.
His comp was Stoudemire.
I got my cousin a shirt for his birthday that says Obi-Wan Kenobi, and it's him in like a Jedi suit.
That's
That's
tough.
the worst shirt ever.
You have no. Come on, bro.
It's Obi-Wan
Get
Kenobi.
cultured.
That's the worst shirt
Get
ever.
cultured. No. But all right, so I'll be really quick because Joel, you hit it right in the head. Truthfully, there's a lot of good things from what we saw from the Knicks. That being said, I was higher on the Mavericks than you guys were. So to see Atlanta come out and school them by 26, I was impressed because it really didn't look like Atlanta was playing they didn't really need one player to really ball out. Almost every single one of their starters balled out. I think the average plus minus for them was like a plus 20 for the starting lineup. And then you had, obviously, Cam Reddish come off the bench and drop 20 points for them. This is going to be a big season for Atlanta. I don't know if, obviously, comparing wins, you got to go with the Knicks against the Celtics, because the Celtics and the Knicks, that's going to be a pretty close matchup in terms of seeding in the East, at least in my opinion. But then I was higher on the Mavs, and so to see Atlanta come out and just flat out scrape them, Mavericks really didn't look that great at all. DeAndre Hunter is a solid defender. John Collins, I've been a huge supporter of his game. He had a solid outputting too. Trey Young really didn't have a Trey Young-esque game, but you really didn't need that out of him. Clint Capella is going to do what he's going to do. Is going to be an enforcer down low, really. This Hawks team is still, in my opinion, better than the Knicks, but the Knicks aren't going to be slouches this season. I'm not expecting Evan Fournier to have 30 points. Obviously, they went into double overtime. That played a little bit of a factor in him getting 30. But at the same time, it's an interesting roster, truthfully. You don't have Reggie Bullock now. You don't have Elfrid Payton. Now you have Kemba. Now you have D Rose that you can rely on. Evan Fournier. At least it's people. That's a huge step up from Elfrid Payton and Reggie Bullock.
Stop sleeping.
No, he's just it's none to really be bad about. Exactly.
I see your eyes.
Yeah, true. That is what it is. But ultimately, I don't think that the Knicks are on the Hawks level right now, or will be at any point in this season. I'm just higher on the Hawks. I still think that the Hawks are going to be the higher seed. To say that the Knicks floor is 3 is pretty funny.
First of all, I'm sorry, Jason, to cut you off. I'm just so pissed off because the Knicks they ran up and down New York. I live in New York, so I went downtown. I was doing a little. I went downtown with my friend, and I heard New York. It was loud. You know, they were running up there.
Did you see the video?
Yeah, bro. They was going crazy.
Goated. Side Talk NYC. Shout out to them.
Yeah, that video's goated.
It's just funny to me because Knicks fans, you deserve that win.
KD made a mistake going to Brooklyn.
No, he did it. But you deserve that win. He definitely did it. He did it. But you deserve that win. But let's really dig deep into this game, right? Jaylen Brown goes off for 40. Julius Randle gets his 30 plus. So they head. Evan Fournier gets his 30. Kem Walker, he has his little 15 or whatever, 10. Derrick Rose, he hits clutch shots in OT. RJ Barrett, he has his little spurt. He goes off for 19. You see where I'm going with this, right?
The Knicks, you haven't even mentioned Tatum.
The Knicks have a plethora of guys that just went. They had their day. They won by 4. Let's go to the Boston side. Jaylen Brown gets his 40. Robert Williams, we didn't talk about him enough.
Played really well.
Robert Williams,
great.
He played phenomenal. You know, defensively, he did his thing on
Grant
Randall.
Williams too.
Grant Williams, he's really bad, but he did play good.
He played really
he's
good.
so bad. I hate
he
how
hit
he
3
played.
3-pointers.
Yeah,
in the
he's
fourth.
annoying.
15, 5, and 4 is fine.
Dennis Schroeder, his shot selection is horrible. They need to figure that out. Yeah, it's smart. But Jason Tatum, where was Jason Tatum?
RJ Barrett had him in jail.
Somehow
Jason Tatum had 22 uncontested jump shots. Stop. we need that narrative
in jail.
that RJ had anything in jail. RJ had nothing in jail.
Yeah, he did. He did great.
But
on that last possession to win the game, he played really well.
Hey, before you go, I want to talk about that because
I really wanted to know where's Jason.
I want to talk about that.
7
was off.
for 30.
He was off.
I want to talk about that because you talk about that last possession. Jason Tatum had a chance to hit a game-winning shot on RJ Barrett.
He's hit one before on him too.
In that same spot.
Come on, man. Why you messing up my mind?
Oh, my fault.
In that same spot.
Nah, I'm done. Whatever.
Go ahead, JC.
I like the Knicks finishing higher than the Hawks simply because of the fact that I think they addressed their offseason issue, and I felt this was an issue all last season. They were too Julius Randle reliant on the offensive end. You get Evan Fournier, who's he's a good scorer. He's 19, 20 points per game scorer. You get Kemba Walker. He's definitely an upgrade from what they had before. So offensively, I'm liking the way that this team is, put together. Then you get Mitchell Robinson back, who's way better than Nerlens Noel was. He's a step up from Nerlens Noel.
Yeah,
yes.
Nerlens gave good minutes last season.
But you're not hearing me out. Nerlens is hurt.
Mitch is different.
Nerlens is hurt right now, right?
In the pick and roll.
So that's
against
Mitch.
Boston. Mitch,
No, he didn't.
In the fourth and in overtime, Mitch was getting abused in the pick and roll. Yeah, he was. I know you love Mitch.
You haven't seen him.
No, I know you love Mitch, and Mitch is a great defender. But let's not act like Mitch is just he's there yet. He was
17 rebounds, bro.
No, yeah, 17. I mean, Drummond can do that. But let's not act like he's. Don't get me wrong, Mitch is there. But
I mean, guarding on the perimeter. I mean, that's not really.
Yeah,
he could do that though.
He could, but he was getting like Nerlens is a solid defender.
Finisher.
I mean, but look, obviously, so you got Mitchell Robinson, who's the better. We can all agree he's the better center. He's a better player. But then you got Nerlens Noel off the bench, who had a terrific season for the Knicks last year. So that's good. Then you have Derrick Rose. You resigned him. Obviously, I like that move. And then defensively, it's a Tom Thibodeau coach team. I mean, this team is gonna be a top 10 defensive team. And another thing that I kind of found that was like, it was good watching the Knicks is I may be jumping the boat too much, but I feel like they finally have a closer. And I feel like Evan Fournier can be that guy down the stretch. No, I really do.
He was it for Orlando.
What are you talking about?
I'm sorry,
How can he be a closer? He was a closer in Orlando.
He was a closer for Orlando. He made the playoffs.
Stop saying that.
Nah, he did though. He was closing
did it.
games. I've seen him hit game winners, bro. He can be. You didn't see him in OT. He was popping off in OT.
No, he was bugging. But let's pump the brakes.
That's what I'm
let's pump.
But you're acting like Fournier hasn't done it before.
No, but I get what you're saying.
No, but my thing with the Knicks
It's
was
also
this.
Orlando. It's not the mecca of basketball.
No, but my thing was
he's playing
my
better
thing was
because
this
it's
with the
New York.
Knicks.
How do you think he's playing better if he's played 2
He
games?
just tied his career high in the first game of the season.
He was going. He had
that's
like
what we're doing.
he had 9
In
points in
double
overtime.
OT.
Miles Turner just had 40. Do you plan on that consistently happening?
No, but
Not 40 consistently, but Rick Carlisle has said that he's the future of the NBA at the center position, and he's given him
Until-
high praise.
But so
and now Rick Carlisle is his coach, so I wouldn't count out
so
Miles Turner
Fournier
having a
can't give
breakout
you
year.
19 to 20.
No, nobody said he couldn't do that.
No, but that's my thing. They have you know how people in the playoffs last year, Julius Randle was their closer. Didn't really look. I don't really think that's.
Yeah.
We have ball handlers now. That's what I think the biggest
Evan
thing
Fournier can. I'm not saying he's going to be like the clutchest guy in the league, but I think that if Randall's not having, I think relying on Evan Fournier to take the last shot or anything, I don't think that's that bad.
You want to know why that's not that bad?
It's
Because
not bad
last
at
year
all.
our closer most of the time was Randall or Alec Burks,
and they're not closers. They're
And
not closers.
I want to just answer back to this one statement you made, and it's the last thing I'm gonna say because we're going on with this topic way too long. I love the fact that you mentioned all of the things that went wrong for Boston. Tatum played bad. You could even say Al Horford didn't play. Schroeder played bad. Grant Williams hit like 4 threes in a row. He
That's
had
what I
15.
said.
Is that going to happen? Is Brown going to go off for 46?
No, he's not.
No, he's not.
But then you
not
can't- but
all
you
the
can't
time.
count
Like,
on-
come on,
you
that's
can't- but-
46.
yeah, I know,
Wait,
but
can you
Joel-
count on Fournier to have 30 repeatedly?
Hold on.
Can you ever count on Tatum to have
7
Hold
for
on,
30?
let me
No, you
finish.
can't.
Let me finish.
You can't.
Romeo Langford at 10. Like this guy averages like 2 points.
Did you
like
wait?
First
He's
of
gonna get
all,
more burned this year.
First of all, I want to mention this. You look at the Knicks box score right here. Kemba Walker had 10 points. Is he going to have that? No, he can. He
Kemba's
averaged
a
20.
15 to
he-
16
He
points per
averaged
game
20
score.
last year. He can average 18.
Wait,
He averaged 19 and a half
you
last
talked
year.
about everything that went wrong for Boston. Let's talk about the Knicks. Kemba had 10. Rose had 9, went 3 for 11. This
That's
guy
not
was a
gonna happen.
6th man of the
It's
year
not gonna
candidate
happen
last year. Alec Burks had 5. This guy averages
Don't
12.
forget Nerlens Noel, bro. He's not even healthy.
Emmanuel quickly went 1 for 4. He had 2 points. So our bench guys didn't play great. So let's stop acting like Boston just had this off night and everybody on the Knicks was cooking, because that's not a fact. Our starter lineup was cooking.
You said
but our
Emmanuel
bench
Quickly
was
played
not
8
good.
minutes, bro.
But our bench was not cooking, bro. I've seen Emmanuel quickly go off for 14 in 8 minutes.
Yeah, but bro, you have to understand this.
Oh, the thing about the Knicks is that all of our guys can go off.
Well,
we have
Rip, what
depth.
was your biggest problem with the Knicks last year? It was on the offensive side of the ball, right?
It was
Offensively,
consistently
right?
on the
Well, then
offensive
now they
side.
replaced them with Kemba Walker and Evan Fournier.
Yeah,
I think that's a big upgrade.
But the thing is, the difference is Kemba Walker. I get it; he's going to be good, but he's also injury prone. He's not that good in the playoffs.
That's fine. You have Derrick Rose off the bench.
Yeah, you have Derrick Rose off the bench.
That's
Who they had
another
him
one.
last year, and
Said
they still
former
lost in
MVP.
5.
No, but he played really well in the playoffs.
And they still
though.
lost in 5.
Yeah, but,
so it's going to be the
they got
same thing.
Fournier, they got
lost-
Mitchell
they lost in
Robinson.
5
They have
because
a better
obviously
team
the
now.
best
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
They do have a better team, but do you in this game specifically? Do you trust Tatum to go 7 for 30 again?
No.
Do you
Do you
trust
trust
Brown
Evan
to go
Fournier
for
to-
46?
No, but he's going to get 20 to 25.
You trust Grant
He's
Williams
more-
to go for 15 and
No,
shoot
no,
above
absolutely.
50%
What are you?
from
What are you
Is
getting
it
with
wrong
that
for me
statement?
to say that I
What?
think?
What are you getting with that?
I'm
with the
saying Boston
sorry, with
didn't
the Boston
play.
statement?
Boston didn't play. That was one of the
Boston
best.
just lost to Toronto. They didn't look
So
good.
the
but
Knicks
that was
had a
one of the
perfect
best
game?
Knicks. No, I'm saying that was a great Knicks game, right?
A
Like
great
the
game
Knicks
for
played. Yeah, the Knicks played great. Boston didn't play
Great
their best
strong.
game.
Great strong.
Boston didn't
Look at
play.
this.
Jaylen Brown
Look at this.
carried them for most of
Look
the
at
game.
this. Look at this. Field goal
And they
percentage.
only lost by 4.
Look at this. Field goal percentage.
Knicks blew the game. Sorry.
Field goal percentage. Boston
Facts.
shot 41% from the field. Knicks shot 49%. In terms of 3-pointers, Boston shot 57 threes. They shot 37% from three. We shot 38% from three. Similar. They had a better free throw percentage and shot four less free throws. They had more rebounds. They had more assists. They had one less block. They had more steals. We only had one less turnover. We just had 60 points in the paint compared to the 42. I mean, and the fouls, they had 2 more fouls than us. It's not like we played this extraordinarily great game in Boston. Just had this off night.
Boston as a team, they won in some categories.
Similarly. We played similarly, and the Knicks just gutted out the win. It is what it is.
I mean, Tatum going 7 for 30, honestly. I mean,
it's not going to happen again.
It's not going to happen.
But if Tatum goes crazy, Brown not getting 46, bro. Like, that's a career day from him. I know Brown could get 30 when he wants, but
you keep saying that career as if Evan Fournier didn't just have a career game.
Jaylen Brown hit a logo 3, bro, to tie the game.
That was a tough shot.
That's not going to happen, bro.
Evan Fournier had a career high 30.
Don't talk like I understand.
I love Jaylen Brown
points in OT.
Yeah, let's
question. Were you impressed by the Knicks or no?
No, yeah, I was.
Okay,
I was.
But
your dynamic.
Do you think Fournier could be a closer? Why'd you laugh at that statement?
I was laughing with him.
Yeah,
but why'd you laugh at that? What's wrong with
because you guys
that?
because we're just it's a different environment than Orlando. It's not. This is not Orlando.
I mean, he performed pretty well when he was
in Orlando.
The other night.
Yeah,
no, the other night.
One game. But you just said 10 minutes ago that it's 2 games. I'm not going to look at it too much.
But I'm saying this team definitely did improve.
So you don't think if you're a player, you're going to play better when?
But you can also play worse.
The Mecca is cheering you. That
energy
is different.
It's a 50-50.
I didn't even talk about RJ Barrett and his contributions to the team too. He can give you 16, 19 points per game with elite defense. The Knicks are good.
Your big 2 had 60 points last game.
Who's their big 2?
At the moment, Julius Randle, Evan Fournier. And they both played great.
You're saying
Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum had 60, and Jason Tatum didn't play good at all.
I'm not counting on Kemba to just have 10 points in a big game.
And D-Rose, you're counting for D-Rose 7 off the bench?
No,
D-Rose could give you 15 off the bench.
He can, but Kemba is like a 50-50.
D-Rose can go off any night, too. I'm just saying, we got guys.
They have guys,
This topic has been on for too long.
For me.
I want to talk about
two
more teams in the East. We talked about the Knicks and Hawks. These other 2 teams are title contenders, we could say, right? Miami Heat and the Milwaukee Bucks. The Heat played them. Yep. They blew them out. I mean, it was a gigantic. It was a blowout, but Drew Holiday and Brook Lopez did not play. The Heat looked scary defensively. Hero had a great game as well off the bench. If the Heat were to see the Bucks in the playoffs again, who would win this matchup? And I'm going to start with JC because I know that you have an ongoing bet with Riv about this topic.
If they play in the playoffs in the first, second round,
whenever.
Whatever. So I was telling Riv all off season with the additions of Kyle Lowry, PJ Tucker. I think Miami obviously is probably going to be the best team defensively in the league, in my opinion. I mean, 1 through 5, they're really good on defense. They can switch. They have Bam. Me and Riv were arguing about that Milwaukee and Miami series last year. I was telling him that they have the recipe to stop Giannis, but he said that he didn't really even play well in that first round of series. But I was getting to the fact that Drew Holiday and Chris Middleton, if they play this Miami Heat team, they're going to need Giannis to be MVP level Giannis. And I don't know if he can do that against Miami because you have Bam Adebayo, you have PJ Tucker, you have Jimmy Butler, you have a lot of guys who you can throw at him. And then on top of that, I feel comfortable putting Bam on him the entire game and having Jimmy Butler guard Chris Middleton, have Kyle Lowry guard.
Why do you need Kyle Lowry and Chris Middleton to play? Why do you need Giannis to play MVP level? Why?
Because you're gonna put your hope in Drew Holiday and Chris Middleton carrying them again in this series with Giannis not underperforming, but he wasn't playing to his standard against Miami.
They swept
and
him.
That was
didn't need him.
Now that's what. Now my point is, now you're gonna need him though.
So you think Kyle Lowry, PJ Tucker change the sweep that much?
Yes.
Okay.
And then with how Tyler Hero's playing out, albeit it's been 2 games. Me and you had our debate about him. If he continues to be the spark of the bench 6 man of the year, that's going to be great. And then we're not even talking about Victor Oladipo, another guy who's a very good defender.
We got to wait and see.
I think this team has the personnel to build the wall that troubles Giannis. People saying that it's not going to work anymore. He's getting a little jump shot. I don't know. They have the personnel to guard him with the wall, or they have the personnel to put somebody who's like one of the really rare players that you can put him on the island with Giannis and feel comfortable, and Bam Adebayo. That's why he was my pick to be Defensive Player of the Year. But on top of that, it's just a lot of experience. You have Kyle Lowry, who's a champion. You have the Miami, who went to the championship in the bubble. You have Jimmy Butler, who's a dog. You have PJ Tucker, who just came off a championship. This team is really constructed to really guard any team in the NBA, and they're going to be the kryptonite for the Milwaukee Bucks. So I do think that if they meet in the playoffs, I'm going to stand on my statement. I do think that they can beat the Bucks. They have the personnel, they have the players. They have more offense. They're a perfect team defensively, offensively. They have a playmaker in Lowry. They got shooting. This team is perfect. This is a perfect team to upset the Bucks or the Nets. Not just the Bucks, just the Nets as well. So I think the Miami Heat are going to beat the Bucks if they meet in the playoffs. You can book it.
And you guys have a bet, right?
Yes.
What's the bet? How much?
What was it?
I think it was like 100, right?
Yeah, something like
we got a $100 bet. So Miami, don't let me down. But I mean, I'm not gonna put too much stock into that regular season games. They didn't have Drew or Brooke, but geez, bro, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be real tough. It's gonna be tough. Tucker, baby, champion.
Oh my, JC, you just tweaked right there. You did your thing.
No, I've been thinking about this all offseason. Sure. I like this team.
You got me sold on Miami. I was like,
I like this team. This team's very good. Rip, wait. Before you go, do you think Miami can beat them? Just before, you think the Bucks are gonna win, but would you be surprised if Miami wins?
No.
Okay.
But I think
the respect right there.
You said a lot. You said a lot just now.
Never fold.
No. I like Miami's team. Miami's team is defensively constructed. Perfect. But I think Milwaukee has the personnel to guard Miami. Same way that they do. I think Drew Holiday is a perfect guy for Jimmy Butler or Kyle Lowry or Tyler Hero. It doesn't really matter. Anybody at the guards. I think Chris Middleton's a plus defender. He can guard also. And Giannis is there. I think with losing PJ Tucker, that's huge. He was, if he wasn't the number one guy guarding Jimmy, it was him. It was him first, then Drew and Giannis.
They all split time. They all
split time guarding him, and they did a wonderful job of locking down Jimmy Butler. Yeah, and it led to a sweep. I think with the additions that they did get, though, Grayson Allen, Jordan Noah starting to play. He's a really good shooter. Yeah. I think they added some shooters where even though they did lose PJ Tucker and they did lose the defense, they've gained a little bit of offense. Now, granted, I'm not going to put too much into that loss, not because it was a regular season game, but just because Brooke and Drew Holiday didn't play, and those two guys are key for for Milwaukee's team. But I do think that offensively, Giannis has never played good or great against Miami. He's never dominated Miami. Yeah. He's never done what he's done to other teams to Miami.
And it's probably an added incentive for him to go crazy.
So that's one question that I have for you. You know how he didn't really play well last year against them? Do you think they can get by this Miami team without him playing that well? I think you need him to be that player. And I don't know if he can be.
I think watching him play now, you see
definitely better.
He's definitely added onto his game, and this team looks a lot more confident. And I think that goes into play. I think Miami is kind of chasing Milwaukee, and when you're chasing somebody, you're kind of looking to just beat them, and it kind of can hurt you in a way. So Milwaukee, with the personnel they have, I think they'll still be fine. Even if Giannis doesn't go off, Drew and Middleton, because I think if Giannis, they have enough to neutralize Jimmy Butler. So and you saw when Jimmy Butler wasn't on, Miami couldn't do anything. There's nothing that they could have done. After game one, it was blowout. They couldn't do anything. Jimmy was in the chamber.
That's why I think these additions, Kyle Lowry with Tyler Hero playing better and Oladipo coming back, he can give you some offensive spark. You got Duncan.
But it's like Tyler Hero, you have to see consistency. Oladipo, you have to see him healthy. Yeah. But I think they match up well. But I still like Drew Middleton. I still like that big three of Drew Middleton and Giannis, because Drew can neutralize anybody on Miami, and the same with Giannis. I still would take Bucks. I'd probably say Bucks in 6.
It's funny that you said that you think Miami's really constructed to beat the Bucks, right? They constructed their team to beat the Bucks, right? It's funny. I'm not gonna go back and forth with this, but I heard somebody on NBA TV say this was a game that Miami had circled. Miami was gonna go. So this
PJ Tucker said it.
Yeah, they're gonna go all out when they play the Bucks. So I mean, I think this. You said this is the best rivalry in basketball the other day.
I think it's the best rivalry in basketball right now.
I think it's up there.
You want to know?
I have fun watching them play.
You want to know why?
I like the Warriors and the Rockets one.
Okay, but that's not an ongoing thing. You want to know why the Heat and the Bucks are the best rivalry in the NBA right now? Because no other team in the past 2-3 seasons, we could say that they have met in the playoffs twice already.
More.
The Heat dominated the Bucks in the bubble, and then the Bucks the very next year swept the Heat to win the championship.
Yeah.
They got by them in the first round. It's about time this season that we get a 7-game series between these two teams. I want a 7-game series.
Yeah, me too.
And I think it's going to happen this year. If they face in the playoffs, we're going to get a 7-game series. It's going to go down to the wire.
Disclaimer, I need Brooklyn to get that number 1 seed because I do not want to play these guys in either one of these teams in the second round. I'd rather them have it duke it out.
That's kind of like Houston and the Warriors, though, because
they saw each other damn near every year.
They saw each other a lot, and the Warriors had their number. I mean, it didn't go to 6. It went to 5 until Chris Paul came. Now it's going to 6. Now it's going to 7.
Even when it was going to 5, it was still good games.
Competitive,
It was
down
still
to the wire.
competitive games.
So regardless. I think this and the Knicks and Hawks. I think they have the best rivalry.
In the East, yeah.
Yeah, because in the West, what rivalries amongst the playoff teams really?
Warriors, Lakers
like
right now.
That's always a good one.
Clippers and Lakers, it's not really a rivalry. They haven't faced in the playoffs
I think
yet.
Clippers and Dallas is a good one.
Clippers and
That's
Dallas.
a really good
Would
one.
But
you-
it's one-sided
Red,
so far.
Red, would you say Bucks and Nets is a rivalry too?
No, not yet.
You don't think so? I feel like everybody
I think
circles
it
that
is.
game
It
when they
is.
play.
I think it is.
I like Nets and Knicks games better, honestly.
Oh, I love those games too.
Those are more aggressive for me. I
Yeah,
like those
city.
personally.
But I mean, what do you guys think about Miami?
I'll let you go first.
Yeah, go ahead, Drew.
I'm not, so the question initially was, would the Heat beat the Bucks?
Do you think they can beat? Well,
Do you
think
believe they
are?
could?
If they face, what do you
Yeah,
think?
who
That's
you
what I'm
got?
saying. I'm 1 game in with the Heat, 2 games in with Milwaukee, and Milwaukee opening day schooled the Nets, who I had as my number 1 team in the East.
They schooled
So
us.
it's hard to gauge right now. Could they beat Milwaukee? They could beat them. Do I think they right now necessarily will? Especially as you guys said, no Drew Holiday, no Brook Lopez. I'm not
Not a
ready.
fair assessment.
Yeah, it's not the fairest of assessment. And if I'm being honest, Miami had as perfect as a game as you could have. You go and you score over 40 points in the first quarter, and it takes them almost 6 minutes to get out of single digits. It was a perfect storm by Miami. Bam Adebayo looked special game 1. I'm not going to front. His transition offense was spectacular. His defense on Giannis was very good. The way that they were running the pick and roll with Jimmy and Bam was very clean. Tyler Hero, how we spoke on preseason, he needs to be this off-the-bench spark for them. 27 points in the opening night. You couldn't ask for anything better from this team. I'm just going to go down the list real quick, and then I'll let you go, Joel. P.J. Tucker, plus 31. Butler, plus 27. Adebayo, plus 30. Lowry, plus 22. Robinson, plus 29. Hero, plus 27. It was a perfect game from from Miami against a banged-up Milwaukee Bucks team. I'm not taking too much stock into it, but I am respecting, without a doubt, what Miami did.
I mean, I told you guys in the offseason, and I was wearing this shirt when I said it as well. I said if the Bucks didn't go out and trade for PJ Tucker, they wouldn't have won the championship. And in that playoff run, in terms of defensive rating, Tucker finished at the best. In terms of net rating, he finished with the highest. I thought that was a big loss. And Tucker's a guy that Mark Jackson has said on commentary when he was commentating on the Rockets game before. He said, if you don't love his game, you don't love basketball. He said PJ Tucker spells win.
Huh? The guy that got fired said that.
Ooh, that's mean. Come on, bro. He built your Splash
Respect
Bros.
Mark Jackson.
Like,
So PJ Tucker's a special player. I know that
Oh
if
my God.
I know that his stats aren't
He's a special.
glamorous.
Can we say
but
he's a special role player?
that's
He's a
what-
special role player, though.
I think he's a special guy, man. He's a special guy. Shoe
can we
collection
stop
is
with
crazy.
He's a
throwing-
special role
This is
player,
what
Rev.
Every team Tucker has been on from in 2014 to 2015 when he was with the Suns, that fan base loves him. When he was with Toronto, a short stint, they love him. When he was with Houston, Rockets fans love PJ Tucker. And then in Milwaukee, the fans have embraced him already. And, they won a championship with him. And now in Miami, Heat fans are going to love PJ Tucker as much as I love him. I'm his number 1 fan. I love Tucker, man. PJ.
Tuck.
But this game was over after the first quarter. There was no need to watch it. The first quarter ended like this. Max Struss had a block, and then Tyler Hero hit this like a logo 3.
Yep.
And then that's the end of the first quarter. I was like, it's over.
That was lit.
Strus, Max Strus. That pull up 3.
That back-to-back play was nuts.
But their defense was suffocating. Their effort was
So
there.
good.
PJ Tucker's impact was felt early on defense and even on offense. And the entire defense just had great energy. I already said what I had to say about the Heat earlier when I said this is the best rivalry in the NBA right now. And I'm hoping they face in the playoffs and we get a 7-game series between these two teams because I think it's warranted. In the bubble, the Heat embarrassed the Bucks. And then last year, the Bucks embarrassed the Heat. It's about time we get an even series between these two teams. And Giannis last year, they swept the Heat, but he averaged 22 points per game. He had his worst series of that entire playoff run.
They embarrassed
If they
him.
play again, I don't think Jimmy Butler shoots 22% from the field. I think Lowry adds playmaking and leadership and toughness and defense. I think if they face again, Miami would win.
No, you take it.
You know what you're forgetting?
I was right. I'm 2 for 2 so far.
What?
2 years ago, when the Bucks faced the Heat in the bubble,
Did call
it
it.
was a hot take to say Miami would beat them.
He did call
I
it.
said Heat would beat them.
Yeah, he
Last
did.
year, I called the Bucks beating the Heat, and now this year we're gonna see.
What about how do you feel about Oladipo? Like I know, like I feel like he's important too.
He has to stay healthy.
Him staying healthy,
I'm not ready to give a firm opinion yet.
He adds to that team
because obviously he has a skill set.
Who?
Oladipo. Oh. But you can't rely on him to be on the court for when you need him most, truthfully. Last season, you trade for him at the trade deadline, thinking that he would be that X factor piece for you. That was their big move of the trade deadline. And then it obviously ended up backfiring with an unfortunate injury. But that's been the story of Oladipo's career.
Past couple of years, point. Yeah, it's true.
I think every single time we talk about the Bucks on this show, Bucks fans are always mad.
I mean, I like.
Have you seen the comments on? Like, we made a video about Giannis and where he ranks, like the start bench cut, like the KD, Kawhi, and Giannis, and a bunch of Bucks fans were just mad.
Y'all were hating. Y'all were hating.
I'm hating because I think Kawhi's better.
Yes. At this point in time, though.
It's ignorant.
At this point in time,
healthy Kawhi, I still think he's on par with Giannis. I'm so serious.
Not right now.
I don't think it's so far off. I don't think it's far off at all.
It's not ignorant.
You know what I noticed?
Kawhi is nice, bro.
If you guys didn't know, well, you guys know, but the audience doesn't. I edit the clips for TikTok, right? And this past week when I was editing the clips for TikTok, I stumbled upon something JC does while we give our takes. He's always ad-libbing. Do you hear that?
Always.
Nah,
but I do it super low key. I don't want to interrupt you guys.
I was like this because when I was doing my Mavericks take, I was like, I don't think the Mavericks are good, and then I just hear JC in the background, Doncic.
Doncic. You didn't hear me? You were talking about the Heat, and the whole time I'm like Tucker. Every time you mention him, I'm like Tucker.
He's like,
but
like
I do it not enough like to obviously interrupt.
But you can hear like he'll ad lib, and
then you got to hear out for it. Now you got to look out.
Now I'm a dead go here. I'm gonna listen to.
Like I was talking about the Mavs and Luka. Then I was like, and the Grizzlies, he was like Morant. Now the audience is gonna pick up on that, and they're gonna laugh when he
now I'm gonna
look out for it. I do it a lot.
Definitely pick up on it.
The Golden State Warriors. Now, look, this is a team that I haven't had a lot of love for because I was a Rockets fan and I was a James Harden fan. But I have grown to appreciate Steph Curry's game, and I will be honest. He's one of my favorite players that I watch right now. I wouldn't be surprised.
I didn't let him into the club. I just wanted.
You guys shouldn't be surprised if I get a Steph Curry jersey in the near future and I start wearing it on the show. I'm just gonna be honest.
You are sad.
Curry, he's the babyface assassin.
The furthest I went was saying the beef's dead. That's it. I can move on, but I can't go this far.
Yeah. And the topic of this question, the question of this topic is that if what stood out most in the Warriors win. Well, of course, Steph stood out. They're 2-0 right now. He had 45 against the Clippers. But I think their offense got slept on. And just being on Twitter over the offseason, a lot of Warriors fans hated the moves the Warriors made. They hated the picks of Kuminga and Moody. They wanted to trade the picks to get an established player. I understand that. They didn't think too highly of Otto Porter and Bielitsa. But I think the players they brought in really fit this system. Jordan Poole has been in it for a while, so he fits. Wiggins understands it. Last year, their problem was that they had a bunch of knuckleheads when it came to the system. Oubre didn't know how to play in it. Poole was still figuring it out. And Bazemore was okay, but he didn't offer the spacing they needed. It was a bunch of players that didn't know how to play in the system. But now with Bielitsa, who had a double-double in Game 1, he's a smart player. People don't know this, but he was the EuroLeague MVP when he played in the EuroLeague. And he's been a solid player in the NBA so far. He hasn't been a star, but he's been great in his role. And in Golden State, he's such a smart guy. Kayvon Looney he's the center they need. When I look at Golden State, I love what they made. The additions of Iggy, smart passer, Otto Porter, floor spacer, he plays within the system. If it's one thing that's going to hurt Golden State, it's their lack of size. You saw it in the first game they had Toscano Anderson on Anthony Davis. I think Kayvon Looney is a good defensive center, but he's 6'9". There's only so much he can do. James Wiseman, he can be that Bogut for them. He can be that Ezeli for them. And I know people aren't expecting too much out of Wiseman. It's either or. People are expecting either too much or they're not expecting enough. I just want Wiseman to be solid. I'm not sure if he's going to be, because when he was on the court with Golden State last season, they were way worse, and they were on a 60-win pace when he got injured. I love Golden State this year. They're my pick to make it out the West. I love the moves. I'm surprised Damian Lee's playing this much, but it's because he knows the system and he understands it. This team, they're a force to be reckoned with, and they're going to be very great this year.
Well, I'm not too high. I'm not too low on Wiseman. I think what messed him up was that missing a year. And for a big man, that's very important. You know, not playing ball for a year. And then he didn't have a training camp. He didn't have an off season. He just came in and played. I think he's going to be fine. Just need some time to figure it out.
Mitchell Robinson did that, though.
That's true, but I feel like the Knicks system isn't as complicated as the Warriors system.
Yeah, no doubt.
So, and I think same with Poole. It's just Poole can shoot. So he had stretches where he kind of diffused all that, but Poole didn't know the system like that last year either. He was still trying to figure it out. Same with Toscano Anderson. He's become a very, very smart player. This team, the goal this offseason for Bob Myers and Steve Kerr was to get Warriors guys. Get guys who are smart basketball players. They're not the best. They're not the most athletic, just smart, high-level IQ players. And everybody they got fits that description. Even the young guys, you know, Kuminga may not be that, but Moses Moody is that, a smart, high-level IQ guy. And that's why he plays the little bit minutes that he gets. And when he does play, he's very effective in those minutes that he does play. Kuminga, I think this is perfect for him. You know, he doesn't have to play this year.
Like a redshirt year, right?
Yeah, he doesn't have to play this year. He's young. His potential is high. He can wait, you know. With this team, though, Bielitsa, Otto Porter Jr. guys who can shoot, space the floor, who has a little bit of the playmaking in them and can defend. You need that. Draymond Green, Iggy can still do things on the end, and you've seen it against the Clippers and against the Lakers. This team shoots a lot of threes. This team spaces the floor. They're unselfish, and that's Warriors basketball. Unselfish, pass the ball, shoot the three, and I think that's what's been key for them. The size is going to hurt them. Like when a team like Philly or a team like, you know, Miami or a team with like a dominant big, Denver. But I think the defense they play and the fact that they're so high-powered and they play a running gun offense, I think that's going to forever keep them in the game as long as they're hitting shots. And this is the team that I also picked to come out the West because I feel like their shooting and the fact that they didn't even get Clay back yet, who's just going to add on more shooting. If he doesn't give you the defense, he's going to bring in more shooting, which brings in more offense, which is going to even be great for this team. I think this is why I picked this team, because I think this team is built perfectly around Steph Curry's strengths and Steph Curry's weaknesses. You see the whole team is buying in on the defensive end, you know, getting deflections, getting steals, getting blocks, playing a zone. You saw when they played the Clippers, they zoned in on Paul George, and that led to a lot of steals, a lot of deflections. And this team is really good, man. And I keep trying to tell you, man, this is a dangerous team. You don't be listening.
Oh, my God. I've never disrespected them.
Keep trying to tell you, bro.
We told everybody on the show in the offseason.
Yeah,
that was going to be good.
You definitely did.
This is a dangerous team.
To add on to your point about the big man point and how the Warriors lack size, the good thing is that in the West, there's not a lot of dominant big men. I mean, you're not.
Just joking.
Personally, me, I'm not worried about AD.
Cat.
I'm not. Cat, yeah.
Oh, but
we'll
gotta wait till they gotta get in.
Offensively?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm saying the guys we've seen.
You're not worried about Gobert. You're not worried about Ayton.
Debatably. I'm not ready to say we're not worried.
Because they have Draymond, you're not worried about AD, personally, for me. I just think AD.
He was only cooking Looney and JTA, bro.
He gave AD, he gave AD some buckets. He gave Draymond some buckets.
But that's when he really started to get him going. He saw JTA come in the game.
And what other teams are in the West that have a great big, you know? That's really it. The contenders, at least.
Those guys.
That's only them.
You could put JTA on him.
You say Jokic?
Jokic is the only one, but I think without Jamal Murray, they're not going to go anywhere, personally. And even Jamal Murray recovering from an ACL, I don't know if he's going to be himself by the playoffs. That's asking a lot out of the guy. I don't think I'm going to ask him to do that.
I mean, Jokic is going to have problems when they put him in a pick and roll.
But I tweeted this out. Like, if you were in tune with this podcast the entire offseason, you probably know a lot about the NBA and a lot of things that are happening now, you're not surprised by. Because the national media is just talking about the Warriors like, yeah, they could be threats. Like, we've been saying they're going to be threats for the entire offseason.
Yeah,
like,
we have been.
They're going to be great. And with Steph last year, they were literally the 5th seed.
45-point explosion.
It was crazy in the first quarter.
It's time for me to appreciate greatness, and that's why Steph Curry's my guy now.
All right.
I have two. It's just in my life, it's just too many losing right now. The Jets are losing. I've been waiting on Harden to get a ring for 5 years, and it hasn't happened. And then Kyrie calls off the season.
JC, how long have I been telling you that Westbrook and Harden were not gonna win a ring, bro?
Harden's gonna win it
for a minute, bro. I've been telling you that for like a decade.
I think out of both of them, Harden actually doesn't.
Harden's probably gonna, but I've been saying Westbrook wasn't gonna win a ring for like a decade, bro. I've been saying like he's never gonna.
You want to know why?
You know who else said that?
Who?
No. Rondo said that about Chris Paul.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, he said that years ago that Chris Paul was never going to win.
I think Westbrook is not going to win it. I think Harden is, and I'll tell you why. Because if Harden doesn't win it as one of the main men on a team,
first or second option,
then his game is going to translate as he's older. He'll be like a good 6-man off the bench guy, kind of like a Jason Kidd, where he's going to win a ring eventually. Russell Westbrook,
time's ticking.
if he doesn't have that athleticism, if he's not a good defender, he can't shoot.
We're gonna be like David
what
Harris.
team is realistically going to sign Westbrook? I think Westbrook's career might end similarly to Allen Iverson's, to where they just fizzle out and they're not on the team later on in their career.
I feel like if he was with Chicago, he'd be all right. You know what I'm saying? Running gun. Nah, for real. Running gun. Just
you'll take him.
Yeah.
Like, for example, a 36-year-old Harden versus a 36-year-old Westbrook. I think Westbrook's
more skilled.
Westbrook's probably out the league at that point.
Because Harden can shoot.
But hopefully proves me wrong, but we'll see.
Are we still talking about the Warriors here?
Yes.
Okay.
I know it's going
All
to
right.
hurt you, but
No, not really at all. It doesn't hurt me at all to see the Warriors having success. It hurt watching them have success against my Lakers night one for sure, but we just went cold. They were hot. That's all it was.
Who was hot?
The Warriors.
Steph was real cold.
The Warriors. Jordan Poole had a very good game.
Yeah, he did.
Bielitsa, for some reason, was cooking us too, but regardless.
You remember why he said he wouldn't play?
I did say that.
You was like, he wouldn't play. I was like, nah, he's going to play,
I did say
bro.
that. I can't lie.
Bielitsa.
He did his thing.
He was cooking your boy.
He had a double-double.
But what
bro.
has been the most standout thing for me watching the Warriors play is their movement without the basketball. Now, obviously, we know Steph Curry is probably the greatest off-ball offensive player maybe ever.
He is.
He is. That's
him
easy,
and Clay.
That's pretty easy to say.
He's probably the best offensive player in general.
I wasn't expecting Jordan Poole to be this good off ball as well. I wasn't expecting just the slight movement of Andrew Wiggins as well off ball. It just seems as if they have just mastered the ability to just sneak through, fit passes in tight windows. There was this one pass specifically where Draymond's in the post. I think it was like they set a screen for Curry up top. Curry came down low to the paint. Draymond with a quick bounce pass between 3 guys. Somehow Curry was able to get them.
That's their favorite play.
That's regular.
But they're just so meticulous in the way that they have approached the season so far. But that's what has stood out to me the most. Their ability to pass the ball, their ball movement has been spectacular, and what's been allowing them to get so many open looks. Against the Lakers, again, I've said it earlier on, our issue has been switching. But when you're playing the Warriors, you know people are going to be spread out in the corners. When they're driving and obviously we're crashing, all they're doing is a simple kick out. But they have that capacity to know, all right, we're going to have this guy over here. Something's been going on where they just have this idea of already a preconceived notion of where these guys are going to be. Yep. And they've been solid. They've been executing perfectly up until this point. I got to give them their credit where credit is due. They look pretty scary. I'm not going to lie. When Clay comes back, this is going to be an interesting team. But I'm not still ready to say that they're coming out of the West. Not yet. They could. I'm not ready to say that they will.
Coming out the West?
My Lake shows is probably still my favorite to come out. That being said, the Suns do look solid still, too.
Oh, my gosh.
It's a three-header.
They just got smoked out.
The Suns?
Denver killed them.
They did kill them. They did.
Like,
but then they bounced back very nicely against the Lakers.
Shows.
Not all game. First half.
That's true. It was a good game, and then the Nuggets.
The game didn't feel good to me. I didn't like the game.
That's fair enough.
I thought Denver was going to win the whole time.
That's fair enough.
I was watching.
But all right,
Denver had it.
To stay solid on the Warriors.
Wait, so you think Phoenix has been looking good?
No, they look solid.
So why don't you think your team? Why do you keep saying your team's going to go far, but they haven't been looking good?
Because I'm not ready to say that the Lakers are down now because they lost 2 games.
Biased.
How?
Because you haven't given too much. You keep dodging away from the fact that your team looks garbage.
I mean, you could go back to look at the footage. I said, don't like our shooting. Our chemistry looks like trash right now.
He definitely said all that stuff.
Pardon me.
Guy, no, this is what it is. Guy just wants me to know that the Lakers are booty right now.
Sorry.
We may have looked booty these last 2 games, but we have had some solid moments of looking really, really good. That fourth quarter against the Suns, we looked very firm. We're not talking about the Lakers. We're talking about the Warriors. We got to stay on track.
Okay.
Steph Curry dropping 45 is something. It's regular because obviously he's Steph Curry, but it's just the way that they're facilitating the offense is what has been so impressive to me. It's not as if, so obviously Steph can ISO, but that's just not necessarily the game plan to win, truthfully. And that's why I feel like they've had this success because everyone's playing so unselfishly.
Is Steph Curry winning MVP?
I had him as my MVP pick.
He's got to be a favorite.
I said Kevin Durant for me, but I wouldn't be surprised if Steph Curry won.
It's got to be a favorite.
Man, I mean, I know it's only been 2 games, but it's safe to say you guys were right.
Or you're coming out the West?
Not coming out the West, but
That's them being right.
I had them. You guys can allude to. I had the Western Conference Finals being the Lakers and the Warriors. That was my pick. When I said
my
the Lakers
ceiling
were
for
going
the Warriors was 1, so we can't say like I wasn't trash.
You guys are right.
Nah,
My West predictions was
it's
second
just like
seed.
it's just like I had so many like my like negative thoughts about this team answered. I didn't know if Jordan Poole could sustain this going into regular season. Answered.
Like that.
Something that's really been interesting to me is now I'm not too worried about if Klay Thompson is going to come back being this All-NBA level defender, because I think Andrew Wiggins is really good enough to be that defender. But if Klay Thompson comes back being the Klay Thompson on Iggy too, I was watching Iggy the other night. It's crazy. How is he, like 37?
Something like that.
Yeah.
But then
Was he really?
He can still guard.
He's 38. You know, I was watching his Breakfast Club interview with Iggy, and Charlamagne asked him, what do you think about Tom Brady still playing at 44, 45 years old? And he was like, I just think he doesn't want to go home.
I mean, but then you still got Draymond. You know what you're gonna get from Draymond. You're gonna get a all around game, facilitating, defending. Him and Steph Curry's chemistry is probably the best chemistry in the league, if we're being honest. Like it's crazy. Like this guy throws passes to where the ball's supposed to be, and Steph Curry just goes there. I mean, they've been playing obviously together for a really long time, but I mean, just defensively, just the emergence of Jordan Poole now that's somebody else you got to worry about on the offensive side.
He tries on defense too now.
And you know what's the good thing about Draymond? He's actually taking shots.
Yeah, he is. He's shooting more.
Taking open shots.
More.
He's going to the basket. He's taking layups. Like, he's more aggressive this year. I think he's heard the noise last year, and now he's become more. When he's more aggressive, whether he's making or missing, they become a more dangerous team.
To just to piggyback off what Joel said, I mean, the Warriors did a good job at signing Warriors players. Bielitsa is a Warriors player. You know, somebody that fits their system. Otto Porter too. I mean, he's been coming in, giving some good minutes. He can defend. He can space the floor. I mean, I'm looking at this team, and it's like if Steph Curry's playing at this level and they have this much continuity and they keep going on, and then they get Klay Thompson back, probably a lot of people agree.
Christmas.
Against the Nets.
Needs this.
Against the second greatest shooter of all time. You add that, and if he can come back and be, at least 75% of what he was on the defensive end, I mean, you got Andrew Wiggins, you got Draymond Green who could defend, you got Klay Thompson, you got Iguodala off the bench. It's like this team is crazy.
Fontascano Anderson too.
Fontascano Anderson can really defend too.
Damian Lee.
I know you don't understand.
Damian Lee's been playing pretty well too.
But you'll understand this feeling soon enough.
You'll
understand this feeling.
What are you talking about?
This feeling like I can just smell a chip just on its way, like just.
I mean, oh my God, I forgot to mention they don't even have Wiseman right now, right?
Yeah, you're gonna get this feeling. You'll understand.
Y'all are
soon.
not
They get hit.
Y'all beating us.
We're not beating what?
Milwaukee. You're not beating us. Like, forget about even. Like, you're not getting there. But if by some miracle of God you get there, you're not beating Milwaukee.
We're not beating Westbrook. And LeBron.
I'm not gonna lie. It's gonna be a great series.
Yeah, bro. And you said
Can't say
Milwaukee?
this- Nah, I don't think
You got to
guys
stop.
can.
You've been picking the Clippers for the past 2 years, bro.
Because Steph Curry was by himself.
But to be fair, it's not like the Warriors have been anything
Yeah, what the hell?
to ride home about.
You was picking Houston. Don't think we
I
forgot that.
picked the Lakers.
Wait,
Houston was close. Houston was
Don't
close.
think we forgot that.
Nah,
You were picking Houston.
Y'all lost in the second round in
You were
5.
picking Houston with
That's
Chris
'cause
Paul.
Russ-
I was
think
picking the
Russ gonna be
Lakers
that
all
bad,
year.
bro.
The year you guys won.
I was
Don't
gonna say,
do that.
my
You was
unit
picking
won.
Houston.
My unit won.
I didn't think Russ was going to be that bad, bro.
You picked Houston with Chris Paul. You still did that.
Well, yeah, they could have dead beat them.
Coulda.
It was close.
It's always you and coulda. You know that? It's never
It was
they
game
did it.
7,
It's always
bro.
a coulda.
Chris Paul got hurt.
What
They
about
was
the
gonna
next
win a
year?
chip.
Not
Ariza was a huge loss.
It kind of
Bro,
was,
I
but like, come
literally
on,
said
bro.
it before the
But
season. I
wait,
said
yes.
Ariza was.
But
Rodney
JC has
Glenville.
the flick of you that day when you were like, "Yeah, Kevin Durant's down. We're going to the finals."
Yeah, you did.
That
It's
was
not
you.
the flick. He doesn't.
No, he
It's
took
a flick. It's
no,
not a video. I didn't.
No, they took
I
a
did not
flick
say
of you
that.
looking sad.
Yeah, I never. But
Yeah, he was
I
like-
never said that. Now that KD's down,
You didn't think I
the
was gonna
Rockets
win?
are gonna. You know what?
You didn't have.
Y'all keep talking. I'm gonna get my tweets out from that time
Please
because
do.
I
You
have
know why
the
he was doing
exact
that?
You know why he was
Tweets.
doing that? Yo, hear me out. Joel's so smart, bro. He's so smart. He was doing that, but the reason he was doing that, he was, saying, this is a team that still won in 73 games. He was doing that to cover James Harden's ass if he did not win that series. That's why he was doing it.
He's crazy,
because there's no
bro.
way you win 2 games with Kevin Durant in the Big Four, and then he goes out and you're a Houston fan and you don't think,
We're gonna win.
Maybe we could win.
We're gonna win.
He was doing that to cover himself.
And Curry,
Nah, bro, because it's literally how I felt.
Curry
You're
was
lying. You're
Drew,
lying.
Curry was playing like trash that series.
He was.
They fully believed when Kevin Durant, we're gonna win.
Yeah.
They were going home.
Time out. They had 38 in the second half.
Yeah, that was when they went. They went back home
wilding.
too. They went home and they're like, "It's we're gonna win. We're gonna win this game at least. Game 6." They believe
He was doing that to cover his ass about James
You
Harden.
gotta stop acting like I'm this meticulous guy that calculates
You are.
everything.
You
I
do, bro.
Because I
Smart for
don't
that.
do that, bro.
He's
No,
mad
that's
smart for
exactly.
that.
Nah,
He's a crazy
You know why?
guy.
He pictured this day happening so he could have the tweets and be like, "See, man, I was saying this all along."
Crazy guy, man.
Okay, look.
Oh man.
Okay.
Can't
be
find it,
popped.
can you?
No, I can find it.
Yo, and then he be deleting tweets.
Yeah,
Like,
he
you
do.
gotta
We
really
caught him
get him.
deleting a few tweets.
Okay, this was
He's talking to Riv here.
That's what I had
okay.
Twitter.
Game 1 of that series, I said game 1, the Houston Rockets versus the Golden State Warriors and the referees. Game 1, the Rockets got robbed. You remember game
Yeah.
1?
When they were fouling
got
James
robbed.
Harden on the
Yeah,
they got robbed.
I said the Rockets got robbed. I literally look. There was this tweet. There was 81 potential missed calls in Game 7 alone of the 2018 West Conference Finals. Look at these tweets that I put. Curry stands. Harden and CP3 hitters think there were no fouls. Somebody even mentioned where was Chris Paul in the fourth quarter. My answer to that is Chris Paul stole the inbounds pass to give the Rockets an extra possession. But as usual, people don't watch the games, not surprised. So, okay, I'm going to get this. Okay. I'm only going back to being a temporary Rockets fan if they win Game 3. Knicks, you haven't been missed.
Yo.
And then I said there was a reason the Rockets always want to switch on Curry. Curry is a terrible defender. Terrible. All caps. And then I said, I told JC that Harden is going to have a great second half, and what happened? Harden had a great second half. That's why he's my MVP. Let's go. No more Rockets talk until Game 3. And then so then I said, as much as I love Chris Paul, it is Eric Gordon who is the second most valuable player on the Rockets team right now. That second year when they faced Golden State with Chris Paul had a bad series. He didn't play well.
Up until the last game, right? Game 6, he played well.
Yeah, he played well the last game. And then I said,
Neither did Steph.
Steph played
It was
well.
no, I'm saying up until Game 6, he didn't play well.
So
Game
I said
5,
this,
4, 3, and 2
Harden
games.
is not the reason
6, he
Houston
wilded out.
lost. The Rockets desperately need a good game out of Chris Paul and Clint Capella. Paul going 3 for 14 and Capella going 3 for 10 is unacceptable. And I said the small ball lineup is all fine until those guards are not hustling to get those rebounds. I think the Rockets need to come out next game and not rely too heavily on it. And then so look at this tweet right here. This was it's not here, but this guy quoted it. Harden for sure is about who's going to win. Warriors are injured. There is zero excuse to lose the series if you're the Rockets. And I said this, hell no. The Warriors have one injury. The Rockets starting 5 is still just as even as the Warriors starting 5 with Durant injured. That's exactly what I said.
Yo, he was waiting just in case Harden struggled. And
Nah,
they
bro,
lost.
that's
He had that
exactly
on
what I
deck.
said.
He's smart. He's a smart man.
So you didn't delete nothing? Keep it
No,
on.
I didn't. I don't go far. I don't
Joel
go
was
this
like,
far back.
Joel was saying, this is still the same court that won 73 games. You can't sleep on him. Like he was, but he lost.
L verdict.
So look, this is what I said too. I feel like you got to trust your teammates though. Plus Harden is trusting CP3 like it's Chris Paul. We expected him to step up. No player alone can get it done. Teammates need to step up, and for the Warriors, Iggy stepped up, Looney, and Livingston. And then I was like, Mike D'Antoni got outcoached badly. His system can't win in the playoffs. It's too predictable, and to play the Warriors the same way on defense as if they had Durant is ridiculous. The Rockets need to keep the score by bringing a new coach. So that's what I said.
I mean, we all knew Mike
Tucker got
D'Antoni.
cooked by Curry.
Kobe has said that James that style of play is not going to win a chip.
Look, and I said this,
Yeah,
look,
he did.
nobody is calling it an achievement, but all of the media is calling the Rockets chokers, and they are the only team to push Golden State to 7 or 6 games. Cleveland with LeBron, Kyrie, and Love lost in 5.
That's facts.
It's not an achievement, but you have to give credit where credit's due.
That is facts,
So,
though.
lad, bro,
That's a shot at your boy.
Now, you snapped on that tweet. Not gonna lie. You
Shot at
snapped.
your guy.
The people were calling the Rockets and Warriors series the finals.
Yeah, because it was. They were gonna destroy them.
They were gonna scrape them.
I don't know. Game 1, we almost pulled it out.
You lost in 5.
Now,
No, they got swept.
yeah, we got
No, with Kyrie,
Yep.
y'all won a game.
So,
But
yeah,
Kyrie-
bro.
Oh no, we're
didn't
talking
talk-
about the 2018.
Oh, after that, they
To
got
be
swept.
fair, Kyrie wasn't talking to the guys at all that play.
So,
Doesn't
bro,
matter. He
to
still averaged 30
get
though,
those
which is
tweets,
crazy.
to get those tweets, I put my @name and I typed in a Rockets keyword. But there are tweets in that time frame where I said I still don't feel confident they're gonna win, even with Durant out, because I had a feeling like, yo.
So you felt confident with him in, and then with him out, you didn't feel. That's crazy.
No, well, the 2018 WCF, yeah, I felt very confident. But that next year without Ariza, the only reason I felt confident with him in is because if you remember in those series, because Durant was there, Golden State played differently. They ISO'd a lot, and they didn't move like they move like Golden State usually moves. When Durant,
that year specifically,
yeah, when Durant was out,
changed their whole scheme.
Their system completely changed, and now the defense have to adjust. The Rockets had to adjust their defense to play and to switch on all these different actions, and they didn't adjust. And I mean, it was still Clay, Steph, and Draymond.
Do you think
I'm like, yo, it's still those three and Iggy. Like,
do you think the bubble team would have done better against that team, the small ball lineup team?
Yeah.
It probably would have. I probably would have done better because of Westbrook. They would have lost.
Yeah, but I'm saying like defensively though. You think with Covington and you was able to switch everything because you had Covington at the 5?
And also in that series, Capella was bad, bro. Capella was in that for the second time they faced the Warriors in 2019. Capella wasn't good. He played soft. I'm gonna be honest. He played soft. Whoa. But yeah, it was a 6-game series, and the Rockets got robbed game 1. Game 1 was the worst officiated game I've seen in my entire life. That was a robbery.
Well,
Rockets should have
went to Atlanta, ECF. So there's that. PJ went to Milwaukee, chip. So, you know.
And Harden goes to Nets, chip this year.
Second round, but
TBH.
Second round exit.
I'm just hoping we get a Nets Warriors finals because if James Harden beats Curry, oh yeah.
If Kyrie's back, they're not beating us.
I can't have that.
Who wants that?
If Kyrie's not back,
everybody but you.
I'll root for Golden State before.
So yeah, bro, you really try to make it act
for
like
somebody that's in the same conference as you.
I'm sorry, I'm not rooting for Kevin Durant.
Riv really made it Riv really tried to make it act like I thought Golden State was gonna just fumble without KD. Bro. You're bugging. You should know my basketball knowledge is smarter than that, bro. You're crazy.
He was doing that to cover his ass.
Nah, hell no.
He was.
Nah, hell no.
He had it on deck.
If Harden
had won, he's like, see what I mean, bro? He still beat this team that won 73 games. It was all lined up.
Because all he on the media was like, oh, Harden gotta win this. I said, bro, Golden State's still great. Like, why y'all just think it's a gimme?
But realistically though, Harden, they should have got at least one game.
His offensive rating,
went to 7.
His offensive rating in that series in the last 2 games was off the charts. It was off the charts. It's just Houston couldn't get any stops. The Warriors are just better offensively.
I mean, they should have won.
They
should have won game.
So
Chris Paul
had
the best game of the series in Game 6.
They should have at least won that one.
They should have. They were home. They were home.
I mean, Harden averaged 35 in that series. You can't do more. Honestly.
They were home.
Harden, I don't even think he scored that fourth quarter.
He was shooting like 40%.
That's because it was trapping him. He was passing it, but his offense led to baskets though. Yeah. No, he didn't score, but it led to.
I mean, nobody planned for Steph Curry to go off for 38 in the second half either.
33.
33.
They have no points in the first half, something like
0.
that. That's insane.
Insanity.
Lamelo Ball, Ja Morant. On to the next topic. It is a topic about who's going to take a bigger leap this season, Ja or Lamelo. And I told you guys, man, Lamelo, I think this year's going to average 23 and 9. First game of the season, he puts up 30? I think 31, he put up 30.
31.
Put up 31. LaMelo right now is averaging 24 a game, 6 rebounds, 6.5 assists, and 3.5 steals. It's just 2 games, though. The Hornets are 2-0, but Ja in his first game had 37 and 6. So which point guard is going to take the bigger leap? Ja, 3rd season, LaMelo, 2nd season.
I think it has to be Ja Morant. I think in year 3, year 2, we saw modest improvements in his game, but I think in year 3, especially after that playoff series where he just individually he did his thing, it has to be him. He has to improve in his jump shot. He has to improve in his defense. He has to improve on his decision making. He has to improve in his playmaking. I think with Charlotte, with Terry Rozier being there and Gordon Hayward, we don't have to see we can see it, but we don't need to see a gigantic leap from LaMelo because Gordon Hayward is still there, Terry Rozier is still there, so he doesn't need to do too much. With Ja Morant, though, he has to be that for them, especially in the West. Memphis being a team that does compete, going up against Steph Curry 3 times a year, going up against Damian Lillard 3 times a year, going up against LA and Westbrook 3 times a year. If Jamal Murray was healthy, he would have seen them 3 times a year. So seeing premier point guards on a given night in the West more than twice, he has to come and play his A game. De'Aaron Fox, even though he might not make the playoffs, that's 3 times a year. There's a lot of point guards in the West, so he has to make that leap and become just a better jump shooter. I think his game is beautiful. In the way he manipulates the pick and roll, the way he finishes in the basket is Kyrie-like. His balance in the air is ridiculous, but he needs to be more of a jump shooter because that puts wear on your body. And him being this young, that does affect his body. And plus, with Jaren Jackson there, he's injury prone. You don't know. Dylan Brooks is out right now. He has to make that leap, especially in terms of Memphis, where they're very in home in their development. He has to make that leap for them to be where they need to be.
With all due respect to Ja Morant, I think Lamelo Ball is just a better ball player right now.
Oh, I thought you was going to say something disrespectful.
No, there's nothing disrespectful that I could say towards Ja's game at all, truthfully. I just look at LaMelo, and I see the confidence he exudes. And I just don't see another young player right now or anywhere in his age group that has the confidence that LaMelo has. Not only passing the ball, because obviously he has the flashy passes, one of those where he's driving baselines, no look, kicks it out to Gordon Hayward, perfect pass, right in the money. Another one driving to the basket, over his head, LeBron-esque, throws it to the shooter in the corner, wide open, and right in the pocket. He's special because he trusts himself. Now we also see that when it comes to his shooting. Opening night, 7 of 9 from 3, and he was basically just letting it go, trusting himself from wherever on the court. I think that's why I lean LaMelo and taking another leap forward, because you don't see a guy at age, well, how old is he? 19 years old, 20 years old,
19,
max?
19.
20.
You don't.
LaMelo.
There's very few guys of recent memory here, of these last few years at least, that have come in and had the confidence that LaMelo has. Obviously, Ja has him in terms of athleticism. His bounce is unbelievable. I'm trying to think, what's the word I have? Explosiveness, excuse me. Ja is more explosive than LaMelo is for sure. But in terms of everything else, defense, I'm taking LaMelo.
Yeah.
He has active hands for sure. A transition offense, I'm going LaMelo. Shooting, I'm going LaMelo.
Yeah.
Finishing at the basket is very close.
Nah,
I
Ja.
lean Ja. It's close though. I lean Ja for sure. But
I
it's
don't know about close.
but LaMelo has the size advantage
He
too.
does. He's 6'8".
Which should make it even more of a fact that it has to be Ja, because him being that small and
you
being
know
able
what?
to finish at that ability is crazy.
Very good point there, for sure. But it's not like LaMelo can't do it either. But that's what I'm saying. I just think there's too many things that I see that just lean LaMelo's way that just allow me to think LaMelo's going to take that leap. Because, Joel, you said it. He's going to take a huge leap in points. And I thought that he would take a leap in points. I didn't think it would be 31 on opening night, though. But obviously we saw night 2. He dropped 17 points. Either 17 or 19, one of the two off the top of my head. Didn't, like you mentioned, doesn't need to really impact the game like that, but he impacts it in so many ways. I think that's why I just lean LaMelo. On top of scoring the basketball, facilitates at a high level, rebounds at a high level. Yeah. His defense is very, very good. I need to see more before I can call him an elite defender, but 5 steals opening night. Obviously, this most recent night against... Who did they just play?
Cavs? Against
the Cavaliers. 5 steals. It's just, if he's not doing it on one side of the ball, he's doing it on the other. He's just that type of special player.
So, I mean, the question is who's going to have a breakout season this season?
Who's going to have the better year?
Well,
I would say
Atlanta just lost.
No way.
Cam had 19, though, so
okay.
Around that
they lost to Cleveland?
Yeah.
Ricky Rubio's going crazy. You know that, right?
How much
Evan Mobley was killing, too.
I was about to say, how much did Mobley have?
Dark
Bro, Rubio had like 18 and 10 the other night.
Rubio just had 23.
Oh, my gosh.
And Mobley has 17 and
11. That's their point guard of the future. Rubio's killing.
What's the score?
Yeah, he's good.
What happened to Garland?
He's
hurt.
He's hurt, yeah.
Mobley has 17.
How much Colin have?
Bro, what did we say? We said Mobley wasn't going to take time to develop.
Colin,
he's
like that. He's like that.
This is his time.
Sexton, 12 points.
I just want to know, what was the score?
Huh?
Score.
92-99.
It was a close game.
Ooh, I said it. I said Cleveland was going to be high. Like, they wasn't
going to be
bad.
They have a really young team.
Cam, though,
how did Jared Allen do?
He probably had hella dunks.
I like Jared Allen, man. That's
he had 11 points, 14 rebounds.
In the comment section, when I said that Mobley was better than Allen, somebody was like, whoa. How? Bro, come on. Look, this is Evan Mobley, bro.
I know,
Evan Mobley's like that. He's different.
Now, we did say, up here, he didn't need much
he was
time.
He was my dark horse.
No, we talking about development, though. He didn't need much time.
I saw it in the preseason. You don't like watching it, though. But
no, didn't need to.
What should we call it?
LaMelo. Or Ja.
So, I mean, for this season, I agree with River. I mean, Ja Morant is more primed for a takeoff. I mean, he goes into last season without his second best player for, 80% of the season?
Damn near.
Yeah, so, I mean, he's going to get, obviously, more opportunities. Dylan Brooks, so he's going to have more opportunities to score the ball. He's going to have more opportunities to, just do more things on the basketball court. So, I think statistically his numbers will be a little bit better in the scoring department. I think as a playmaker, Ja Morant's pretty good, not to the level of LaMelo, but if we're just strictly talking this season, it's just what River said. He's in the Western Conference, so he's going to have to play his best basketball for his team to make the playoffs. And I mean, last year, they were in the play-in, right? Last year in the play-in,
yeah.
I mean,
they
clinched
the 8th seed.
And then they made the playoffs.
But that was with Jaren Jackson being out 80 games. So if they don't want to be in that position, Ja Morant is going to have to ball out. He was actually, a lot of people that I talked to, he was actually a dark horse for MVP. A lot of people actually think that this kid could actually win MVP. So, I mean, if
Ja Morant,
yeah, I know
they would have to be like
Wow.
a top 4 seed.
I know, but I was talking to a lot of people. They're like, "Yo, don't be surprised
I don't
if
know
Ja
about that.
Morant."
I don't know about that because Curry was
not
8th seed and was MVP.
Curry had like historical season.
Yeah,
though.
but I mean,
I don't know if Ja gonna
37
have
And then,
that
nice
and then
season.
before
But
that,
like-
it was Westbrook, historical season.
I'm just
look-
saying that he doesn't need to be the 4th seed to win MVP is what I'm saying.
Unless
Go
it's
ahead.
historic.
Fourth,
Yeah,
I mean,
for
but-
sure.
I mean, like I said, I mean, everything's set up for Ja Morant to have more, like, he has a more increased role. This guy plays with Terry Rozier, Gordon Hayward, other players, who demand the ball. With Ja Morant, nobody really demands the ball to the level of Ja Morant in that team. That team goes as far as Ja Morant takes them. So
It's a fact.
statistically, I think that he's gonna have the better season, and he's gonna have the better overall season. But if we're talking about in the long run, I agree with everything Drew said. I think LaMelo's a better defender. I think LaMelo's going to be a better scorer than him. I think LaMelo's a way better passer than him. I just think everything leans more towards LaMelo peaking higher than Ja Morant could peak. So I agree with you in that. But just solely off this season, I think Ja Morant's going to have more opportunities. So I think his statistics are going to pop out, and it's going to, it's going to confirm that he's going to have the better season this year. But in the long run, give me LaMelo all day.
I was prepared to answer this question with LaMelo Ball in mind, but I can't do that anymore. The reason why is because after watching their games, LaMelo, phenomenal. I mean, he's shooting from the logo now with ease, confidence, floater game. I saw him drop a pass to Miles Bridges where it was the most perfect pass I've ever seen in my life. I mean, he
ran into
a gifted passer. It felt like the ball went through somebody's face and it just teleported to Miles Bridges. That's how great of a pass it was. LaMelo Ball is going to have a special year. And I told you guys, I think he's going to have a similar jump in his second season to what Trae Young had after his rookie season. But seeing what Ja did versus Cleveland, I mean, wow. Offensively, sealing the game, hitting a three-point shot. Defensively, blocking shots. That's why I don't agree that LaMelo's a better defender.
I disagree, but I was going
No,
to
I said in the long run, he has the better body, the better wingspan, taller player.
I think right now
he can be a better defender.
We're seeing Ja really be a great two-way player on defense. Defensively, I've seen some plays that he's made that I just go, whoa! A point guard should not be making those type of plays.
You saw the block he had?
Yeah, I saw.
Hand?
Yeah, I saw
OD.
it.
That was
with the left.
That was crazy.
I think Ja's going to have a special season, and I might have underestimated Memphis because I think Memphis has a real shot at being one of like the 6, 7 seed in the West. I could see 6. I could even
That wasn't
see 5.
your ceiling for them?
It was my ceiling, but I my Western Conference predictions, I didn't have them in the playoffs.
I thought they could have been 6 last year. If they
And
were
I will
healthy.
say this too: when they got Steven Adams, I wasn't high on the move.
He's a good passer
I thought it was
for them.
exactly. He's a very good passer, and
He's a
having
good
him on the
passer.
elbow near the free throw line when they give him the ball, he finds cutters. That's something that I don't think Jonas has. Steven Adams fits what they want to do defensively, offensively, and his impact is he makes a great impact on his team because he's that great of a passer. And I think that's going to help a lot of the players in Memphis get into their spots much easier. So now, in hindsight, Steven Adams, I think it was a better pickup, and he's a better guy for this team than Jonas.
I think, and this is what alludes back to LA a little bit. Ja Morant has already developed that game where he throws it to Adams, comes right off him, cuts, or hits the backdoor cut. I think he developed that in this game already at this age. And Drew, I kind of pushed back on that confidence thing because even when Ja Morant walked into the league, it wasn't his first game or his second game.
Against Kyrie.
He played Kyrie Irving.
That was the second game.
And he had 30 and took Kyrie one-on-one on defense. His confidence has been there since day one.
For sure.
And I think when you talk about both these guys in the long run, I like LaMelo's size. I think LaMelo's size definitely gives him the advantage, but I don't know. It's tough because Ja Morant, we've seen since day one Memphis has been competitive since Ja Morant has walked into the league. They have been a competitive team. No matter who they play, what conference, they are a competitive team. They give team fits. So I don't know. I mean, defensively, I've seen Ja Morant guard the best players, opposing point guards. He doesn't really shy away from that. LaMelo, I think, is a better off-ball defender at this point. I think he's more active with his hands. He's better at deflections. I think he's better at that point. But it's going to be tough. You know, if Ja Morant develops a jump shot, I think Ja Morant can easily become a better scorer because I think he's already a better attacker of the basket. Yeah. And he has the floater game in his bag. But it's tough. You know, both of these guys, West.
Yeah, there's still room for LaMelo to improve too.
Yeah, both of these guys, I think, are going to be top 5 point guards in their prime, easily top 5 point guards.
Do you agree with that? The play style. Obviously, don't look into the career or anything. But do you see like a little magic in LaMelo or no? Because I heard a couple people comparing.
I see LaMelo to Magic.
Magic.
I've seen a lot of Magic just off the their height, their size, their passing ability. Obviously, Speed. Magic is a great passer.
I see taller Jason Kidd, honestly.
Taller Jason Kidd.
I like call him Magic, obviously, you hear the word Magic and you're just like,
people are like, yo, you
top
bugging.
5 ever already.
About the play
but
style.
in terms of play style, I'm not going to push
they're
that
kind of
too
eerily
strongly
a little
on
similar
that.
in my opinion.
I see but with Ja Morant, I literally see a more poised Derrick Rose.
I do too.
Yeah,
that's a very good comparison.
That's who I see with Ja Morant already.
Now, it's going to sound like I'm hating, but I'm definitely not hating at all. His 37 against Cleveland. There's no one that could guard Ja Morant when he's driving to the basket on Cleveland. So he was getting at around like 90 to 95% of his buckets from inside of the paint for sure. He hit 1 3-pointer from what I can recall off the top of my head. But
he had a couple threes.
A lot. Was it 2?
He hit a couple.
I'm not sure, but from what I've seen,
I
think he hit a couple.
That's kind of impressive to me though, because Evan Mobley and Jared Allen are really good rim protectors.
But for some reason, it's just every single clip that I had seen from the highlights.
He hit 1 3.
It was 1 3. Okay, I thought so. From what I've seen, it was basically one-on-one. He was taking them. I'm taking Ja Morant one-on-one against a good portion of the people in the NBA, truthfully.
With Memphis,
especially against Cleveland.
They have spacers. So Desmond Bane starts out. I'm blanking on the 3. I'm blanking on who starts at the 3. No, Kyle starts at the 4. I'm blanking on who starts
Jaren Jackson.
Because it's
Jaren Jackson at the 4.
Kyle's at the 3, right?
It's not always going to be.
Adams at the 5.
It's not going to always be a situation.
I'm saying Kyle plays the 4.
I know, but isn't Jaren Jackson their starting 4?
Yeah, he can shoot. It's like
I thought Kyle was their small forward.
I was blanking on who plays the 3.
It's
usually Brooks.
My statement, what I'm ultimately trying to say is, it's not going to be a regular season game where he's going to be
Milton.
He's not going to be one-on-one coverage against the other team's point guard all the time, especially when they do have people to space the floor for sure. But then that's going to be on Ja Morant to make the good pass to see his guys that are open. I trust LaMelo in that sense more than I trust Ja Morant.
I'm going to be honest. I think they're very similar as passers. I don't think it's that far.
I think LaMelo's just more flashier.
Yeah.
I think LaMelo's a better passer.
I've seen Ja Morant.
I disagree.
Durant's a really good passer.
I've seen Ja Morant March Madness.
Very true.
Murray State.
Double.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, his passing.
Nobody's saying
from highlights from what we've seen early on in this season, there's been more than a few moments where LaMelo is driving to the basket, going up for the layup, sees the guy wide open. I'm remembering Gordon Hayward specifically. Goes up, fakes the layup, sees Gordon Hayward perfectly.
LaMelo has better vision.
How about that?
But Ja's averaged 7 assists in his rookie and his second season.
No, Ja Morant's not a bad passer. I just think LaMelo's vision is just better than Ja's.
The thing I think Ja is a top 10 passer, I think, in the NBA.
And is LaMelo if he's top 5 then?
I think he's top 5. But I think LaMelo is a flashier pass, like you said. But I trust Ja to make the passes that LaMelo makes. At least 95% of them I do. You know, because you have your moments where LaMelo drops a crazy dime. But for the majority of the portion of the game, they are very similar. And I would agree with your point about Ja and the paint thing about there's nobody that can guard him. But in the playoffs, he had 30 and 10 against Utah in that series.
Very true.
You know, like Ja Morant, versus Golden State, he went crazy against them. Versus San Antonio, he went crazy against them. I mean, Ja Morant.
And Pearl's a really good rim protector.
Yeah, as of late, Ja Morant has shown us it doesn't matter who you put in front of him. He's going to have a great performance.
His bounce is ridiculous
because he doesn't have to go in the paint. He has the floater.
His floaters. He has one of the best floaters in the league.
He has that in his game, and his
pick and roll play is crazy.
That D Rose comp is excellent,
and his ability to just move his body midair and just get to the other side and get to his left hand is different, bro.
But that's what worries me to a point. I don't want him to rely. Obviously, when your athleticism is the peak of your game. Like that's what obviously separates you from the pack. It gets to a point where obviously you can't rely on your athleticism to carry you for a career. And it's going to get to a point where he doesn't have that same bounce. He's going to have to maneuver ways to get buckets in different facets. He's super young. He's super young. But no, and obviously we're talking about this season, and I've made it a long-term thing now. But ultimately, I still just think that LaMelo's game is more complete.
It is.
I don't think it is.
You think LaMelo's...
I mean, aside from... What you gonna say? Rebound?
The jump shooting.
I think LaMelo has a higher scoring ability as well, just because I think he's a better shooter.
The jump shooting.
He's a better shooter from the 3-point line.
But then again, bro, it's entirely too early because LaMelo has a long career ahead of him as well.
When we say better shooter, are we just talking 3-point shooter? Or are we talking everything? Because if we're talking anything outside the paint, aside from 3-point shooting, Ja Morant's still a really good free throw shooter.
Yeah,
he's a really good mid-range shooter.
I guess I
want Ja Morant. I
want
talking like threes. I was looking for this season. Obviously, it was one game against Cleveland. He was living in the paint, but I'm kind of really curious to see how Ja Morant comes out with his jump shot this year. Because like you said, I think if he's hitting that jump shot, his game's next level. Like it's
if he
next
can hit a jumper,
level.
There's nothing I can say.
And I'm not telling him to be a 40% shooter, but anywhere from like 35 to 36.
He went down.
If he's hitting that. It's
from year
crazy.
1, he was 35. Year 2, he went to 30.
As much as crazy as it sounds, as athletic as Ja Morant is, Derrick Rose is like 5 times more athletic.
No doubt.
Ridiculous.
His speed was OD.
Yeah, that's really crazy. You know, while you guys were giving your takes on the Ja and LaMelo thing, I actually went back on Twitter to search up some old tweets from like that era of like 2019 when the playoffs was going on. I had a lot of good nicknames. I used to come up with some brilliant nicknames. I called Curry Glass Ankles Curry.
Oh, yeah.
I called him Meow Curry because he's a scaredy cat on defense. No Arm Lamar. That was a great one.
That's probably your best one.
Tannehill the Manahill.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
No Glass Eagles Curry. Now look at you. Curry supporter. You see how they all just running back like become a Curry supporter at the end?
Hey, not me.
No, you'll be here.
Yo, what was Tucker's nickname? You had a nickname for Tucker too.
Nah, what hurts is that I used to be a big Steph Curry fan. That first, exactly.
That's the Browns nickname.
Oh.
I just called PJ Tucker PJ Tucker.
Yeah, he put mad emphasis on the Tucker.
You said you had the Heat going to the finals in the bubble?
No, he had them beating the Bucks.
Oh.
I think I did have them going to the finals too, though.
You had Toronto beating Boston. I remember that take.
I had Toronto beating Boston. I did.
I died. You did have Miami.
I think I did have Miami going to the finals.
Yeah, after the fact.
No, because that year I was like, Miami is special. Like I believe in Miami.
You were talking crap about them all year.
Nah, he did.
He was talking crazy about them all year. I remember
Not all year, like the middle of the year.
I remember that. He used to go crazy. He's like,
that's because David, bro.
I remember I asked him. I was like, "Yo, you think Jimmy Butler can? You know, he can reach the finals?" He was like, he's like, "Hell no." I'm like, "Why?" He's like, "Jimmy Butler's their best player," and that backfired crazy. Jimmy Butler was wild in that finals too.
Nah, that's crazy. I know that first year though. I told y'all Randall was better than Porzingis too. Y'all laughed.
You stepped back on it, and then when he started playing good, that's when you started.
Yeah, you were wrong the first year. You was right the second year.
I literally have a tweet that says Randall's gonna be an all-star with the Knicks.
All NBA.
Second team.
Yeah, he did it too, yo. It's my guy.
Nah, you wanted him gone
Jules. Though. I did. I'm not gonna lie.
At the first season, he wanted him gone.
He was like, he got to go
because he changed his game though. He was like a spinning turnover machine his first year. Yeah. But I believed in the skill. Porzingis, man. And we won that trade back.
If we been real, if y'all didn't get Thibodeau, Randall would have never been.
I mean, yeah. If you didn't get Billy Donovan, the Bulls would suck.
The Bulls sucked when we got Billy Donovan.
Yeah, but he started the change of that culture.
Started the change.
Yeah, he brought in Billy Donovan. Billy Donovan made y'all play defense last year, bro.
Yeah, but if AK didn't make the moves, if we would have kept our same GM, we wasn't making those moves.
Right, okay, same thing with Leon Rose. Leon Rose brought in Thibodeau. You know what I'm saying? So
that's a big factor.
Billy Donovan still he contributed.
But I'm saying AK, we got AK after Billy.
We got 20. It's not even half.
OG got 20.
Thank God.
Yo, I checked Miles Turner. He got like 25 right now in the first half.
Say word.
I'm playing. He got like 2 points.
Dude, I want the Nets to get him so bad.
On to the next topic. Lonzo Ball. He had a triple-double. Faced the Pelicans, his former team that didn't want to sign him back. He had 17, 10, and 10. He had an amazing game. He was shooting threes and fast break. I mean, he just had an all-around great game. And before I pass this segment on to Riv, because this is his team, I'm going to let him shine here. 2 games into the season, where Joel was wrong. This is it right here.
I don't even think you were wrong.
I think Lonzo Ball, he's running the show more than I thought he would run the show. Maybe against the Pelicans, they just told him, you know what, this is your game. You're going to do your thing. And maybe there was a little bit of that. Because versus the Pistons, I thought that he was being used off the ball a lot, and he wasn't really initiating the offense. He was bringing the ball up, but he was passing it. Versus the Pelicans, he looked like when he ran the show, the offense was really flowing. I was wrong about Lonzo's role somewhat in this Bulls offense. And even a couple episodes ago, I said I think the Bulls are going to be a good team this year. I think they have a lot of good pieces. Levine, DeMar, Vucevic, Pat Will, and their bench isn't as bad as people think it's going to be. And I think the defense is not that big of a problem. But just talking about Lonzo, I don't know how great of a season he's going to have or good of a season he's going to have. Because when I see Lonzo play, he's inconsistent. He's going to have a game like this, 17, 10, and 10. And I'm just going to guess his stat line for next game. It's going to be 9, 4.
Detroit again.
Oh, it's going to, let's just say, just based off what Lonzo has been, he'll have a game like this, triple-double. The next game, he'll have 9, 4, and 5. Even in the preseason, it was like that. He had a great game. Then, he kind of gets lost out there sometimes. And that's the thing about Lonzo, that he needs to keep his foot on the gas at all times. I don't know if Lonzo's going to have a breakout season, but I think he'll have a fairly good one. And all along, I've thought that he's a utility guy. Like, he plays better with stars around him. Yeah. He's not the star. He's the complement to the star.
I think he's been the glue that puts everybody that connects. I don't think, and I don't even
Tucker.
No, I don't even think Joel was wrong. I just think he kind of undersold what Lonzo was going to be. Same with me. I thought he was going to be an aggressive playmaker. Joel thought he was going to be an aggressive spot-up shooter. No, I think he's been both of that. I think he's been every quarter it's something different, because I think Caruso gets a part to run the show. Zach LaVine gets a chance to run the show. DeMar gets a chance. Even Vucevic. I think everybody gets their fair share of opportunity to run the show. And then fourth quarter, we know what to do. Zach gets the ball. It's time to work. But nonetheless, Lonzo, what's been consistent is his aggression. Even though first game he was missing shots, we smoked a lot of layups. He was missing a lot of shots, but his aggression has remained the same. He's been aggressive on offense, at least trying to get his shot, at least taking those jump shots. In the first game, you saw in the first quarter, they kind of let him run the show, and they adjusted throughout the game. They realized he wasn't hitting, so they moved out of that adjustment. And that's what the thing about Lonzo. He can revert back to a spot-up role, which is perfect now, because if he is, like when we was playing the Pelicans, he was aggressive, he was running the show, we continue to do it. If we can't do it, then he reverts back to the spot-up role. We have DeRozan, we have Levine. But he's been, on defense, I think he's been incredible. In the fourth quarter against Detroit, a couple possessions, he was matched up on Jamie Grant, calls a stop. He got a couple steals. Him and Caruso were huge in that fourth quarter against Detroit, where we cracked down. Against the Pelicans, defensively, he was making noise, active off the deflections, off ball. He was incredible. So he's been great on the defensive end for us. Offensively, he's still trying to figure it out, but I think his playmaking has been as advertised. And I think Lonzo Ball's been good. Like you said, I can't predict his stat line because it's very weird. One game he will go 9, 4, and 5. Then the next game he could have a triple-double. It's going to be a very weird stat line year for him. But the consistency we want to see for Bulls fans is just the aggression. As long as the aggression is there every night, then that'll be fine. The same thing for Atlanta, what they want to see out of Cam Reddish. As long as the aggression is there, the shots are going to come, the playmaker is going to get there. He's going to average his 5 and 5. It's just the scoring. What's that going to be? But all in all, he's been a great pickup for us so far, and we got Detroit again tonight. So
2-0 Chicago Bulls.
Yes, 2-3 maybe.
Possibly. Detroit they tough, man. They be giving us fits, but
Killian Hayes.
He's so bad.
Is Cade playing?
No, he's not playing.
I don't think it's a hot take to say Killian Hayes is a bust.
No, he's bad.
I don't think. I think
I watched him. I literally watched him for 30 minutes
Dude,
run around and do
points,
nothing.
Didn't he?
No, he did nothing. He's running around. He's literally just running.
Sucks.
And a lot of people say, dude, it's only been 20-something games, and he was injured his rookie year. It didn't take us 50 games to know Anthony Bennett was a bust. It took us like 10.
It didn't take us. It took us 5 games to realize Zion is a generational talent.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't take you a lot of games to realize if somebody's good or he's not good. And Killian Hayes, it's not just been in the NBA with the pros. In the summer league, he's not good.
He's been bad no matter who.
Even in the summer league, he wasn't good.
He's Frank Ntilikina 2.0.
At least Frank played defense.
Killian played D.
Yeah, but it's like it's not even noticeable, D. Like you can stay on the court, D. It's like, bro, yeah, we get it.
Nah, he's literally Frank 2.0.
Yo, bro, I was watching Detroit, and I'm just watching him run up and down. I'm like, bro,
he doesn't do anything.
He doesn't
He's
provide
terrible.
anything.
He's not good at
His
all.
ceiling was D'Lo. Remember? They were saying he was going to be D'Lo.
They capped. So
They're saying he's Tony Parker.
oh my God, that's egregious. Man. But from what you guys are saying, you'd think that he's not as aggressive as you'd want him to be. And I don't disagree with that overly, truthfully.
I said that?
You're saying that his aggression, that you want it to be a little bit more, truthfully?
Consistent.
Yeah. No, I said consistent.
More consistent. Yeah. Okay, apologize. And I agree with. But at the same time, I don't mind it because of how selfless he is. He likes to get his teammates involved more. And that was put at the forefront when, obviously, they're on a fast break. Caruso has the lane with Lonzo Ball, passes it to Lonzo. Lonzo has the wide open slam, but instead he puts it perfectly for Caruso.
That was to get the triple-double.
Oh, was that for the triple-double?
That was to get the triple-double.
Okay, but maybe that changed things a little bit. I didn't know that.
That was a 10th assist.
But it was a cool-ass play and very selfless of him because obviously he could have easily made that play and made a highlight for him, but instead you bring on to Caruso. That builds the team chemistry because obviously this is a new formed team. This is outside of Levine, outside of a few games of Vucevic, and obviously your boy Pat Will. You bring in DeMar, you bring in Lonzo, you bring in Caruso, who's going to have a big role for this Chicago Bull team, clearly. I'm not overly upset about Lonzo not being as aggressive on the scoring side of the basketball, excuse me. I want to see him continue to facilitate because that's what makes Lonzo the ball player that he is. He's a great facilitator, and clearly he's been doing that up until this point. Now, the question is, do I think he's going to have a breakout season? He's gotten better every single season he's been in the NBA thus far. So it's not out of the realm of possibility for me to believe that he's going to continue that trend. Now, do I see him averaging more than the 14 that he averaged last season? I can see him bumping it up to 16 points a game. Given how dynamic this Bulls offense can be and has been up until this point, it's not out of the realm of possibility that he just continues to up it. What I do expect to see, though, is his assist totals go up from the 6 he had last year, I think either 6 or 5, from the 6 to possibly up to 8 assists a game, given the fact that he's playing with Zach LaVine, playing with DeMar DeRozan, playing with Vucevic. Yeah. He has these guys to get the offense going and to really spark the Bulls. I am ready to. I'm gonna say he's gonna have a breakout season, but it's not gonna be one of those where.
What's the stat line?
I'm gonna say 16.
He could average a double-double.
16, 8. He probably could. 16, 8, and 6. 16, 8, and 7, possibly. He's a special dude, and defensively, I don't even have to talk about it. It's a known fact. He's a great defender.
I think he's a bit overrated on defense, honestly.
I disagree with that sentiment.
He's a good defender.
He's been as advertised.
He really has been.
Sadiq Bey's cooking him.
And you need to...
He's cooking your boy.
And you need,
your boy DeMar.
That's how my boy,
listen,
bro.
I told you Caruso was nice. I told you that he's been very solid for y'all.
Yeah, he's been good.
He has been. Defensively.
He's better than RJ Barrett, though.
What the hell?
Who, Caruso?
No.
There's this guy.
Can Caruso guard him?
There's this guy, Seth Partner from The Athletic, that said he's better.
He can.
I can't wait till Kobe White gets back.
That'll be interesting, too. And Pat Will's playing injured, and he's been working on his shot a little bit, I can see.
This is his first game back.
His shot looks funky.
Weeks.
It is funky
weird, right?
because his shoulder's messed up.
Yeah.
He's DePaul.
Looks like Kawhi's old jump shot.
Do I expect a breakout season for Lonzo? No. And it's not that he can. It's just he doesn't need to. He's playing with DeMar DeRozan, who's a 20-plus points per game scorer. You're playing with Zach LaVine, who was amongst the top 10 in scoring last year. And then you're playing with Vucevic, a guy who's known to get a double-double, 20 and 10 for the solid part of maybe 4 or 5 years now. So no, and it's not a detriment or me knocking him. I just don't think that he needs to be in the position to have a breakout season. I think he's fine as that third, fourth option on the team. It's Zach LaVine's team, number one. We all know that. DeMar DeRozan is the better player, and Vucevic is the better player. So you don't need him to average like 25, 10, and 10. You don't need him to do that. So happen. No, it won't. But you don't need him to do that. I think his stat line is going to be 16, 7, and 7. I think this role for him right now in the first 2 games is very well. Just be a facilitator, defender, hit your open 3-pointers. He's improved every year as a shooter. His form even looks better. So as far as like a breakout season, I don't think this is a team for him to have a breakout season just because I don't think he needs to. But that's not me.
Let me ask you a question real quick. what is a breakout season for you then?
For Alonzo, I think like a 20-10 season would be breakout.
So he needs to average 20 for it to be
I
breakout.
personally don't think so.
I think 16, 8, and you said
I think
16,
his
7,
breakout
and
is
7.
more visual.
16, 7, and 7.
Agreed.
I think his breakout is
That
more
is
visual
so
than
well
statistics
said.
because I think watching him play, when you see the confidence and the ability to just be more aggressive, that's him breaking out because he hasn't had that.
But we could all agree that the 3 players are named, they're all better than him
Oh, yeah,
offensively.
I'm not disagreeing.
No, offensively, they're all better
they
than
will
him.
get the ball.
So that's what I'm saying. This team, it's not positioned for him to have a breakout season. Now, do you think? So you guys think 16, 7, and 7 is a breakout season? I think Lonzo could have done that last year.
I mean, he averaged 14, 6, and 6, around 14.
6 and 7, I believe.
I mean, look, if you guys think 16, 7, and 7 is a breakout season, then all right. Then
like I said, I think
It's the eye test.
Mine is
it's
more
the eye
visual.
test.
But I mean, just you know what you're getting from him. You're gonna get an all-around player, a solid defender. I don't know if he's like overrated on defense, like you think.
Well, he's an elite off-ball defender.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
a fact.
On ball?
Elite
Off-ball.
off.
Okay.
An elite
Okay.
off-ball
on ball.
defender.
He's good too, though.
He doesn't
good.
lock
He's
up
good
on
on
ball,
ball.
though.
No, he's good on ball.
He's
good
okay.
on, but he's an
got good
elite
hands. He's got good
off-ball
hands.
defender. We
Sure.
can all agree
No,
on
he
that.
has great instincts.
I mean, look,
Off the ball.
As long as we're good. All right,
But
we're good.
people talk about Lonzo like he can lock up opposing
No, I think
players.
he can.
No, like,
I
he's not
think-
a great
I think
on-ball
if he
defender.
switches, you're okay. You're not like.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
you're okay.
He's
Okay.
manageable.
He's manageable. Okay, but off ball, we can all
yeah,
agree.
he's
Not
amazing.
off ball, his
He's
instincts are
amazing
terrific.
on
As long as we're good on that part,
like I said, I mean, I don't think
I see 14 and 10.
14. I think 16,
Hell
7,
no.
and 7.
that would be fire.
14, 10, and 4.
But look, like I said, I mean,
I think he's
this
going to
isn't
average the same
team that he needs
stats
to do
last year
for,
that he.
though.
I think he's going to average the same
Bulls actually needs to do
stats.
that.
He's going to average the same stats this year that he did last
What was
year.
last year?
Like 14, 6, and 7, I think.
I think 16,
think he can
7,
go
and
up to
7 is
10.
firm.
He can get 10 assists.
That's firm. 16, 7, and 7. As
Yeah.
a third, fourth option, I mean, what do you think? He's a third, fourth option on the team.
14, 5, and 14, 5, and 6, basically.
Yeah,
If-
14, 5, and 6.
As a fourth option, that's really good, though. 16, 7, and 7 is really
Right
good.
now, he's at 14, 8, and 7.
I think he could up it up to 14
too.
and 10.
I think so
And
too.
I would love that.
I'll be honest. I want to see the points
He's
go
not.
up too.
Is he efficient right now?
Yeah, he's pretty efficient.
35 from 3. Field goals 47, 48.
He's a good
Yeah,
player.
so
he's a good point guard.
he's gonna be all right.
So, I mean, if you guys think in the comment section, if you guys think 16, 7, and 7
Oh,
is
look at
breaking
you.
out, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if it is, but I mean, like I
with
said,
Kobe White coming back, he's probably gonna really be just.
isn't Kobe off the bench though?
Yeah, but
So how's that gonna-
He plays a 3.
I'll tell you,
Kobe plays a 3.
No,
tell
I'm
you-
saying
oh.
Lonzo. Like sometimes the lineups he plays a 3.
I'll tell you this right now. If he averages 16, 8, and 7, or 16, what'd you say? 14 and 10,
I said 14, 10, and 4.
and they are the 3, 4 seed, people will call it a breakout.
Now, if I see him being capable of averaging 16, 7, and 7, is that really a breakout season? Because I feel like I feel like a breakout season is something that you, other than like if you can
Like
guess
what Mo
it.
Bama's about to do.
I feel like a breakout season really.
For real, though.
It really depends on who you viewing and what do you think. Like
I don't know. I just don't know how a fourth option could have a breakout season. That's all I'm saying. But you
Everything-
don't need him to though.
statistically,
Jordan
breakouts don't always
nah,
mean
he's not gonna
statistically.
be
You know what I'm
fourth.
saying? It don't always mean statistically.
You know what I was thinking about though? I was thinking about how well, I forgot what I was thinking about. You know, you keep going.
Damn.
Wow.
Cut you off.
Yeah,
but
But even Jordan Poole, he's probably gonna have a breakout
That's-
season, but it's gonna be like 4 points more.
How much did he average last
12 or 13 if you rounded.
year? Ooh, that's
So I'm saying, like, but you're gonna look at it like, oh, you broke up because the way you
most
watch-
improved though.
because you
I think we're
watched
saying that because
the-
Oh, what I
most
was gonna
improved.
say to your point about the guard lineup. I mean, Billy Donovan, he's a guard heavy guy.
Yep.
And OKC shooter, Chris Paul,
Yeah,
Shea.
he plays 3 guards.
You know, so when Kobe White comes back, it could be Lonzo Caruso, Kobe White all at the same time.
Pat Will at the 4.
Yeah, I
he might
mean,
get
he
tricky.
loves those
Damn,
small
the Bulls
ball
got-
lineups.
I just realized the Bulls got a really good team.
We run.
You just realized that?
I mean, like,
Nah, they
I
do
realize.
run.
Look,
They do run.
I don't like giving them too much credit because this guy be crazy on the
I'm telling you,
blogs.
don't give us credit until after this
stretch
we
of
have.
games, yeah.
But yo,
Don't
man,
give us
I
credit.
like your
Remain
roster.
modest.
You heard? I like your roster a lot. I
Appreciate
think your
it.
roster's really good.
But our next stretch
we got to
is
go
crazy.
to the Knicks and Bulls game.
I just told you I would do
I
it.
can't wait till the Nets and
Let's
the Bulls
do it.
play.
I'm with it.
Listen,
I'm with it.
I want a
December
rematch. Yo, I want a
2nd,
rematch in the playoffs.
It's December 2nd for real?
You heard?
Didn't that say 12-2?
Riv.
I don't know.
I want a
Look at
rematch.
that.
Yo, Riv, I want a rematch in the playoffs from that in our inaugural
You mean
season
when
when you
Joakim
got
Noah beat
when
y'all?
you guys beat us at home on Game
Joakim
7. You
Noah.
know, I went to that game.
We had the worst offense.
I was
in the
at
league.
that game.
Yeah, we had
No,
the
I want a
worst-
rematch.
We had the worst offense.
I want
in
a
the league. You
rematch.
lost to the worst offense in the league.
Nate
Just-
Robinson was cooking Darren Williams. That was getting me
Exactly.
so tight.
trash.
That's when I gave up on Darren Williams.
Yeah,
as a
December
player.
2nd.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so if you guys are going to go to the Knicks Bulls game December 2nd, you guys can meet us. We're going to go. Well,
should
Drew's
vlog-
not
we
going to go.
we should vlog it.
We should vlog it, honestly. We should.
I'm-
vlog it.
Bro, why are you not going?
He has to
He
save up
can.
money for his brother's bachelor party.
Yo, I'm not, honestly,
But honestly, though,
Yeah.
just from the Patreon money, we could pay for your ticket, though.
For real.
I don't want y'all to spoil me like
We
that.
want to all go. It's a
that'd be
pick a
lit.
side
What's
experience.
it
I'm
bro.
not gonna say no, but
Yo,
You don't have to say it either, but we're gonna say it.
Riv. You know how I be in Chicago a lot? Like, you know.
We know
like,
you do, bro.
Yo, I'm gonna go to a Bulls game out there. I went to your arena. I want to go watch
Is it
a Bulls
nice?
game. Yeah, it's really nice. I saw Michael Jordan statue. I want to go
It's
catch
like
a.
the glaring thing there. I heard. Like
Yo,
that's
it's the best. Nah, I want to go catch a Bulls game just because.
is it the logo of him with the?
Yes, and it
That's
has all his.
tough.
It has his like how big his hands were too. Like it's everything about
It
Michael
has to
Jordan
be perfect. He's
and
the
everything
greatest
what he
player
did.
ever.
So
Does Scotty
some
have a
massive
statue too, or
hands.
no?
I definitely
Does Scotty have a statue too, or
No.
no?
What the?
That's interesting.
Why is it
He doesn't.
interesting?
I mean, he was the co-member of.
Yeah,
the,
but he's not.
The co-members don't get it though.
Nah,
It's the guys.
you
Like,
gotta
it is-
think-
No, all jokes aside, you gotta
easy.
think of LA. Like the guys, Magic, Shaq. Like James Worthy doesn't have a statue.
But Shaq and Kobe, obviously, Kobe ended up being. That's
Shaq has a statue.
It's a
Yeah,
hard
so
Shaq,
does
thing.
Magic,
Kobe's gonna
Jerry
get
West.
one.
Like think of the people. James
Impact
Worthy
players.
doesn't have a statue.
and
bro.
it's not to say
But
that
Scottie Pippen.
Scottie
like,
Pippen,
James Worthy.
glorified James
I don't know.
Worthy.
I don't know if James Worthy might have been better.
They're on the same level.
James
bro,
Worthy got a
honestly.
Finals MVP.
Yeah, like they're like
They're
James
on the
Worthy was
same
nice,
tier.
bro. Like
They're
he's
on the same
nice.
tier.
Come on, Scotty's defense was just.
You just want to say that because you want to
unbelievable.
rock your LeBron's the GOAT argument,
that to
so
do
you
with
try
that?
to
Not
make it. Scotty, bro, James Worthy was nice, bro.
Yeah.
And they say
Definitely.
LeBron fans bring in
Okay,
LeBron
so
to every conversation.
You
It's
think
nothing to
Dennis
do with
Rodman
that.
should have a statue?
No, because he wasn't Scottie
Maybe
Pippen averaging 20
I don't know.
a season.
How about for the Pistons? I don't think he deserves one, right?
Nah, it's
the
certain
Pistons?
players don't get stuff like
Does
that.
Isaiah Thomas have one?
Yeah,
Is Scotty not the second best Bull of all time?
debatable. I like
No,
Derrick
it's
Rose.
clean.
Prime
He's-
Derrick Rose is better. Yeah.
Nah, that was like for 1 year.
I'm playing-
though.
I'm
Yeah,
playing
no,
Scotty.
That's disrespectful as
But
hell.
it's like a
What
gap,
about
though.
Ben
It's like
Gordon?
Yo, you know what's crazy?
Artis
Elton
Gilmore.
Brand?
I didn't know that Pfizer Forum's like 57 minutes away from your arena too. So I'm definitely gonna catch a Bucks game
What?
out there.
The
too.
Really?
Bucks. arena.
Yes,
Really?
it's like 57.
That's why they were right.
minutes
They're our
to
rivals.
like an hour and a half away. I'm gonna catch a Bucks game too.
That's lit.
So while you guys were giving your take, I think while you were giving your take, I took a picture of the pin and posted it on my
I
Instagram.
peeped. I just
Yeah.
peeped.
MH Fens on our Discord was like, he wants the pin.
Nice.
Just
Isn't he a
$50.
Browns fan?
Yeah, he's a Browns
That's the
fan.
Browns guy, right?
Yeah, he's a Browns fan.
That's
Yeah.
lit, man. I want to give a real shout out to my guy Skylar. He hooked me up. He one of my guys from my dad's job. Real dude, all geeks. AWGEEKS.
Yeah.
Solid dude. He was more than real to make these for us. Hopefully that we can get him to collab with us on some merch. That would be super cool. He's been solid my entire life. I've known him for as long as I've been alive, truthfully. It was really cool of him to do this. So hopefully we can get some more work
He
with him.
laughing.
I don't know why I'm laughing.
Because whenever he's uncomfortable, he laughs. That's what it is.
Should we tell the audience about our good news at the end of the show?
Nah, we should hold off. We should hold off.
Wait,
Yeah.
what? I'll be so confused.
This guy be lost in La La Land. Nah, we should
You
hold
guys,
off.
you got to remember, guys, when you guys have the conversations in the group chat, I'd be asleep. So it's like it'd
Bro's
be
nocturnal.
Yeah, it's like 50 messages. I'm not scrolling up to 50 messages. I just be like, I look to see if we sent the topic list, and I'd be like, all right, that's the one I lock in on, and that's pretty much it. I'd be asleep, bro.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
One of the biggest headlines this week in the
Oh,
NBA
shit.
was the NBA's top 75 players list, which was basically just the top 50 players and 25 players added on to that original list. And a lot of players got snubbed that I think were deserving of getting in. Vince Carter, Pau Gasol, Tony Parker, Chris Bosh,
Dwight Howard.
Alex English, Dwight Howard,
Paul George.
Tracy McGrady,
I can make an argument for Paul George.
Kyrie
being on there.
Irving,
This is gonna get
Bernard
bad.
We
King.
gonna see.
I mean, so, you know,
They didn't
just
have Walt up there, Frazier?
Walt Frazier.
Did they have him up there?
They probably did have.
They
They,
should
they had a
definitely.
lot of Knicks.
Yeah.
They were very biased to the Knicks.
Did they have Darren Williams? Let me stop.
You know, I think
I just got saw the picture of him right there. You
Darren
X'd him out.
I think the list is really about impact of era, like what you did in your respective era.
PG-13.
Because obviously, there's a lot of guys on there where we're like I saw some.
I get what you're saying, but I do think the list was heavily biased towards the older
But
generation.
you got to remember who's making it. Older generation people. You know, if they add a bunch of young guys in the room, it's
fact
going to
that-
change.
So, like,
it.
for example, like, look,
Dolph Shades,
Billy-
I saw his film. He's garbage.
How about Arzini, whatever his name?
I don't know, but
Paul
that Dolph guy, I saw his film. He's dumb.
Like,
whack.
for
Paul
example-
Arzin was trash as hell.
He shoots like this, and he doesn't jump.
like
Paul
for
Arzin was
example, like,
this.
look, Billy Cunningham, 5-time All-Star, he made it. Dave Cowens, Boston Celtics center, I think he deserved to make it. 2-time champ, 8-time All-Star.
I think everybody from that Celtics team made it.
Wes
Rightfully
Unseld,
so.
5-time All-Star. He won an MVP as a rookie, but averaging 14 points and 18 rebounds. Those are Andre Drummond numbers. You know what I'm saying? Lenny Wilkins, 16-7 for his career. Dame made it. And,
Dame getting in was crazy.
like, for example,
I think Dame's better than Paul George all the time.
Yes. Yes.
I don't know, bro.
Let me ask you a question.
I don't know.
Before you go, I just want to say this. I have a problem. I don't have a problem with T-Mac not getting in, even though like Pete Kemp, yeah, for sure he should be. He's definitely a top 75 player of all time.
His peak is top
Alex
40.
English, even though he scored all those points, he never made it to the Western Conference Finals, and that's a big
He's the
knock
best
on
nugget
him.
of all time, right?
Carmelo, I think.
Okay.
Carmelo, I think. And it's gonna be Jokic though if he stays there.
Definitely.
For sure. Chris Bosh, I was okay with because he took a dip in his stats to go win rings in Miami. I felt like Paul Gasol and Dwight Howard should have been on this list. Paul Gasol, Dwight Howard especially. Like the NBA acts like Dwight Howard wasn't one of the best players of this decade.
He was a top 4 player at his peak.
Yeah, exactly.
Easy.
Yes.
I mean, he's the only player to ever win 3 Defensive Player of the Years back to back to back. Like Rudy
Howard,
Gobert
baby.
has 3, doesn't have it in 3 straight seasons. And even like it's so crazy to think about this. Dwight Howard's prime was cut short because of a back injury. And even with that cut short prime, 8-time All-Star, 8-time All-NBA, 13,000 career rebounds, 2,000 career blocks, the only players to have 13K rebounds and 2K blocks, Tim Duncan, Garnett, Shaq, Olajuwon, Robert Parrish, and Abdul-Jabbar.
And they're all in except Parrish and except Parrish. Right?
Yeah, and Parrish has a case to be in too. You know what I'm saying?
Hell
So,
yeah.
Dwight Howard has this all-time resume, and to me, it felt like they're probably doing a projection because there's no way AD is over Dwight Howard if you're just going off their resume. And also looking at the list, I felt like the resume was biased towards winning. There's players there that were multiple-time champions, but they didn't have a lot of all-stars.
Debatable because
Clay's not on it.
I looked at 3 guys because me personally, all time, and I think all time, I think of stats, impact, accolades. Those are the 3 things I go off of because I feel like peak. Yeah, your peak can be better than somebody, but what have you done in a span of an impact? What does your longevity tell you? 3 guys came up to my mind: Dwight Howard, Tony Parker, and T-Mac. Tony Parker, 5-time champion, 5-time All-Star, Finals MVP, one of the best point guards of his time, a catalyst for a team that was a 50-win team, a dynasty.
Finals MVP.
Like this is a guy who he is one of the 75 best players ever. And of course, obviously, I don't even got to say too much because you already said it. Dwight Howard easily should have got in over AD. No offense, AD. I think AD. If he's not a top 75 now, he will eventually be a top 75 player. But Dwight Howard should have easily been in there. He's one of the best defensive bigs we've ever seen.
Period.
And then T-Mac, it's tricky because T-Mac,
his career was cut short.
it was, but at his peak, like you said, winning matters, and he didn't make it out the first round.
But he was still a 7-time All-Star.
That's why it's really tricky. The list is really confusing. I mean, it really, we can just look at the 25 guys that just got in. We could just scratch the 50 and look at the 25 that got in. I think most of them deserve to be in. I mean, Kawhi got in.
Did you think Dame?
Steph got in. No, not Dame. Dame is the only tricky one. Dwight should have took Dame's spot.
I disagree.
Dwight should have took Dame's spot. But
Dwight should have definitely took Dame's spot.
I disagree.
Dwight has accomplished more.
Wait, hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Let me ask you.
Is it a detriment to say Dwight should have took Paul Pierce's spot?
No.
I think Dwight should have taken a D spot.
Wait.
Not
You
Dame's.
think Damian Lillard has a better resume than Dwight Howard?
The stats are ridiculous when you look at Dame 30, 28, 30, 29, all like
First
and
round
assists.
exit.
You mean points?
No,
Just points.
Points and assists.
Bubble, first round exit.
But he has big playoff
Last
moments
year,
as well.
first round
He's
exit.
ended
Drew
2
Holiday?
series.
Has Dame ever made the finals as the man?
He went to the Western Conference Finals
Got
by
swept.
himself.
So Dwight went to the finals, and that team was glued around him.
But that team was solid.
And they beat LeBron. They beat your man.
That team was solid.
And they beat Boston.
Yeah.
They beat Boston, they beat LeBron.
I'm
They beat the
not.
big 3.
I'm not disrespecting.
And
Dwight.
Jameer Nelson was hurt too.
But that was
Rafir Austin was starting for
that
them.
was a good squad. Hito Turkoglu, obviously Rashad
Big
Lewis.
the big 3 Boston Celtics not favored to come out the East.
They were favored to win that series.
Not saying you're wrong at all because that was a solid team.
Oh no, it was a good team. Definitely
Obviously, Dwight was the main character of that squad.
But Dame doesn't have more All-Stars than Dwight. He doesn't have more All-NBAs than Dwight. His defensive resume can't sniff Dwight.
No, but no one's talking defense.
But that's a big part of the game.
I
We gotta talk about it. We're talking about
which is
this.
why I would say to AD. I'm not gonna
AD
say
has
Dwight.
accomplished more.
AD
than
has a
Dame.
championship.
No, yes, AD definitely does.
And he put in work for that title.
But you look at the years and the consistency of what
Dame is
Damian
so
Lillard
overrated,
does.
bro.
That's wrong.
Dame is
That's
so
wrong.
Dame
overrated.
and Tony Parker.
Dame
I'm
is
taking
so
Tony Parker.
Who should have got in?
TP,
between
Look
Tony
at
Parker
this-
and Dame,
like-
Tony Parker, 100%.
Now, all right,
Dame is
this-
Dame is becoming the
look, we
most
just-
overrated player ever.
Oh
yo.
my God, you're coming crazy. Go
nah,
look at
bro.
the numbers.
Nah,
so what?
bro.
So Kyrie should have gotten over him.
Did
No,
I say
Kyrie
Kyrie?
We
shouldn't
didn't say
be.
Kyrie. We're talking about
three
Dwight
third
Howard.
players that could have got over Dame.
Kyrie shouldn't get in my
No,
opinion.
Dwight over AD is the one comparison that I would say. I'm cool
Dwight
with-
over Dame, man. That's easy.
That's tough.
No,
'cause,
that's
dude,
easy.
Okay, wait. Hold on.
Dame's scoring is ridiculous, and
Drew,
he's
Drew.
ended 2
Drew,
series
answer
in
this.
the
Answer
playoffs.
this. Name me something else Dame has done besides the stats.
Hold on.
The two series.
How many
enders is
All-NBA
nothing?
teams he has?
You mean in the first round?
No,
They're both first rounders.
the one against OKC was in the first
Yeah.
round as well.
3
So in the
versus
first,
6
talking about first round exits.
Bro,
I mean, he made it to the Western Conference Finals.
keep that.
Yeah,
Like
But
the West
he-
and the
he-
West
he
too,
didn't
which
play
has
that good
always
against
been
Denver.
tough.
Facts.
that's fair.
Which one? Are you saying
That year was that year.
He's
He
so
played Denver the
overrated,
year-
bro.
No, I wouldn't disagree. I'm going to disagree with that. He
CJ
had a
carried
bad
him.
game 7. No, he had a bad game 7. That was it.
Read that
Yo,
off.
he's so
Okay.
What has
overrated.
Dame accomplished?
So this
He's
is
so
Dame
overrated.
has one Rookie of the Year. He has no MVP, no scoring title, no assist title, no one conference finals, no championship.
So you're not gonna
and a
read his
finals
stats?
appearance.
You're just going to read
We know
his
what Dame's
stats
stats are.
Grown.
But in
That's
turn,
the whole
in
reason.
turn,
Grown.
That's the whole
wait,
reason
hold on,
he's
hold on.
in.
So if you're building your team around one guy, you're taking prime Orlando Dwight Howard or Dame.
That's
Dwight.
where things get.
You're taking
I'm gonna
Dwight
take Dwight
easy.
because of the defense.
Well, yeah. So
Dwight's got you there.
So if you're taking Dwight
but
in
it's
his prime
tough.
and
So
he
if
has
you
a better
like, if
resume,
you love stats
how
so
is
much,
Dame over
should
him?
Westbrook be over Dame?
Hell yeah.
If you love stats so
But
much.
Westbrook's in, isn't he?
He isn't.
No, he
hell
was the
yeah,
last.
isn't.
He was the last player in.
Oh, okay. You got lucky just
What
now.
do you mean?
You got
like,
lucky.
I
I
thought
thought
that was
they
firm.
didn't get.
No, Westbrook is easily over Dame.
I
All
thought they didn't
time?
get Westbrook
Hell
in.
yeah, he's
I thought
easily
they didn't
over
get
Dame.
Westbrook in. Woo.
See, this is an impossible scenario, and I hate to even say this out loud. But let's be real. You're telling me Dame and Tony Parker don't switch spots? They're not winning the exact same amount of
I
championships?
don't know about that. I don't know.
the hell?
Dame significantly
I
drops
said
off
Tony
in the
Parker's a
second
better
round.
player performer than Dame.
Oh my God.
Yo, Dame drops off in the second and third round, bro. Like
If
He
gets-
plays
he
better
gets there.
talent.
If he get-
he plays better
Whoa.
talent.
And Tony
Who?
Parker
The
when
West
played
back
better-
then was
Easy.
tough.
He's playing better talent as the rounds go on. His team
Wait,
is
so hold up,
inferior.
so
So the
In the
Pelicans
Western-
are a knock or an elite team.
And I'll give you that one. He shouldn't have
Because
lost
what
there.
What about the
Tony Parker
Grizzlies when he
Grizzlies?
got?
shouldn't have lost
Hold
there.
up. So James Harden gets knocked for losing 1 game and a quarter against the
Come
Warriors.
on, we don't have to bring in James
But
Harden,
Dame,
bro.
But Dame, hold on. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Let's look at this scenario. James Harden gets knocked for losing to Curry, Clay, and Draymond 1 game and 1 quarter. Dame has a double-digit lead in every single game of the Western Conference
blows it.
Finals and lost every single game.
Listen,
and played
I'm
horrible.
not comparing Damian Lillard to James Harden.
No, I'm not.
Look,
we're not comparing. We're
outside
talking
of
about
the
Dame.
first round,
Dame
Dame's
drops
great.
off.
You
Wait,
bugged
versus
He
does, he
Hold
does.
up. Yo,
That was a
yo,
tough
Riff.
West.
Yo, Riff.
That's what I'm saying. No, I'm not saying that Tony Parker didn't play bad talent. I'm saying that Damian Lillard.
Actually, no, Drew. I ask you this question.
Okay.
Versus Denver Nuggets. That second round, going to the Western Conference Finals, who saved the day for Portland?
CJ McCollum.
Was it
CJ
CJ or Dame? It was
CJ
CJ
McCollum.
McCollum.
But that was,
it was
the
CJ
one. That was the
McCollum.
one. That's the one glaring instance where Dame really
Tony Parker
choked it.
has saved.
Wait, Dame
the
choked
greatest
against the
power
Pelicans
forward ever,
too.
bro.
The Pelicans. That was a
He choked
but
against the
Drew Holiday
Pelicans.
was like Drew Holiday is lockup.
But they
Give him a-
they
you're not
secured
gonna give
home
him a
court and
break for
everybody
that?
was picking
Tony
them to
Parker
win.
played prime Chris Paul.
And he outdueled him too
But
multiple
the,
times.
the
cooking
Spurs
him.
team was better
But
than.
I'm just talking about
come
individually. I'm just talking about
on.
from an individual standpoint. The Portland was better than the Pelicans.
It was tough matchups. AD obviously was cooking then. Drew Holiday's an excellent
was
defender.
tough
But that
matchup.
Portland team was really not that solid.
They were a 3rd seed, bro.
They secured home court.
Dame and CJ McCollum.
He's blew it as a 3rd seed
Nurkic
twice.
is not bad.
So what about Denver
Nurkic
last
in
year?
and out.
What about Denver last year?
That was inexcusable as well. And
okay.
He
I've
played
said
well
that.
though. To his credit,
He
Damian
did-
Lillard
he balled.
balled out.
But if you're
But
that
his
guy,
team's not that great. It's been like
but if
that.
you're that guy, and mind you, Denver was hurt. They didn't have their
Listen,
second best
I'm
player.
not saying you're wrong there, but Dame still did his thing.
Dame is just really liked by the.
I'm gonna be
NBA,
honest.
bro.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm not mad at them having Dame over Tony Parker.
I'm not.
I'm not.
I'm mad.
But over
Slightly.
Dwight Howard.
That's the close one.
No, I don't think it's close. It's criminal to not have him over
Easy.
Dwight. To have
Did
him over
Steve
Dwight Howard.
Nash get in?
Yeah, he
Yeah,
got
Steve
it.
Nash
He
got
got
it.
it.
Steve Nash deserves it though.
No, that's easy.
He deserves
That's
it.
Two-time
easy.
MVP.
Yeah.
Yo, no, yo,
It's hard for you to
Joel,
remember
can I ask you a
seven.
question?
Yeah,
Can I ask
can't
everybody?
remember
Can I ask
seven.
everybody a
It's
question right
obvious.
now?
It's obvious.
They only had it.
Let me ask all you a
25
question
guys.
and be as honest as you all can be. Paul George or Dame all time? Because I think Paul George should be on the list over Dame.
No, Dame
And
has
I
had
know
bigger
that's a hot
moments.
take, but I was looking at their accomplishments, what they've
Well, the
done.
defensive teams is going to put Paul George over.
Bro, Paul George's 2018 season, he finished top 3 in MVP and top 3 in DPOY. Damian Lillard will never do that in his life. Never do that in his life, ever in his life. He battled LeBron with Indiana, went to Game 7s, back-to-back years.
You want to talk about going ghost in the playoffs? Like, come on, that's easy for me to say as well.
What about last year? He was cooking last year in the playoffs.
Okay, but then
So Joel, hold on.
They still lost.
Give me 2 guys you think
In
should have been on the list.
WCF.
Dwight, obviously, don't say Dwight because everybody's agreed on
Yeah,
Dwight.
that's a fact.
Tracy McGrady, Paul Gasol.
How Gasol?
I
those are
think
your
Tony
2 guys.
Parker should have been in.
3.
Even Chris Bosh, Alex English. I think these guys should have been in.
I feel like you could have left Chris Bosh off.
11-time All-Star.
Yeah, I feel like you can leave.
That's a lot of fucking All Stars, bro.
That's a lot of All-Star. That's a double-digit All-Star.
You've been consistently great for 11 years. That's crazy.
There's a few guys you could put over.
And you know what's crazy? A couple years of Chris Bosh's career got shaved off because of the blood clot.
you-
So he could have been an All-Star
put
maybe
Chris-
2 or 3
He's
more
a
times.
2-time champion.
I'm talking about. So you adding Chris Bosh into that?
No, that's not my 3 are not.
So who's your 3?
So my 3, obviously number 1 is Dwight Howard. Statistics: Dwight Howard's about to be top 10 all-time in rebounds and blocks, but you already said that. So my second one is Pau
Did you
Gasol.
say that?
I didn't say that. I said he's in that.
He's about to be top 10 in both.
Oh,
He's the only. Dwight is the only player to have Dwight joins this list of players to have 13K rebounds and 2K blocks. Duncan, Garnett, Shaq, Olajuwon, Parrish, and Abdul-Jabbar.
He's about to be top 10 in both, though, so accumulative. Then my second one is Pau Gasol, 2-time champion. Got to help Kobe win championships. Obviously wasn't the best player, but, you know, in the 09 finals, he balled out. Even in 2010 finals against Kevin Garnett, he actually outplayed him if you look at statistics and everything. So I think he definitely deserves to be there. And then my last one, I mean, it's kind of a hot take, but I feel like I feel like Paul George is better than Dame, so I say Paul George should be in over Dame, but that's my opinion though. It's just what Dame did early on in his career with Indiana is really great, and then on top of that, this year he's gonna have a stellar year this year, and then postseason last year played really well. And he's a better defender.
So I actually had Dwight. Ben Wallace was one that I was thinking about as well, but I understand him being left off. I have Klay Thompson, easily could be debated, and Kyrie Irving, Tony Parker.
TP.
It's tough for me because I look at Klay Thompson. He obviously has the 3 championships. He has an all-NBA defensive team. He has an all-NBA team. He obviously is one of the best shooters of all time, arguably the second best shooter of all time. And if we're taking winning into account, he's a part of one of the best dynasties ever in Golden State Warriors. I had a few of these listed out. I had Dwight Howard versus Anthony Davis versus Ben Wallace. Obviously, we see how the majority of us are leaning Dwight Howard. I had Ray Allen versus Klay Thompson.
Right.
Now, that one's close because obviously, in terms of ball in their hands, who could do more with the ball, obviously Ray Allen has been or had shown that he is the better with the ball in his hands. That being said, catch and shoot, I'm going Klay. Defense, I'm going Klay. So it's closer there than the no conversation being had there about it. And then Kyrie Irving versus Lillard versus Tony Parker. Kyrie's done some amazing things in this league, and you're 100% right. Easy.
Now, come on. You're bugging right
Like
now.
Now you're being OD.
rude.
Like what?
No, we get you don't like him. Like,
like what?
But
All right,
come on, bro.
I was
2016
listen,
he had a great
exactly.
playoff run.
And
He
2017,
outplayed the
same
MVP
thing.
in the
What else?
finals. Bro, that's one of the greatest accomplishments in all of
Last season,
basketball.
you haven't
Last
stopped.
last
No,
season,
no.
he did average 28.
He's
But
a hater,
listen,
bro.
I will
He's
give
a
you
hater.
this.
He's
I
a hater.
will-
He don't like Kyrie.
I will give you this. He's been hurt. He doesn't have the longevity, and he's been a diva.
I didn't say
to
he
a
should be in
degree.
the top 75 though.
But talent-wise, it could be a debate that he could be in the top 75.
You
But
got-
this isn't a talent list, clearly. But you can't say he's done nothing.
I hate to sound like this, but
To say he's done nothing's crazy.
Damian Lillard versus Tony Parker versus Kyrie Irving. Probably Dame. No.
Dame wins that, bro.
Like as the best player out of all time.
Actually, I don't know. Kyrie's close.
Dame and Kyrie are very
I think y'all,
close.
no. We're talking about an all-time list, which means everything's put into account. If we're
is
talking
why
about
I
an
can't
all-time
argue.
list,
I can't argue.
Kyrie's probably at the bottom of that list.
Nah.
Talent-wise, yeah.
Whoa!
No. I mean at the top. Talent-wise,
Okay, yes,
at the top.
yes,
Wait,
yes,
so,
Talent-wise,
that
yes.
championship doesn't put him over Dame?
it probably does put him over Dame, but if you talk about it individually, Dame is probably ahead of Kyrie.
He's a better
because of the fact
leader.
that he's been
Yep.
hurt and Dame has accomplished
Correct.
maybe a little bit more in terms of all NBA teams.
How many All NBA?
Wait, so hold up. I want to ask you this question because
Who's better in the postseason? Let me ask you something.
Kyrie.
Ah.
Different
I want to ask you
situations,
this
though.
question because from the sound of it, it sounds like you give Parker the edge because of 4 championships, not 5. It's 4 championships.
I know. Finals MVP though. Don't
Okay.
forget that.
Okay, definitely. I
No,
agree.
you cannot forget
okay,
that.
I can't forget that.
He's
Yeah,
definitely-
I understand.
Don't forget that.
Iguodala has it too.
One played with Tim Duncan, another played with Steph Curry. Okay, keep going. I get it.
Well, what the fuck?
Don't
What
you
are
hold
talking
Steph Curry as the greatest ever?
Tim Duncan is the best power forward of all time. What are you talking about?
That's his point.
Thank you, JC.
That's his
Like
point.
you helped that. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, JC.
Okay. So it sounds like you're putting Tony Parker over because of the 4 championships. But I have to ask you this. Klay Thompson, he has 3 championships. He's not on the all-time 75 players list.
Yes.
Are you putting Klay over Kyrie all time because of those 3 championships? Or are you putting Klay over Dame all time because of those 2 championships?
Klay and Kyrie are probably similar in the respect that Klay has probably more championships, but both have accomplished probably the same thing in terms of individuality. Tony Parker has more All-Stars than Klay Thompson. He has more All-NBA teams than Klay Thompson.
Not much more.
How many?
He still has more, though.
Parker's a 6-time All-Star.
Thank you.
How much is Klay? 4, right?
I think 4 or 5 around there. But Kyrie has more All-Stars than Parker. So
How many does Kyrie have?
Kyrie has 7.
Oh, he has one more.
You know, Dame has 6. He's gonna get another one this year.
Dame's gonna get 7, but
so he's gonna get more over them.
The championships I'll put over.
But this is my problem with that is that
Well,
you're putting Parker over those guys because of the championships, but he wasn't the first option. He was the second.
No, but you're looking at it wrong because Klay was the 4th option on some of the championships and 3rd on the other. That's the
Fourth
difference.
is strong.
Okay, maybe not 4th. He was the 3rd with Kevin Durant and Curry, and he was the 2nd with Curry.
So wait, hold on.
Tony Parker, wait.
Consistently the second guy. Ginobili sometimes second guy.
Wait.
Nah, TP was second.
Yeah, stop
Not
it.
consistently.
TP was second.
Stop it.
Nah,
Ginobili.
Stop it.
2013, you could say Tony Parker was the best player on the Spurs.
Stop.
07, Tony Parker bugged against the Cavs.
Come on, stop it, bro.
Tony Parker
TP's done nice,
Parker was the catalyst for a dynasty,
Yes,
bro.
he
Klay
was.
Thompson, don't get me wrong, Klay Thompson is very important.
Huge catalyst for it, too.
Very huge.
Kyrie is very important, but Kyrie is, like I said, he's an expendable guy. He's left teams and they've went to the finals.
So
he's
wait,
left
so-
teams
so-
and they make the
I understand what you're
playoffs.
saying.
Tony Parker is the
Let him
catalyst
finish.
for a dynasty that's been going on for damn near almost 2 decades, bro. It's different. And he has a finals MVP on a team where the best player was the greatest power forward of all time. He's been consistently that guy. It's a completely different scenario. Kyrie Irving, granted, 2016 was great, incredible. Nobody takes that away from him, but he's left teams and they've been to the finals. He's been on teams and they've crumbled because of the fact that because of him, i.e., Boston, he got hurt. They went to the ECF. He comes back. They get bounced in the 2nd round. Brooklyn, he goes to Brooklyn.
He plays 20 games the first year.
He plays 20 games. They're not that good.
Yeah.
Even now, he's dealing with situations. With Tony Parker, he's been the catalyst for a dynasty, bro.
So wait, can I ask you one thing, though? Let me ask you
one
one thing. If Kyrie Irving were to suit up this year, does that make Brooklyn your favorite?
Brooklyn is to win the finals?
Yeah.
Brooklyn is still my favorite.
reason
without
why I
Kyrie.
don't-
Even without Kyrie?
Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
The reason I don't agree with that is because Kyrie Irving for his career averages 24, 25 a game. Tony Parker averages like 14, bro.
Nah, Kyrie averages 23 for his career.
Okay, but the stats,
bro.
are overwhelmingly favoring these other players.
Yeah.
And
It's a different game, though, bro.
It's a different game, but
And
I
he
want
didn't
to
shoot the
speak
three.
to your point about Kyrie. Okay, yeah, he left the Cavs. They won a championship. That's because they had LeBron, bro. And like, come on, bro.
The second best player was George Hill. Stop it.
Oh,
Kevin Love, stop playing.
Kevin
Kevin
Love.
Love was trash,
bro.
And JRC.
Come on.
And you
He
know
was
he
an
was
all-star.
trash. K-Love was trash.
K-Love was terrible in all final series
stop
against
it,
In the-
bro.
in the
Draymond
finals.
Green took him out, though.
You want to talk about 4th option?
Yo,
Kevin Love was our 4th
Draymond-
option.
You know why? Because
J.R.
Draymond Green
Smith.
used to literally take him out. He used to literally
We
lock
not
him.
well, in the finals, yeah, but I'm
Yes.
talking about just the entirety of the
understand,
season. Like,
yes,
come on, bro.
yes.
Let's stop acting like George Hill was the second
Kevin
best
Love was
player.
an
It wasn't
all-star,
him.
right?
Yeah, and plus, you want to bring up Boston. I feel like not enough people give Kyrie the benefit of the doubt for how it ended in Boston. I understand that he left, but did people
He
forget?
had him as a number 1 seed
Let me finish.
before he went out.
Let me finish. That second year he was in Boston, every single player on that team damn near was on the last year of their contract. They were on an expiring contract.
Wait, who are you talking about?
that last year in Boston.
Okay.
Marcus Morris expiring contract. He was trying to get
Terry
his bread.
Rozier.
Terry Rozier was forcing up shots the entire season because he
Hayward.
wanted to get paid. Hayward was coming back from injury. They had to integrate him. Brown wanted an extension. Like, all of these guys were trying to get a new
So
contract.
let me ask you a question. Who's more impactful, Tony Parker or Kyrie Irving?
To winning?
Yes.
Oh, you guys say Tony Parker.
Okay.
I've
well,
never seen Tony Parker do something that Kyrie did in the finals versus Golden State.
And we've
I've never seen
Kyrie. Wait.
as great
That's
as
a fact.
I haven't
That's a
seen.
fact.
I've never seen
you've
Parker.
Nah, he
never-
outplayed the unanimous MVP,
You've never
though.
seen anybody do that.
Curry's the best point guard of all time to you. Second or first? First or second?
Second.
Kyrie
Magic.
outplayed him.
He did. So 2016 beats a career. Is that what you're saying?
Well,
no, that's what you.
Kyrie just isn't that moment. He's more than that moment.
As of right now, if we're talking just right now.
Kyrie is more than that moment.
Tony Parker has more All-NBA teams. I'm looking at it right now. He has more championships. He has more Finals MVPs, and that's all they both have. And Kyrie has one more.
He's a better.
Wait, how many All-NBA teams does he have?
Kyrie has 3.
The Finals MVP. The Finals MVP. You got to take it easy because Kyrie Irving was unbelievable that 2016. Like obviously, if LeBron. Like he
averaged 30, bro.
Dude, he was amazing.
I know. Listen,
wait, which year? 2017?
Cannot.
I understand, but I'm just saying, in terms of the Finals MVP to Kyrie Irving,
you cannot take away from Kyrie Irving.
You can. It's
But
impossible.
we need to stop using that to try to just bulk up his career, bro. Because that's all you said.
But talent,
wait. But that's all you have to talk about.
No,
2016.
Okay,
Tony Parker has 4 championships.
Wait, hold up.
He has 4
Who's a better basketball player?
Oh my gosh.
Who's a better basketball player?
It's Kyrie Irving.
Who's a better basketball player?
Kyrie's more talented. Kyrie's more talented.
You know, this is my problem with the argument.
Who's more talented, Kyrie Irving or Magic Johnson? Answer the question and be dead serious about it.
Magic Johnson. What the hell?
Okay, who's
Magic.
Wow.
Magic.
Okay, Kyrie Irving is considered by his peers to be the most talented point guard ever, right?
Most skilled.
The most skilled point guard ever, right? Would you put him in the top 5 though?
In my point guard list?
Yeah.
Hell no.
Because that shit doesn't mean everything, bro. It doesn't mean everything. Kyrie's probably more talented than Jason Kidd, than Steve Nash, than John Stockton. That doesn't mean everything. That doesn't mean everything.
I feel you.
That doesn't mean everything.
I understand what he's saying.
It's not everything, Kyrie, bro.
I understand what he's saying.
Talented, bro. But these other points,
because you're talking about his career aspect as well.
Look at it from a career aspect. Because talent is T-Mac. It was one of Kobe said it. T-Mac was him at 6'8", bro. He can do everything I can do. T-Mac was one of the most talented players ever. It doesn't matter because it's about impact. Talent is great. There's a lot of talented players in the NBA. Everybody knows that. Kyrie is talented. We know that. But in terms of impact, in terms of what you do with that talent, you can't sit here and just put him over because he's more talented than one guy. Okay, talent isn't everything. IQ means something. For a point guard, that means everything. Impact means something. Tony Parker was on a team that has 4 NBA championships. Not 1, not 2, not 3, 4. That's more than a lot of guys. That's more than greats like LeBron, like Steph, like Kevin Durant. He has 4. And he wasn't, but he wasn't just trash though. He wasn't a regular guy that just got him. He wasn't a Robert Horry. He wasn't a PJ Tucker, a special utility guy. No, he was an all-star. He was the second best player on championship teams. He wasn't just the regular guy where you could just trade away. No, he was that guy. So stop disrespecting Tony Parker. Stop putting Kyrie over guys just because he's more talented. Wait, hold on. There's other things that played in the factor.
That's true.
Hold on. You got to stop getting so emotional. That's for one.
It's a podcast.
That's for one. I know, but still, you're getting way too emotional. For one.
What?
But this is the thing. I feel like your emotions are getting the best of you right now.
I'm speaking facts.
You're not speaking.
No,
nothing.
he spoke some facts.
Some of it was facts. Some of it was facts because I agree with you in the aspect that Tony Parker probably does get disrespect to the modern fan. To say that Kyrie Irving should be over Tony Parker is not disrespect.
It isn't disrespect.
It's not disrespect. And the fact that you're taking it that way just shows that of your lack of knowledge. Because hold up. You went for a long ass time, so let me go now. You act like no. Hold up. Stop going, bro. Let me talk.
No, that was corny as shit because you tried to say I was emotional.
Stop going, bro. Let me talk. Let me talk.
We're having a podcast where we're debating. You try to say I'm emotional.
Let me talk. All right, whatever. That's you. That's you. All right, but yeah, but your emotions getting the best of you right now.
What are you talking about? I spit facts. He said I spit facts. He said I spit facts.
The
only person that said I did spit facts was you.
No,
what are you talking about? They agreed with it. They said I was spitting facts.
Didn't I just say he had some good points? I said that shit. So come on, bro. So start listening now.
Don't do that,
because you talk for a while.
No, don't do that.
No, because the problem I have with you right now is that you act like Kyrie has done nothing outside of that finals moment, bro.
You don't say nothing else.
7 times. Hold on.
Has he said anything else? But has he said anything else? Answer that. Has he said anything else aside from 2016?
I did.
Had he said anything else?
I did say.
He didn't. You did. He didn't. You brought up his 50, 40, 90. You did. He didn't say anything else. All he kept saying was,
did I not say he was a 7-time All-Star? I
just
said that
just now.
No, I didn't. I've been said it. I've said it for a while. So wait, Kyrie, because all you're doing is looking at your side of the fucking story.
I said facts.
Pass me a water, bro.
I said facts.
Like for example, you mentioned Tony Parker has more All-NBAs. You didn't mention that Tony Parker doesn't have as much All-Stars as Kyrie Irving.
I did.
But let's be honest, All-NBA holds way more weight than All-Stars. Come on.
But it's 4-3.
I said he has one less.
Kyrie Irving has 7 All-Stars. And when you compare their stats, points, it's Kyrie Irving by a large margin. Field goal percentage is Kyrie Irving. 3 percentage is Kyrie Irving. Free throw percentage is Kyrie Irving.
Okay.
So, look down all the stats because accolades matter. Yep. But then you look at a player, you look at Parker, you look at Kyrie, you look at Kyrie, you look at Parker's stats. Kyrie blows him out the water.
Now
in
talk
stats.
about the errors.
Yeah.
Talk about the errors. Talk about the errors. Talk about it. Talk about it. Add the context. Who played in the early 2000s? Don't sit there like this.
No,
and look
because
stupid.
I'm waiting for you to finish.
Talk about the errors. Talk about the errors.
I'm waiting for you to finish.
I hate when people just throw stats in the air and say, "Oh yeah, because his stats is better. He's definitely a better player. No doubt about it." No. Talk about the errors, bro. Speak on that.
So you're telling me Tony Parker's averaging 25 in this series?
You're smart. You are smart. I know you are. Talk about the errors.
So Tony Parker's averaging 25 in this era.
Why can't he?
This is what I hate.
Why can't he?
This is what I hate.
Why can't he?
No, he can.
Why can't? Everybody say it. Why can't he?
Settle down. Let me say what I was going to say. When talking about errors and talking about inflation and pace and the new style of play, people always assume that because this guy averaged 16 here, he can average 25 here, 30 here. LeBron James in the 2000s had a 30-point season. He had a bunch of for his career, he's been a steady 27 to 28 points per game.
Right.
When the pace of play started to change in the NBA, LeBron didn't jump up to 34. He didn't jump up to 35. But I'm just saying, players that have played in the early 2000s era or the early 2010s era where the pace of play was slower, their stats have not inflated in this era.
So why
players are not averaging way more points.
Season averaging 20 points.
I'm saying Tony Parker could definitely average 20 points, but Kyrie is doing it. There's a difference between doing it and not doing it. If you think the pace of play matters that much, okay, maybe it adds Parker's points total, maybe 2+ points per game. It doesn't jump up 10 though. And if you do think
he was 18, 19 points
if you do think the pace of play takes so much into account, and because the game is so much different back then show me, adjust the stats for inflation and show me how much Tony Parker would average in modern day.
Could I ask you a question? But time out. But hear me out. But somebody, all right, let's use Steve Nash for example. Playing in this era with the 3-ball and everything, you don't think he's averaging more than 14? You don't think he averaged 23?
Steve Nash it depends because Steve Nash was a great playmaker as well. Nash, if he was more aggressive, could definitely do that. But maybe a part of the reason why he didn't do that was because he wasn't an aggressive player looking for his own shot.
He's been on record saying that if he played for this era, he's going to average 23. So he would have been more aggressive.
So why can't he would be more aggressive?
Yeah.
Now.
So I mean, I think the same thing.
It's easy to say that in hindsight.
I mean,
he can do it though. He has the talent to do it.
You can ask a player who's a role player in today's NBA, and when their career is over, you could be like, "Do you wish you were more aggressive?" Yeah, I wish I was more aggressive.
That's a Hall of Famer.
Role player, but
I know he's a Hall of Famer, but every
50,
single
40,
part.
90
but after your career is over, and this goes for anything, after we finish doing things in life in general, we all look back at situations and say we would have done things differently here. Well, the bottom line is when he was there, he didn't do it differently.
A two-time MVP though can say stuff like that, bro.
Like I
get what you're saying,
but that doesn't mean that he would have done it.
No, I get.
You know, we can only look at what he did. We can only look at what he did.
He's went on record and he said he wasn't aggressive until the fourth quarter. He said that. That was the part he wasn't aggressive. And a two-time MVP, a Hall of Famer, can say stuff like that.
So hold on. I want to ask you this question because Tony Parker in the 2000s, in the era that was slower paced, he averaged around 16, 18 a game. So you're telling me
I'm not gonna say 25. 25 is crazy. I don't think he'll jump up.
I say 23. He had a season averaging 22.
That's not my question.
He had a season averaging 22.
That's not my question. Kyrie Irving just came off a year averaging 27. He averages 23 for his career. You put Kyrie in that era in 2000s, he's not averaging 23 a game still. I think he's still averaging 23 or 26 a game.
I agree.
No, I don't.
He got the bag to do it. He can do it.
I don't disagree.
So you're telling me in that era, Parker's averaging 16, 18
but
to 18.
You gotta look at the team he played for. They didn't need him to go all out in scoring.
I don't think
though.
anyone here is questioning Kyrie Irving's skill set. No one here is questioning that.
My problem is that let's stop acting like Kyrie just has that one moment. He blows Tony. He blows Tony Parker out the water in all the stats, efficiency wise too.
I'm sure
Parker wasn't a good 3-point shooter. He was manageable. He wasn't a good 3-point shooter.
I'm sure, but let's stop.
And then in 1-2 more years, Kyrie's gonna have more All NBA teams or tie Tony Parker. He already has more All Stars than him. He has big moments in the finals. I understand Tony Parker was a catalyst for a finals team, and I understand that, and that deserves to be put respect on because he is one of the greatest international players of all time. But he also never got a chance to be the first option on the team. We seen Kyrie do it and be a first seed in Boston. He got hurt. They went to the ECF, but we saw him be a first seed in Boston.
Not a lot of people talk about that.
You know, Tony Parker, like, we haven't seen him outside that situation. And I'm not denying what he did in San Antonio. It was great. But it's kind of weird. Like you were going back and forth on Twitter with somebody who said Ginobili was just as good as Wade. Remember? Yesterday.
I think that's a pretty bigger gap, though.
This is the thing,
That's a ridiculous statement.
That's a ridiculous statement. I understand with that completely. But because Ginobili has the championships and has some of the stats to back it up, has the gold medal, people can make that argument. But, bro, you never saw him in a situation where he had to be that guy. Tony Parker, because he was a second option, Ginobili sometimes closed out games for them too. It wasn't like he was a consistent second option. I'm just saying.
We saw both guys.
But Kyrie's better as a second option, though.
And as well.
We saw both guys.
Let's not sleep on 2012, 2013. Tony Parker was San Antonio's guy. He was.
He wasn't fully in the finals. When they beat Miami, everybody's points. Parker was at 18. Kawhi was at 17.
I'm talking about the year they lost. Tony Parker hit a 3 to put them up 5.
He was their clutch scorer that year.
Yeah, he was.
And that's at what, 35?
Look, I'm getting chills talking about it. Tony was unbelievable, bro. He was definitely the number one option. So to say he never was, I'm gonna disagree.
He never was for
that.
a full season.
He never was, but I think he was.
But that's an important moment, though.
Needed him to be number one.
And who was the first option?
TD.
Who was the first option in Cleveland in 2016? That last second shot.
But this is what kills me, and this is what I be saying, because you can bring up 1 year, I can bring up multiple years they've went to the playoffs, and Tony was that guy in the fourth down the stretch. You can bring up that 1 year.
Kyrie hasn't been in the situation.
I never want to. I don't want to seem like I'm knocking 2016. That's a great year, and Kyrie is without a doubt one of the most talented point guards to ever play the game. I will never knock that. But you said it. We've seen Kyrie in a situation where he's the number one. Facts. We've never really seen Tony Parker in a full season. But we've seen both guys as a number two. And one guy is, without a doubt,
flourished as a number two.
Flourished and was the catalyst for a dynasty. Another guy flourished too, but he was in and out. Then he left. Then in situations where it's like,
I'm going to disagree again.
It's too much.
2012, that full season, he was the guy.
Like Tony's been the man.
Tony was nice.
He was the guy.
Kyrie may be more talented, but I don't think that's, when you talk about a better, I don't think that
you know
means
what
everything.
You know what else?
Like
his stats aren't as eye popping, but
Yeah.
people have to.
Chris Bosh has more All Stars than Dwight Howard. That don't mean too much.
But you know what? Like, you have to take into account.
He doesn't have the defensive accolades that Dwight has.
Nah, not at all.
This is the thing. This is the thing. I would agree with you having Parker over Kyrie if
the championships have to mean something, especially when you're that
championships
important.
mean something.
And he's got a finals MVP.
There's no doubt championships mean something, but the reason why I don't put Tony Parker over Kyrie is because it's not like Kyrie just has the stats and just has the talent, and that's why you put him over. I mean, this guy's a 7-time All-Star, bro. 50-40-90 club. This guy has done a lot of great things in the league.
But Tony's no slouch. He's with the rings. Like, he's no slouch with the rings. Like, they're both talented guys.
Playoff performers as well.
They're both incredible playoff performers. But I think the consistency, the longevity, like that has to play a part. Like, and when you're that important in a championship run, that's why people look at Klay so highly, because he's that important in those championship runs. Even though the stats may not look like it, he was one of the main characters. That's why I say you got to look at Tony. And I get it, Kyrie, talent-wise, blows him out the water.
He does.
But in terms of impact, bro, Tony has to be looked at.
But it's not just talent, though, because stats are impact, bro.
Stats
who has a better resume?
It probably has to be Tony. I think it's similar.
So you think Tony's got the better resume, but you think Kyrie's more talented?
I think Parker
Kyrie's
has
definitely more talented.
I think Parker has the most championships.
Kyrie needs a few more years before I can say he has a better resume. Before he has a better resume, he needs a few more years under his belt.
I think Parker has the more championships, but
that
talking
plays
about
in a part.
And the Finals MVP too.
His playoff performances.
That plays in a part.
Dude, he needs a few more years.
And listen, Kyrie played with LeBron, so he didn't get that Finals MVP. But, bro, Tony won it over Tim Duncan, bro. That's no slouch. That may not be LeBron, but that's
Cleveland, bro.
No, I'm saying he won it over Tim Duncan. He won the Finals MVP. You can knock Cleveland all you want, but he won the Finals MVP, bro.
You know that Finals itself was actually closer than a lot of people thought?
It was.
It was 3 games decided by 1 point, and the other game being decided by 7. So Tony Parker's contributions in the fourth quarter and everything, I remember that run.
That's a top 10 player of all time. He won the Finals MVP.
That was his year.
That's why people view Iggy the way they view him, because he won the Finals MVP over Steph, who is regarded as the second greatest point guard ever.
How much do you think of it, the Spurs system hindering Tony Parker putting up better stats as well? Because that's like
people say that.
That's a system that Greg Popovich is really stingy with.
That plays a part. But I think that plays a huge part.
But what have they done since?
It also benefits TP though.
They haven't had a lot of people.
Yeah, I can agree.
I think it benefits TP too.
I wish TP would have played on
because TP wasn't a defensive stud. He wasn't a defensive stud, and having Tim Duncan there to anchor that defense,
100%.
That's a big thing. That's a system.
You never needed him to because you had Bruce Bowen, you had Kawhi Leonard in the latter end of his career, you had Tim Duncan. Who's always trying to buy. Yeah, no, you never need him to.
Oh yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I think that system, the same thing you talked about, and how the system might have hindered him offensively.
His statistics,
it definitely didn't hinder him defensively.
No,
it definitely didn't. And I wouldn't even say stats too much because the ball gets rotated around. And it's going to find the guy. So Tony Parker could have had more assists. The thing about it is that I don't think when talking about Kyrie Irving, I feel like too many people try to just think it's a talent thing. He's accomplished a lot in this league, bro.
He definitely has.
And the story of the NBA can't.
Time out. You said he gives you Melo vibes the other day.
Underachiever.
Yeah, he literally said he gave him Melo vibes.
See,
so like Tony Parker.
I think Melo sorry for cutting you off, but I think Melo is in the same situation where he probably is just as talented as the greatest small forwards ever. He probably is. But what separates him and them, the winning and the impact. I think that's what separates Tony and Kyrie a little bit. Yeah, well, Kyrie has won one, but what separates them is because both of them have won. We both can agree, but Tony has won more.
I get it, but then you also have to look at context. You have to look in 202015. He was hurt. He didn't get to play in the finals.
Facts.
LeBron still took Golden State to 6.
6 with no
and
one.
if Kyrie was there, they probably win that championship.
I think they win.
But now you're bringing in ifs into a conversation of what they've accomplished as opposed to what they could have accomplished.
That's fair. That's a fair point. You have to agree.
Because we can do that, and we can say if Chris Bosh doesn't get the rebound and Ray Allen hits the shot, Tony's sitting on 5.
But this is the thing.
That's a fact.
Tony's definitely sitting on 5.
Tony's finals MVP.
He might win finals
MVP.
He was.
For example, I don't want to bring Ray Allen into this. I'm going to just say Reggie Miller. Right? Because Reggie Miller, to me, I think he's better than Klay Thompson.
Me too.
I do. But Klay Thompson has a championship, so why can't he be put over Reggie Miller? He got 3 championships. Miller got 0.
I can tell you.
That's why I'm saying, like, with Kyrie and Parker, yeah, I know Parker got more championships, but the stats lean Kyrie. The All-Stars lean Kyrie. Yeah. And neither of them have
But why do you put so much weight into All-Stars as opposed to All-NBA?
Yeah. All-Stars kind of like a popularity contest at this point.
And with the Reggie and Klay thing, it's easy. Reggie carried a franchise for damn near a decade.
You want to know why? You want to know why I kind of lean more All-Stars?
Why?
Because All-NBA, sometimes you can get that award. You can get in it because of other injuries that happen to players or things like that. I'm not sure when Parker got his.
All-Stars similar.
But for example, to be an All-NBA player, Kyrie had to be over a couple guys.
And he has to also be healthy, which plays into a fact.
He's never played a full season.
But this is the thing. For example, Curry was an All-NBA guy for a long time. Curry's probably one of the best point guards of all time. First, if not second.
Yes.
So Kyrie's not getting that over him. Dame, because he has to backpack his teams, Dame gets a nod over Kyrie too. I thought last year Kyrie should have been an All-NBA player. He didn't get in.
He was.
No, he didn't get in.
He was 3rd.
He was?
Yes.
You sure?
I'm 100% sure.
Okay.
He knows.
He should have been 2nd.
Over Dame?
Yeah.
And Luka?
No, just over Dame. 50, 40, 90 season. Played the most of the big 3.
But Tony ain't played with no slouches either. Chris Paul was at the peak of his powers.
Chris Paul also got hurt too, though.
Not all the time, though.
Not Dame.
Who, Kyrie?
Yeah, nah. Dude, 29, 7, almost
50, 40,
8.
90.
But I'm saying, like,
better
what
defense.
Fair.
It would be better to know what team.
Maybe I'm biased.
Tony Parker made. Because if it was,
he has 1 second team and 3 third teams.
Yeah, because I know he's not getting over Chris Paul. So in that era,
the All NBA team.
In that era, it's Chris Paul, it's D. Will, it's Nash,
Kid.
But Kid's stats took a massive hit after like 04.
Yes, he has 3 All NBA second teams and 1 third. Pardon me.
Second, that's impressive.
And Kyrie has.
But also, how much does winning account into that? Because San Antonio was consistently a 61 team.
But then,
so then you're kind of nitpicking now.
It just depends. Because I mean, sometimes we know a player's better, but because he's not winning as much, he doesn't get in the All-NBA.
The beauty about both of them is they win. They both are in winning situations.
Like for example, Julius Randle last year was All-NBA 3rd. I was
actually thinking the exact same guy.
Second.
All-NBA. Nah, I'm pretty second.
He's on the team. I know that.
I know Tatum didn't make it. I believe
Tatum did not make it.
Tatum didn't make it. Some people believe Tatum should have made it over Randle. We can all say that Tatum's a better player than Randle. Mm-hmm. We can all say that. But Randle got in because of the Knicks team success and what he did for them.
Which goes to my point. Tony Parker's probably going to get in because of his success and what he does for his team.
But I'm saying it elevated Randle. It doesn't mean he was better. It might have, winning 60 games a season elevated Parker doesn't mean he was better than those guys.
So let me ask you a question. I'm just going to, and I want you to be 100% honest. This is an hypothetical. If Tony Parker gets hurt the way Kyrie gets hurt, does Tim Duncan still get those rings? And be honest.
I don't think so.
But yet Kyrie gets hurt and LeBron still goes to the finals. Kyrie gets hurt and Boston still goes to the ECF. You see where I'm going with this?
I'm with you.
Wait a second.
Kyrie gets hurt and Boston still goes to the ECF. But you just told me if Tony Parker goes down, there is a chance that he might not even get there because we don't know if he beats the Lakers one time. We don't know if he beats Dirk or KG or whoever they play. But we can agree that
even
if Kyrie,
Utah was tough.
You've seen it. Kyrie gets hurt and they still go. So does that not play a factor?
That's where the impact comes in.
To answer that question, I say Tim doesn't win on championships because the West is so tough. But
which goes back to Tony's fate.
I understand, but we also have to understand that the East LeBron was going through wasn't exactly the toughest. He wasn't facing the teams that they was facing. Wait,
which year? 2018?
I mean, even if 2015 as well.
2018, he went to 2 Game 7s.
I mean, 2015.
He played us. He beat us.
I know one year the best team they played was Atlanta.
No, he played us. Chicago. We was out.
Chicago.
They took a 6, right?
You're okay.
Yeah, we was out.
You were okay.
30 back to back.
But I don't think you're facing the championship caliber teams that the Spurs had to face because they was having to go past the Lakers. They had to go past Utah,
the Mavericks,
Denver, the Mavs. You know what I'm saying? So they went up against championship caliber teams. LeBron wasn't going up against those type of teams. And even when Boston in their run with Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and Rozier and all them guys, they got past Milwaukee because Bledsoe couldn't shoot and Rozier outplayed Bledsoe.
But the next year they lost with Kyrie to Milwaukee.
Budenholzer was a coach, and I think that meant a lot. Because before
was he
that,
the coach the year before?
Nah, he wasn't. They kept it was PJ Carlesimo, I believe. Okay. If it wasn't him, it was somebody else. But it wasn't Budenholzer. Budenholzer took Milwaukee to from an 8th seed to the 1st seed in a year. Like he meant that much to them. Second round, you face Philly. With Ben had a horrible series, and then that's where the reputation started with Ben, where he doesn't shoot because they just didn't guard him. Then in the ECF, they take LeBron to 7, but that was LeBron's arguably worst team, and Indiana took him to 7 that year as well.
Yeah, in the first round.
So it's like they squeaked by those teams. It's not like the teams Kyrie left. The Eastern Conference was so tough.
They still had success.
Yo, but let me ask you one thing. That's actually good that you brought that up. You know how they beat Boston in Game 7? Do you think if Cleveland?
Oh, yes. Okay.
You think if Kyrie Irving plays that game, they win?
Yes.
You think Boston wins?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
I
do think Boston wins.
Boston, I think they do win too. I think they do.
Boston, I think.
So Kyrie
and
has
then
some
I already
value.
told you about that year, the second year in Boston. Everybody's on an expiring deal. They all want money. They're all super selfish. That was just bad mismanagement by the Celtics.
Rozier was the most selfish out of everybody.
But let me say this real quick. Kyrie getting hurt is what opened the door for Jason Tatum to be unlocked that postseason. Is it
everybody, not just Tatum?
No, for sure. But
Jaylen
Tatum was the guy.
Oh, he was the leader, yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. Who knows? Obviously, you open Pandora's box. There's some unlimited possibilities.
Tatum still be Tatum, I believe.
I don't know
think it would
because
take a little longer.
Hear me out though.
You want to
year
know
after when Kyrie came back, Tatum had 4 points less.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, from the playoffs.
No, his regular season.
No. He scored 17 the second year with Kyrie.
Not yet.
We were expecting him to take a bigger jump though.
I'm almost
check it.
Yeah, word.
He averaged
Jason Tatum has
16.7.
been.
He averaged 16.7.
Yeah, because his rookie year he averaged 14. No, yeah, and
in the playoffs. Look in the playoffs.
Nah, no, but I'm not talking. The playoffs is a smaller sample size. I agree with you, but like from his rookie season, he averaged
16
more.
Yep.
He averaged more. He jumped up.
I don't know, bro. Just Tony's intangibles, his IQ. Like you gotta, I get it. Kyrie is more talented, but it's
and plus
it's
you gotta know
man.
that that second year of Tatum is also adjusting to Kyrie and Hayward, but
Jaylen Brown and Terry Rozier
got hurt.
But Hayward was out Tatum's entire.
Remember
rookie
Hayward
season.
broke his ankle against Cleveland?
That's a fact. I'm just saying he had burn with Kyrie already. Hayward, sure, I'll give you Hayward for sure.
I mean, that's two All-Stars being implemented into the team.
But Kyrie he already had burn with. It's the extra one was Hayward.
So do you not? Because you look at Steph and you look at his selfless ability, his unselfish ability. That's what you. Do you not do that for Tony Parker though? His unselfish ability and his selfless, but does that not play a factor in him being?
You want to know why I think it's different? I think it's different because Steph we've seen as the main guy go to the championship.
Okay.
Also, when KD went to the Warriors, a lot of people don't know this, and what I'm about to say is going to shock people that are listening. Steph averaged more points than KD in the regular season.
Yeah.
Like people think KD was the number one
KD
option.
averaged 25.
Like
KD took more shots.
Like Steph quietly took a step back, but still averaged more points than KD. So it's not like, he took a back seat and his production wasn't there. No, he took a back seat. His production was still there.
Yep.
With Tony Parker, it's different because he was never the number one option. And
can't say never.
I mean,
in a playoff run or in a season?
He's talking about the regular season. He's talking about the regular season.
I don't think he was.
2012. I'm telling you.
No, he's talking about. I get it.
I'm
Regular
just saying,
season.
like, the Spurs never said this team is built around Tony. I think that's
But I don't
number
think
one
a team,
option for
I don't
me.
think a team would never do that for Kyrie.
Boston
Wasn't really like that. Boston didn't really say we're gonna build a team around Kyrie. No, they was like we're gonna build a team and put a nice team together. I don't think a team really
with Kyrie being our number one guy.
Yeah, that's what it was.
But no team has ever done that for Tony though. Or
I agree. It's the same
He
situation.
was a forever guy in San Antonio.
I know,
left,
and I respect that a lot. But that's why for me it's hard for Tony. Like I think he should be a top 75 player. But when talking about Tony Parker and Kyrie Irving, I think, man, I've talked about it before, that finals moment. Yeah, you talk about all the time how people talk about it too much.
It's one of the best
I don't know
moments
if I agree with that because that moment is a top 5 moment in NBA history.
Arguably
down
the
3
best.
and down 3-1, he averaged 30 against the best regular season team of all time.
The only one that comes to mind
lose
with
back-to-back
that one
games that
is
whole
Jordan's
season there.
two-play sequence with the swiping the ball and then having the
Ray
shot.
Allen has
That's
Ray
another
Allen
one
game
too.
6 has a debate with that.
You have me with that, but it's just when we talk about the point guards, Magic Johnson, multiple moments, Steph Curry, multiple moments. We talk about Steve Nash, 2-time MVP. Like we talk about Tony Parker, all these point guards have multiple moments, and with Kyrie, it's just I get it, he's talented, but it's always 2016.
It's just that one moment.
But we're in 2021, guys, and y'all haven't told me another moment yet. Even and look, before y'all go, when Tony Parker last won that ring in 2007, he just said, and he brought up 20 all the way to 2012, 2013,
that's a fact.
when he's still
That's
impactful and still putting up numbers.
Rev, this last thing I'm gonna say, and I agree with what you're saying. I think Tony Parker definitely has had a longer impact because Kyrie's career is still going.
And he gets hurt a lot. That hurts him.
He's not playing right now.
But I also say this. People talk a lot about Dirk's won finals. And they don't talk about Dirk losing to an 8th seeded Warriors team when he won MVP. But that's because that championship, the weight of that moment is so big. We were talking about it the other day, that Dirk's one championship weighs as much as all of KD's because of the weight of that moment. And I think the same thing can be said for Kyrie. The weight of that moment.
Yeah, but
it weighs.
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. It's definitely, but it's different because Dirk was the man. Like he was that guy.
Jason Terry the
Jason Terry was really great.
He was
MVP. I'm saying Dirk was the finals MVP. Don't you ever?
Yeah, Dirk was the finals
MVP. Yeah.
I'm bugging. I'm sorry.
Tripping. But I get what you're saying. I definitely understand what you're saying.
I think the moment you got to understand, like, it's not just a shot. It's against a top 2 point guard of all time. Yeah. He outplayed Curry in that series. It's you come back from the best regular season team of all time. Like, to me, that Kyrie moment.
Everybody thought it was over.
The weight of that is just, it's not like a KD beating the Cavaliers with no Kyrie and only George Hill and K Love. It's not like that. It's like, this is real. This is a top NBA moment in NBA history.
Yeah. I just don't think a moment beats a career.
And what Kyrie did in that playoff run alone was ridiculous.
But I don't think a moment beats a career, though. That's why I don't think one moment.
That's the thing. I think what you're getting confused is that Kyrie has that moment, but he has 7 All-Stars. He has an All-Star game MVP.
NBA team.
He has these moments of breaking people's ankles, like Brandon Knight.
Yeah.
He's been averaging 24 damn near since a rookie. Like, he came into the league averaging 23, 24.
Best handles arguably ever. He has a lot.
It's more than just that moment.
Finishers ever.
I just don't want people to get confused. Tony Parker, he was stabbed. Who was the man who was, like, the same way Manu started the Euro, Tony Parker was the man who really established the floater. He was the man who was giving Chris Paul fits.
Tony Parker's still the best French player of all time.
Yeah, so I just don't want people to get confused. Like, it's not, just Kyrie because he's more talented. You know what I'm saying? It's legit a sit down in a debate because Tony Parker, his numbers may not show it, but he was really like that. And he was somebody who was Chris Paul spoke about it. Like, he was somebody who was very, very tough to talk about.
Kyrie Irving actually spoke about Tony Parker and said that was the hardest guy he had to guard.
Because
that's the funny thing.
He's tough,
he did
bro.
say that.
Like, Tony Parker's different.
But I'm not going to lie, though. Tony Parker was talking crazy, and Kyrie gave him 57. I remember that game.
Kyrie's going to kill. Kyrie's going to kill.
I had to bring that up. You remember that, right?
I would never say tough. I would never say Kyrie won't kill Tony.
Yo,
Name another point guard. There's
him.
literally any point guard, arguably in NBA history, Kyrie's giving him fits.
Yeah, Kyrie's
period.
gonna kill. That's you know what I'm saying.
I thought that this show was gonna be shorter.
I know that
Yeah.
one segment. I said it when we came here. I said
yeah, we
this
said
is
it.
gonna be the segment.
Me and Drew said it. We was like
This
at the
got
end.
passionate. Yo, he's like, yo, stop being emotional.
No,
I'm
but
not
that's
being
what-
emotional.
Never.
Stop saying
We
that.
should never do that again, bro. That's raw.
That's
That's
my boy though.
Now
Yeah,
it's
that was good.
crazy.
That's
It's
good.
crazy because the audience
Passionate.
probably watches this and
think
they're
we're
like,
gonna
"Yo,
fight."
yeah." Somebody tweeted before. They were like, I think it's Kevin, the Raptors fan on Twitter.
yeah.
He was like, "Yo, Riv and Joel always have like they want to fight each other energy."
Yeah, that's
and
facts.
shit.
Yeah, no, we're gonna laugh
It's
about
good
this shit
vibe.
later.
That's it. That's all that it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not that serious. Just talking sports, man. All right, but to end off the show, 2 TikTok questions. I was hoping to end this at like the 2-hour, 20-minute mark, but whatever. Yeah. TikTok questions. Why doesn't anybody respect Bradley Beal for remaining loyal in Washington?
I think it's different in a situation because Bradley Beal has spoken and has came out and he said he wants to win. And he's had opportunities to move out and win. And we're not asking you to go join the super team, but it's the same thing we did with Melo. Why'd you stay in New York? You said you want to win. If you said you want to win, you're smarter than us. You play ball. You look at the situation and you know this is not a winning situation. Just be honest. You want the money. That's really all what it's about.
Yeah.
You don't want to win because that situation is not built for you to win. And we just don't think you're that type of player.
The reason why I think he doesn't get respected for that is because Dame stays loyal.
Should have won.
Yeah.
Dame stayed loyal, and we respect that out of him. But he's been to the playoffs 8 straight
One
years.
WCF, at least one.
And Portland has had some type of a chance. A fighter's punch chance, but they've had some type of a chance. Bradley Beal, last year when the Wizards were losing, there were pictures of him throwing fits on a sideline, looking emotionally drained. That's why we don't respect it, is because you say you want to win, but you put yourself in this losing situation, like you said, and that's why,
Basically.
I don't think nobody, we respect you to an extent, but okay, if you stay,
We respect you as a player.
If you stay with that organization, now do something.
Yeah.
Because you staying with that team despite knowing that they're not a good team is you basically telling us that I can take this team by myself.
Yep.
So when you don't do anything with that team,
We're not gonna give you the
we don't
benefit of the
respect
doubt.
it because you haven't done nothing.
No, it's perfectly said. I verbatim. I should have went. Literally, I was gonna say exactly what he said. But regardless of that fact, it's nothing but facts. He's done nothing with the team that he has, and he hasn't even made a playoff push that would even come close to what Damian's done. And that's why people respect Damian so much, because on top of being or having the success that he has in
keeps
the
him
regular
competitive.
season, exactly. At least come playoff time, you can't fully count his team out. Against the Sixers last season, no one even gave him a chance to win a game.
Did anybody watch that series?
I watched
what
a
series?
few
Like a
because
game.
I respect Philly. But other than that, like,
Just think about this. Trae Young has more big time playoff moments than Bradley Beal.
see, but that's also tough because Bradley Beal's never had this Atlanta team.
Nobody thought Holly
team to have a moment.
You know what's the thing?
Fair.
I agree with you, but nobody thought Atlanta was going to do that.
That
They were
agreed.
they were projected to lose in the first round to the Knicks.
You don't need to have a team.
I thought they were gonna lose in the second round of Philly.
Philly at the
thought they
worst, they should have lost to Philly.
And
At the most, excuse me.
I could JC, if you want to go, you can go. If you don't, you don't have to.
I'm just gonna say. He asked why don't people respect him. Why I don't respect them is like, okay, so you complain about the situation you're in, you throw fits. Okay, you have a chance to leave. Russell Westbrook tells you to leave. He advises you to leave. You want to stay. So then, when let's say how this season goes. Let's say the season goes and they're losing again. So you're gonna complain again, and it's a contradiction. Like, it's like either you want to be there and you think you could be the man, or you don't. And until you do something spectacular with that team or do something worth noting that worth us paying attention to, then yeah, we're not gonna like you because you're choosing the money over winning, but then you're complaining on top of it. So you're all over the place.
We're up 23. But Lonzo has 10 points, 4 blocks, 2 steals.
He gets after it on
My
defense.
boys like that.
So this is the last TikTok
The next
question,
Drew
and
Holiday.
I'm gonna stay out of this because this isn't my niche. This isn't my best. This isn't my expertise.
I love.
How good was Prime T-Mac?
That's a Riv question.
How is that a Riv question?
Well, I'll tell you what. He was pretty special in Orlando. He leads Orlando. He was pretty nice on the Rockets. That time in Orlando was where T-Mac became T-Mac.
he has no weakness in his game.
He didn't.
He had
really
no
didn't.
weakness in his game. He
He could do everything Kobe did.
he he saw Kobe. He saw MJ. And MJ at that age was still able to defend. He saw Paul Pierce. He saw VC. He had no weakness in his game. He had the mid-range.
He saw LeBron, too.
Yeah, LeBron. He had the spin-around jump shot. He had the finish in the building. He had the three-pointer. He was clutch. He played defense. He had the playmaking in his bag. He had no weakness in his game. He would, if he walked into this league, he'd probably be a top 7, 8 player in this league. He was, prime T-Mac was what Paul George would be pre-injury and after injury put together.
Yeah.
That was prime T-Mac. Literally that. That's what he was.
That was so well said, bro. When I tell you I have chills, bro, you spoke crazy.
I mean, look, I agree with River. I mean, prime T-Mac was putting up 32 a game.
8 and 8.
He was no cap. He was really looking like a Kevin Durant-esque player. Like shoot over you, shoot the three ball, had the hand. He could do everything Kobe did, but he was taller. Kobe Bryant's obviously well respected, one of the best players ever. He said that Tracy McGrady and Kevin Durant were the hardest players that he had to guard, that he had no answer for them. So if Kobe's saying that with his competitive spirit, that should just tell you everything.
They still won't tell us who won the 1-on-1.
Kobe said he won.
He said he won?
Kobe said he won 11-3, but T-Mac's like, no, you didn't.
But
honestly, bro, I feel like Kobe.
He probably won, but 11-3 is crazy.
I don't know, bro.
Because they play NBA rules, so they play. They don't play rebounds.
They had a great ride. Remember that one game where he hit Kobe with the turnaround. Kobe fell.
He dropped Kobe.
The next play, Kobe came and just dunked all over him and smacked
They
the
play
backboard.
NBA rules. Does that mean winner
No
doesn't get ball?
Yeah, it's winner gets ball, but it's no rebounds.
Oh, so if you miss, automatically other guys ball. I like that.
Because rebounds is like for big men.
Yeah, facts.
The best one-on-one I would have liked to see was probably a prime T-Mac and Kevin Durant. Just put them in the gym and, NBA rules, and let's see who wins. I think it'd be a really good one-on-one.
I know people run one-on-ones more like that. That's genius.
You know who I really would like to see?
A one-on-one, just them in the gym. T-Mac and his prime and KD, I would dead-ass pay money to see that.
I would genuinely like to see, like, peak Kawhi Leonard versus peak Michael Jordan, honestly.
Oh, my God.
Michael Jordan. One-on-one, just straight in the doghouse, defense, everything.
All right, now I have a question for you. Don't be biased. Steph Curry, Kyrie Irving.
Kyrie's more one-on-one player.
Steph is a team player. He's a straight team. I mean, if Steph gets the
Steph's
ball.
ISO, exactly. Steph's ISO.
I would take Kyrie, though.
I agree.
I would take Kyrie.
Harden or Dame?
Harden.
Yeah,
Harden's winning.
Harden.
Cook him, yeah.
And today, right now, though, the Kevin Durant's probably beating everybody.
Harden or Wade in a one-on-one. Just one-on-one.
Dwayne Wade.
Nah, I'm going to take Harden because of shooting ability.
Dwayne Wade could get a stop.
Crazy,
Dwayne Wade could get a stop.
You think so?
Absolutely.
Harden's defense is underrated.
Harden is big, bro.
But he can't guard Dwayne Wade, though.
Harden is a big husky dude. Like,
are we
he's not
talking
little.
2006 Wade?
We're talking about the best D Wade.
In
the
2006. Yeah, I mean, he's one of the
I don't
fastest.
think that was the best D Wade.
The Flash.
Ooh.
09 is probably the best D Wade.
Okay.
Like individually, I think that was probably the best
Fair.
D Wade.
Kawhi Leonard versus Kevin Durant would be fun, too. It'd be something I would tune in to see.
I would rather see Kevin
KD
Durant
wins
versus like Scottie Pippen,
KD versus Scottie Pippen.
just for defensive.
Oh,
purposes.
just
I just want
to see how many-
Scottie can guard him. Yeah,
Yeah, Scottie could guard him. I mean, yeah, those are pretty intriguing one-on-one options. I think Kyrie Irving versus anybody. Who was the best? Who do you think would win in a one-on-one? Kyrie Irving or prime Penny Hardaway?
Penny.
Think
Kyrie
Penny
can't
beat-
stop Penny.
You think
6'7".
he's beating him?
Yeah, Kyrie. If Penny gets the ball, it's over.
Yo, Penny was different. That's another guy who like people like prime D Rose and prime D Westbrook. I would like to see Westbrook. I would like to see that too.
That's interesting.
I would love to see that. There's so many one-on-ones I would like to see. They should make that a part of the All-Star format where you get the best players. You just make them play
Egos
one-on-one.
would come too involved.
Oh,
with
man,
it.
that'd be so
But that
fun.
would be so.
They used to work
fire.
out together too
Oh.
at their primes. Derrick Rose and Westbrook.
That's tough.
They were like best buddies. They used to work out.
So this is going to do it for this episode of the Pick a Side
Good-ass
podcast, episode 123. You can follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Pick a Side Podcast, on Twitter at Pick a Side Pod. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next time.